weeks to go before the playoffs begin. So far, it has been fast. It has been furious. Gfinity Rocket League, are you ready? So there you go, a beautiful way to start Rocket League for week 3. But I tell you what, I've got fantastic guests joining me, Shogun, Craftman, and we have the main man, you, to the desk, Switchblade J right at the end there. And oh, the little finger point, I like that.
Yeah, gotta go in with a bit of style, mate, every time.
I expect nothing less from you. Shogun, we have now 2 weeks in, and I have to say, I've got to ask the first question, Shogun. Who has impressed you the most?
It's been a difficult season for a lot of these guys because consistency has been very hard to come by. A lot of these teams are now very close to each other in skill, so I kind of have to point towards the only team that is currently on 6 points, the hashtag roster, a team that struggled last season so very much, but this season coming out strong, and it must be something to do with the coach.
Must be something to do with that coach. Now, Craftman, in the middle of these two. Now, I have to say, it's so lovely to have you here. I want to know a little bit more about your background in Rocket League and I guess kind of your passion for it, because a lot of people watching right now have the same passion that you've had at one point.
Absolutely. I started in Rocket League about 2 or 3 years ago now. Me and Greg, and as you know, this coach of Vitality, we actually joined in the Rocket League community together, came from the same Minecraft community and just sort of progressed through there. And then he said, oh man, you got a good radio voice, why don't you get into casting? Okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then I've been in the crowd for Gfinity.
It's funny you say that, because we've got sort of the evidence of that.
Oh, do you? There I am. That's season 1.
Season 1, just cheering, giving the energy that fans of Rocket League come to expect. That's at the Gfinity Arena down here in West London, and it's just great to have you on board now. So in many respects, you've got the Challenger Series where people play Rocket League and hope to end up on the stage. Same way, come down here, give the big cheers, be on the desk.
Exactly, get spotted. Maybe wear the sombrero like I did last season as well in the finals.
Yeah, of course. And next to you, Switchblade J, you're here. Why Rocket League? Why the passion? Why the love?
It's great, fantastic game, I've been playing for a long time myself, just when the PC version got released, I jumped right on that, had an absolute blast. Me and one of the pro players, McLovin, similar to like your story with Greg, and we go back a long time of our own right and just having loads of fun with the game. I've always been into broadcasting, so,
here we are.
How can you not come on the desk and talk
And you
about
even brought that as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a beautiful day. We are
signature already.
Oh, yeah. We're moving into week 3. Shogun highlighted about who's impressed him in the first 2 weeks. You look at the Group A, Group B standings and what's going on at the moment. It is exciting. You got Group A. It could still be anyone's, and yet when you look at Group B, hashtag United just zooming out with all the boost to that 6-point lead.
Yeah, they've been so impressive so far. I mean, a lot of it can be put towards that front man of theirs, EXO. But on the other side, I mean, look at all of that. All but one of these teams within a point of each other. And EXO, they have the opportunity to try and right that ship today.
I know. 0
It's going to be scary. It's a scary day. This is a big one.
Just a reminder that the group stages end on December the 1st. The top 2 teams from each group automatically qualify to the semi-finals. The teams in 2nd and 3rd place enter the quarter-finals, and it's goodbye to the bottom 2. Literally, we will wave, and we'll probably shake hands as well. Are
we going for a proper wave or going for the Queenie wave?
I think it's going to be 1 meter away, and it's really weird, because you shouldn't be waving that close. Looking at the fixtures today, which ones stand up for you, Craftman, welcoming yourself to the Elite Series, your debut, and Switchblade J? Which ones stand up for you?
I definitely think our first matchup, Vitality Method, is going to be an absolute corker of a matchup. You've got the champions of last season, and then the hot boys of Method coming through this season as well. I think our first matchup's definitely one to watch. As for ones maybe later on, maybe Army Fnatic. a couple of teams, maybe some underdogs as well. So we've got some good storylines going on there.
What I love, Switch, Blade J, is he's doing so well, Craftman. He's got a bit of jet lag from Scotland. That's what he said.
Yeah.
You're doing so well.
Thank you.
I mean,
I've had my coffee.
I don't think it's even possible. But Switch, Blade J, which team are you looking forward to seeing live in the action, in the flesh today?
That last match, actually, Nordavind Epsilon, might end up being quite fun because there is a lot of sort of air around those two teams, especially for Nordavind, who have come into the latest season a little bit hyped, haven't quite performed in the same sort of way. I'm sure we'll break that down in more detail when we come to that match. That one's going to be a really fun match for me, however. I'm going to have my eyes on that one. OK, Shogun, competition time. Stay there. Our partners, Domino's, have come up with a competition where you can win free pizza. It's called the Domino's Predictor, and you, the public, the good people, have predicted that there will be at least one reverse sweep by the end of today's show. If you are correct, you'll be in with a chance of winning that pizza. All you have to do is comment, "I'm here for pizza." Don't necessarily have to shout it. On the pinned tweet on your Twitter page at Gfinity, and that pizza could be yours. Right then, I've introduced you to the team down here on the desk. There's one member of the team I need to introduce you to right now. I call her Ariel, aerodynamic Ariel, but we're missing people this week, aren't we?
We are indeed, although who needs Stumpy and Cole? These new guys are absolutely excellent. I was fan, you are great, but we miss Stumpy and Cole, and you're wondering where they are. They're in Las Vegas. They've not just gone in for like a cheeky weekend. No, there's a tournament called the RLCS taking place, and the grand finals are happening this very weekend. Now, what is the RLCS, I hear you ask? It is a double elimination tournament. It takes place after 5 weeks of regional championships with 10 teams from across America, Europe and Oceania. Now, loads of people have been talking about it online. So we're going to show you a few tweets. We out here. They are out there in Las Vegas. Check out that arena. It's absolutely huge. It's spectacular. And some members of the Elite Series, some players are actually out there playing. I'll get to them in a second. Need to use this one out. Moose, what is even happening in RLCS? OCE stepping up all NA teams in the lower bracket and all game 5. Say what? That basically means that all of the games have been really exciting. They've been going to 5 games rather than just like a 3-0, and it's keeping everyone on their toes. Now, we do have some former Elite Series players out there. Ignite and Mets Norris, they played last night. They did really, really well, and our very own Vinta, or as you might have known him, Waffle, is here showing some support online. And even Oprah's getting involved. She loves it. Look, she loves a game 5. Now, if you are missing them, actually, I think the boys are missing us. They've sent us this lovely little video straight from Las Vegas.
Everybody at Gfinity, day 1 of the RLCS is over, and we have lost our voices already.
Yeah, already long gone. You know, we've been chanting away. Every single series so far has gone to 5 games. It's been insane.
Yeah, we were supposed to hold back. Like, the plan was to take it easy today, and then maybe amp it up a bit.
Those pros didn't let us today.
No, that went out the window.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
We miss you all at Gfinity. I hope the Elite Series is going well. We'll be back very shortly. I don't know what our respective weeks are, but...
And good luck to Craftman and Jay. I'm sure you guys are going to absolutely nail it.
Let's smash it, guys. See ya.
There you have it, the boys out in Vegas. But who needs Vegas when you're in Fulham? Am I right, Tom?
Exactly. But I feel like we're one big, massive family, and we're also going to be introducing Onset in a bit. So stay tuned for that. Before we delve deeper into this week's matchups, let's remind ourselves of all the drama that unfolded in Group A last week. This is going to be a juicy contest.
Here comes Nexo, and Nexo makes it count. It's going to work here for Vitality. They tie up the series. But a 2-goal lead here is going to make things so much more difficult. Big performance here from Renault Vitality.
Method versus Envy. With a shot and a goal again. He is always where you need him. Envy 3, Method 2. Mood can sneak that to the close post. Envy get the final 3, securing their first win. 1 point for Method, 3 for them.
It's indeed a very, very spicy group, Group A. Gentlemen, we've lost Jay. Straight away, we're down to the Maroons. Here we go. Let's talk about Vitality. A completely different coloured team in terms of black and yellow. But you two, gentlemen, what do we like about this Vitality team? Last season's champions, Renault Vitality, they're strong, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, they've been one of the mainstays of Gfinity's top tier for a very long time, but as you can see right there, a different name up there. There's a tall lad, not quite as tall as Pashi, but Junior shall be replacing Pashi. Pashi came down with an illness. He will not be here, so Junior not making his debut at the Gfinity Elite Series. He's currently 0-1 there, but he's making his debut for this roster.
Yeah.
That's the big question, is can he step up and maybe get past the nervousness of going on to not just a regular Gfinity team, which is already hard enough, stepping onto the champions.
Yeah, and such big shoes to fill, literally and metaphorically.
Literally, that man is like 6'5" or something.
He's a giant.
Ginormous.
Nexo had a really good stand-up performance last week, and I know you would have seen it, some of the stats that come up from there. They've performed because he came into the team and he's done the job. How are you finding them that role altogether, and particularly in terms of Nexo's performances?
Yeah, well, you really got Nexo stepping in for Scrubkiller, the third man on Vitality for the RLCS. Scrubkiller obviously can't play in Gfinity League Series, not old enough, so you got Nexo drafted through the Challenger Series, and honestly, he's been really impressive last week. You see there 5 goals, 10 saves, a big powerhouse in defense, especially when you got players like Fairy Peak who've kind of been stepping back a little bit, and you've got Nexo kind of stepping up a little bit more and really filling the shoes of Scrubkiller. But I think Nexo might take a bit of a more leading role now that Pashy's not here this week.
Of course, but also it's interesting about Fairy Peak. He said it himself. He lost a bit of confidence. It happens when you're playing. You are a pro. You have dips in form, and he stepped back and taken a more defensive role. So has Nexo replaced him in the offensive role?
Fairy's going to have a very interesting week here because it was one part just having Nexo come in for Scrubkiller. That's sort of like a pseudo change, but now this is a completely different roster. This is no parts of his usual RLCS team joining him on the stage today. Fairy Peak, he's normally quite quiet in these sort of situations. He can't do that this week. He needs to step up. He needs to show that he is the most experienced player on that stage, because if he doesn't, people like Junior, they're not going to quite step up and perform to the way they need to. It's all up to Fairy Peak to be a vocal leader, and I don't know if he's going to do it, so I'm hoping he can.
Well, you know what happens in tournaments like this, you know, there will be illnesses, and basically what someone has to do is step up, and the next man up is Junior. He is now with Nexo and Ariel in the Domino's Den.
I'm here in the Domino's Den, Tom, and I've grabbed the Red Hot Vitality guys. I'm coming straight to you next week because last week you won MVP. How do you feel, my friend?
I'm feeling really good. I'm happy I got the MVP.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can do the same this week, but the more important thing is the win.
You were also at a takeaway moment. Your goal was spectacular. I think Shogun said if there was a game that didn't have any goals but that one goal, he would be a very happy man. But then when I spoke to you, you said it was a bit of luck.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bit of luck, but if they didn't double commit, they would have saved it, in my opinion. But they double committed, so it's fine.
Well, it's a good job they didn't save it as well, because then you went on to win. I'm coming over to you, Junior, because you are stepping up today, aren't you?
Yeah, I am filling in for Pashy.
Feeling Pashy, he's not very well. How are you feeling? Are you nervous? Are you like, ooh, or not?
I don't really feel nerves all too much, but I know there's a lot of pressure on me to fill Pashy's big German shoes. So.
Yes, big German shoes. I hear in the grapevine that you've been having a very good season, you've been doing. You did really well in the Challenger Series, right?
Yeah. On Thursday, won it with Bluey and Devo, who play for Savage in the RLRS, and we beat Red Reserve in the finals, who have won every Gfinity tournament I think they've played in the last week or so. So yeah, it was a good result. But
today we have Method. And everyone is talking about this game being the biggest game of the tournament. Do you think that they're your biggest threat in the competition?
Yeah, I put them to be either second or first after Vitality in the entire season. So there's definitely a lot to play for here.
What are the tactics that you guys have been doing this week then in the run up to this massive game? Have you been practicing together? Have you been in the warm up room yet?
We didn't get as much time as we would have liked because of course Pashy was ill, but we only knew that since Wednesday.
Okay.
So we tried our best to prepare, and we will try our best to win, but it will be hard for sure.
Who are you going to be keeping an eye on in the game in Method?
Burrito, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all good, but Burrito is the most speedy player in that team.
I'm going to ask you both for a quick prediction of what you think the score is going to be. Comes to you first.
I would say 3-2 for us. It's going to be close for sure.
It's definitely going to be close, I reckon. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so too.
Well, go and smash it, guys. Have a good game, and maybe we'll speak again next week when you're MVP or you're MVP, and maybe you'll be our takeaway moment. Let's hope. I mean, sorry, Method. It's nothing personal.
It's nothing personal. Thank you very much, Ariel. And with Nexo and Junior. Junior looks very, very confident he's going to step into those shoes. I look forward to that. They are taking on Method, and he said that they are one of the stronger teams. They were 2-0 up in the series, and the sweep happened. They lost to MV 3-2. Is that going to affect their confidence today, gentlemen?
I would say so, yeah. You never really want to be reverse swept. It's an absolute momentum killer, not just for that week, but for the week after now as well. And this Method squad, I think Shogun and the guys, they all predicted Method as being one of the strongest teams in this Elite Series way back at the start of week 1. And they've they've just trailed off a little bit. They've not been putting in the performances that we kind of come to expect from them. The former Reason roster who won Season 2. Season 2, yes. Yep. I get my stats right. But yeah, that reverse sweep has got to be playing on our minds. But hey, it's a new week, it's a new team they're going to be facing. Anything can happen.
Hey, everyone wants a reverse sweep today, otherwise they don't get free pizza.
Yeah, it's exactly what.
So we know that and it wants to happen. But however, they haven't necessarily been performing. But Cassio, again, another outstanding performance from him. He's driving this team forward.
Cassio is just on a whole nother level to what I've ever seen from him right now. He is a player that really is sort of stepping up to maybe probably be the top 3 players that we actually have here at the Gfinity Elite Series, and he needs to keep that going because Method, they've sort of faltered for the entire week. Not even last week was the worst of their problems. During the Thunderdome, which is an online tournament they've been playing during the midweek, they actually dropped down to a lower bracket there in a match that they really should have breezed through. So I think they need to start waking up now because time's running out and they can't afford another bad result.
I love Mexican foods. Burrito is a form of Mexican foods. I want to talk about Burrito B because it makes sense to, because I am quite peckish this morning.
Me too, man.
Burrito B, what's his role in the team?
He is really I think, secondary captain, I would say, to Rex Ronde. Rex Ronde kind of puts himself out there as the leading man, but then Burrito B is there to back him up every single time. On the pitch, he kind of plays that supporting role, I would say, stepping back a little bit sometimes to drop into defense, but he's there when he needs to be, and being an absolute key part of that roster, Burrito B is going to be essential in this game against Vitality.
I hope he was listening to you. Burrito B, did you hear what Craftman said about you?
Did you hear what he said?
No.
He was basically saying that you're like the second lead after Rick's Ronde. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
How are you, Burrito B? We haven't spoke on camera for a while. You're a bit jittery. You're a bit like dancing around. Are you nervous for this game? Are you feeling good?
A bit. We haven't been performing that well lately, but I think we'll pull through.
Rick's Ronde's not very well, is he?
True. He has a really sore throat. He's a bit ill, but I think he'll manage.
I was going to say, is this going to affect the game at all?
Maybe. We'll see.
Okay. They just called you out as the biggest threat on Team Method. I'm talking about Renner Vitality. Would you say that? They said you're the fastest player on the team.
I mean, depends on the game sometimes not. Cassio's really fast as well, Riggs as well.
What have you been doing in terms of warming up? Because everyone has been talking about this as the game of the season. Do you feel pressure when people talk about that?
Not really.
No?
No.
Easy breezy, Burrito B.
Definitely.
You're all warmed up?
Definitely.
You ready?
Yes.
You going to destroy Renner Vitality?
Of course.
Okay, we'll go and do it then. Yeah. Fighting talk. He's so calm and tall.
So calm and so tall. There he is in a player's tunnel. They're going to get sorted, then we get the first match of week 3 underway. Stumpy, oddly enough, said that this was his pick of the week, the match he was really excited to watch. Burrito B, not giving too much away. He just wants to get his head down and get into the game. How do you see this one going?
So, this is a very interesting series in general because I assume you're asking my prediction on this one. Method are coming into this one obviously on a bit of a cold streak at the moment, but when I just look at the Vitality roster, there's too many questions going on there. It's not the Vitality I'm used to. There's too many different factors for me to really analyze them as I would normally analyze them. So for that reason,
You're out.
Method.
Okay, for that reason, you're out of backing Renner Vitality, current champs. What about yourself, Craftman?
I've got to agree with Shogun. Vitality, there's too many holes to pick apart. They've got 2 stand-ins technically for their main roster, but you've got to consider that reverse sweep that Method had last week. It's affecting their confidence, but I'm going to
sit on the fence.
But
sit on the fence.
I will give it to Method in 5 games.
Oh, you didn't axle toss it. Thank you so much.
There we go. I'll tell you what. Well, that's what the guys make of this one, the predictability and their match predictions. So listen, guys, I'm backing Vitality for this one. I know they're coached by Gregan. For Vitality, we have Very Peak, Nexo, and Junior. Tell you what, Method are in trouble. You see a smile from Fairy Peak. It's all over. He means business today. If he's smiling, they're in trouble. Right, let's welcome Method out for that team. We have Burrito B, Cassio, and Rick's Ronde.
You just stepped in the danger zone. Now
Okay then. We've taken the predictions from Craftman and Shogun, and we're going to take a walk across now. Players are all in place. Yeah, it feels...
It's the morning, isn't it?
It feels appropriate.
Yeah, am I not getting a hug now? Ah.
Nah, you get one of those.
Well, sloppy seconds is fine, don't worry.
Getting you around these scenes, we'll build up to that at the end of the show. Guys, I feel like Vitality, they're too strong, and Greg and coaching as well. What says Yi over here?
It's such a tough one. We were talking about this before. We've obviously come on air now, and it's two of the streakiest teams we have in the Elite Series. Method can beat anyone on their day in the world, but then at the same time, they can get reverse swept. Yeah. It's so strange. Then you're looking at the changes on this Vitality lineup. How's that going to
says Yi over here?
I mean, it's such a tough one. I genuinely can't call how this one's going to go.
You always get predictions 100%.
It's two of the streakiest teams we have in the Elite Series.
He gets 100% of his predictions. Never got one. So that's why he's not making one right now. Jay, what says you?
Oh, man, it's way too difficult to pick one team or the other. As you know, Craftman said there's way too many holes in Vitality. Method have been pretty streaky. I definitely think it will go to 5 games.
Okay.
But I think maybe just might edge out their Vitality by like the tiniest amount.
Oh, I like the look of Junior. He seems up for this. Listen, gentlemen, I will leave it in your capable hands. I'm really looking forward to this week 3. Let's get it on!
Thank you, Tom, and welcome, Switchblade Jay, to the desk. It's a pleasure to obviously have you here, casting away with me. Unfortunately for you, it's me that you've got to deal with today. But big game, obviously, first up here. 2 incredible lineups. We can see some of the guys here from Renault Vitality getting ready to play. And I want you to talk a little bit about Junior, because he's come into this team now. He's got some big shoes to fill. Obviously, we're Pashy not being here this week.
Yeah, and again, you know, as Craftman was saying, it's kind of like almost like 2 subs coming in for the Vitality side. Gregan was talking backstage about how he really wanted to try out Junior and see how well he would be able to hold things down. So he's going to be my player to watch right now for the Renault Vitality side as we get kicked off for game number 1. It's an early kickoff to the favour of Method as Rix Ronde tries to put the first ball on target. They can't quite get a man on the offensive to get a good shot in, so as a result, Vitality are going to return the favour. Return back by Burrito B, all the same. Method trying their best. They might have had a shot here. Part of Rix Ronde, they're going off the crossbar, but Casio comes in with a follow-through.
Well, that's the kind of start that Method needed, and a lot of the times we see these first games here on the main stage, they take a little bit of time for people to get used to it. It's usually a scrappy kind of first few minutes for everyone trying to get adjusted back to obviously playing in the live environment. But Method, coming off the back of a lack of confidence from that reverse sweep, being on the bad end of a reverse sweep last week, that's going to do them good. First goal on the board for them.
Very quickly, Ferry Pete's going to try and turn it around. Renault Vitality would love nothing more than to equalise here in the first minute. As it stands, though, Method up, putting up a decent offensive line. Burrito B is going to have another shot on target, just saved by Ferry Pete off the crossbar. Gassio comes back in, puts it on close. Nexo over on the other side just puts that ball further out of position. So we'll go towards the corner, and now it's Method keeping things controlling the counter-attack in the midfield. Ferry Pete trying to find a decent position. Not going to happen on the part of Casio. Picks up the 100 boost as well, so should be able to control this into an offensive line. He may even carry it all the way on his own. Couldn't quite get the job done, though. Method still remaining in the lead, though. Still a good stop.
Yeah, Ferry Pete doing a good job there, especially considering that he had basically 0 boost to work with, actually following up his own attempt there, and it's going to be Rix Ronde who brings it away now. But Method doing a good job defensively at the moment. They're also mounting a lot of pressure on the offense, and Casio puts it underneath. And Method double their lead with inside 1 minute and 6 seconds.
Massive overcommitment from Renault Vitality and just going to get back in time. Casio even getting past the 1 man. It seemed like a weak touch, and that might end up getting saved there on the part of Renault, but not to be. 2-0 for the Method side, just past that first minute marker. We'll be able to keep things going. Casio, kick off to start things off. Method feels to rotate back as Ferry Pete gets a shot off the crossbar. Double touch, barely gets defended by the defense. The back line of the Method side holds face for the moment and turns things back around out towards that corner as Burrito B into the center. Nexo should be able to take that away. The Method have a player up to the mid-center. He's not going to commit to this. And as a result, Renault Vitality back in the orange half just can't seem to get the accurate shots, cannot seem to get the accurate setups. It goes right back inside, and again, the defensive just crumbles on the part of Vitality.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head there. Burrito B just sends this one up there. That's just a long clear, to be honest with you. I don't think he's expecting that to fall in. And nobody back on the rotation there for Renault Vitality. It just falls slowly like a snowflake into the goal there. Method up by 3 now, and it seems like a real lack of cohesion here from Renault Vitality early on.
And that's the thing I was fearing the most for these guys. Obviously, that sub situation could cause a massive, just complete cluster on the part of Renault Vitality's team line. And Method are happy to take control here in game 1. Still plenty of more games to go, so maybe they can turn it around. But for the interim, Renault Vitality looking in a pretty bad spot. Junior will still be able to set up a good shot, denied by the defense. Method fantastic on their defensive challenges and turning it back into a counter-attack as Cassie with another fantastic shot. It was a little bit too far wide. Fortunately enough for Junior, he will be able to miss it. So Method just control it once again in the offensive line. Burrito B out to the corner. Junior puts it off center. Ferry Pete back over to the orange side as Rix Ronde just tries to disrupt it for the Method side, make sure the defensive holds down.
No boost here for Fairy Peak. Junior, though, he's putting the pressure on. Cassio gets the long clear away, but Nexo should be on to that one pretty quickly. He's dropping down now. Rix Ronde will bring this one away. Nice touch from him to try and keep possession, but Fairy Peak's going to take to the skies now. 0 boost, and this is one thing we were focusing on last week. Fairy Peak, when he has 100 boost, so dangerous in any particular area on the pitch. It's just what he does when he doesn't have that boost. And if you can starve him of that, and Method will be trying to do that, of course, it really does hinder his game.
So many teams have picked up on that. Certainly his game has been hindered for the past few months. Fairy Peak trying to set up his teammates. Nexo with a good shot opportunity. Rix Ronde coming through as Fairy Peak does get a shot on target, but it is defended as appropriate by the Method side. 2 minutes to go. The pressure continues to mount for Renault Vitality. They are on a serious back foot. As Method continue their offensive game. Rix Ronde, Cassio and Burrito B holding down in the midfield, gets it over to the blue corner. In fact, Rix Ronde might carry this through of his own accord. Nice challenge on Fairy Peak's save. Again, just keeps that pressure holding for Method. Absolutely unrelenting so far here in the last 20 seconds or so. It's only a matter of time before one of these balls goes on target, potentially going in the back of the net. That's a 4-0. I think at this point, that might just be unrecoverable for Renault Vitality.
Yeah, it really hasn't been any particular pressure, to be honest, from Renault Vitality in this game. There's not been a lot of team play, and this might be something which could spark something. Fairy Peak takes things into his own hands. We talk about what he does without any boost, and he struggles, but when he's got some, he goes off the sidewalk with the air dribble, and that is why Fairy Peak is still a player to be feared.
Cassio, nice shot. Yeah, very, very nice shot from Fairy Peak, and that's something you were talking about. He can be a monster when he has the resources available to him. And there we go, Renault Vitality finally getting their first on the board. Again, I'm still conscious of that timer though. 1 minute and 19 on the clock, and again, Method off the kickoff, going to try and set up the offensive line. It is cleared back. Fairy Peak passed in. Goes high off the backboard. Second touch might just get followed up, but no, Cassio denies it at the line. Still Fairy Peak going to get a good shot on target. Rix Ronde is there to defend that this time. Cassio back out to the corner, challenges all the same. Junior follows it back around as Renault Vitality. This time they're the ones with the offensive pressure.
Now, one thing that you can see here is Vitality is starting to find their feet a little bit. You can see Junior starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, maybe fitting in. They found the role for him on this team, and he's allowing Fairy Peak to get a little bit more aggressive, use that boost, and take some more chances. And Method have been on the back foot for the last minute or so here, and you can see Fairy Peak, he's trying to create something, a beautiful flick over there, trying to find the teammate inside. Junior's there, but a big block coming in there from Cassio.
30 seconds, Method just need to hold on to this lead and lie any opportunities for Renault Vitality, and they'll be able to win game 1. Rix Ronde takes the ball out to the corner. He's completely out of boost. Going to leave it to back up here. And Cassio will be there to put it off the backboard. Once again, Junior just putting it out of centre again, holding down the defensive for Renault Vitality. 15 seconds left. They've got to turn it into a counter-attack, though. Fairy Peak has that ball control towards the midfield, dribbles it, tries to get a good passing play. Actually rebounds it as well. Burrito B's challenge. But eventually the clear does come through from Method, and that's going to confirm what we already know. This game is going to their favour. One more. Not going to quite put away from Cassio, but it's fine. It's Method with game 1.
Yeah, Method are going to take game 1 here. As soon as that ball hits the floor, Nexo tries to create something. That's a little bit of a confidence boost there, not only for Renault Vitality, but Fairy Peak. That's 2 goals in the game for him there, and I think if you look at the second half of that game here, Jay, you would say that Vitality definitely grew into that one, and we're certainly going to have a series on our hands the further this goes on, and you worry, for Method, the longer this series maybe is elongated, the more chance they have of winning it, maybe.
Yeah, for certain, and you know, as you were saying, it took Vitality a little bit of time to get into the matchup. I was kind of expecting that from game 1, to be honest. Both teams very, very close towards their line, very, very a lot of potential to potentially take the whole game away, and Method coming out on top just because of how dominant they were in the first half of the matchup. But I think maybe the pace might end up changing for Vitality now.
Now, I want to talk about Fairy Peak a little bit, because when we were here last season, we were like, Fairy Peak's a god. Fairy Peak, he's absolutely magical. He can create something out of nothing, but he has had his confidence knocked after what was a poor performance in the RLCS. We have to be honest, we have to, you know, call a brick a brick, call a spade, whatever you want to say about it. But I just feel in a situation like this, it really could be sort of the rebirth of Fairy Peak a little bit. With Junior coming in, Junior can take that responsibility of playing that third-man rotation and just allowing just releasing Fairy Peak back into the wild. Let those locks flow again and just let him do what he does best. And you can see here, as soon as he got that first goal on the ball with a beautiful air dribble there, then he really did grow into the game, and I feel like he could grow into the series.
Yeah, for certain. You know, he certainly was the MVP for that Vitality in that one. 7 shots on target, so he was the offensive powerhouse for that side. 2 of which actually ended up going in, which is what actually brought that match to be a close affair in the first place. So Method do not, they have their work cut out for them. Yeah. This is not going to be an easy ride. That's the thing, we weren't expecting it to be an easy ride whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the thing you've got to remember as well. You know, we're talking a lot about this Vitality team because we have such high expectations of them, especially after last season. But then you look at this Method squad, and we have to say our expectations are just as high. The only thing is they keep coming up just a little bit short for whatever reason that is. And you can see it there in that game. It was a perfect example of what Method brings to the table. 3-0 up within a couple of minutes. Before you know it, it's 3-2, and they look like they could throw away a game. But here we are, game number 2 here. And a reminder to everyone at home as well, this is, of course, a best of 5. So 3 games, you win the series, and you're taking a win home.
Method up the match point here. Going to start things off on the front foot as they get the offensive play. Burrito B getting a little bit too high, but certainly on target. Very Peak bumped out position. Could buy a chance for Rick's Ronde over the Burrito B. Good touch in. A chance barely missed. Very Peak getting on top of the ball, killing all the momentum, making sure that Method couldn't adjust towards that stage left area. Method back into the back lines. Cassio to the midfield. Challenges Fairy Peak. Gets it to the corner. Tries to carry it solo. This is a dangerous ball, but Burrito B can't get there in time. So Method having all the strength, all the momentum going in so far. Couldn't quite get that first goal in the first minute.
Yeah, one thing I like seeing here is that it does look like Junior has taken that third man role as his own. He's gone, you boys go forward. He's allowing Nexo and Fairy Peak to do what they do best, and it's encouraging them to be creative. And look at this, Fairy Peak, after the touch off the back wall, is going to find the back of the net. Renault Vitality up by 1, and we can talk about how good that finish was from Fairy Peak, but I just think he's been given confidence by the sub coming in here as well.
And Method got to get on that backboard, boys. All 3 players in the net. That's absolutely not where you want to be when Fairy Peak has a backboard touch to his favour. Method going to try to set something up similar, though. Rick's Ronde doesn't have any backup. Fairy Peak is able to get the clear as a result. And Method try and adjust here. Try and see if they can keep that pressure going. But the ball goes right back into their half. 2 players on rotation. Rick's Ronde will get off the backboard this time. Still a dangerous ball for Junior. Cassio takes it away. Now over to the blue side corner. Nexo, 50 points of boost, going to leave it for Fairy Peak, who has been the carry for all intents and purposes for Renault Vitality. Keep control of that midfield. It's Rick's Ronde with ball. Back away. Challenged again. Cassio in the mid-centre, but he's going to rotate back because Renault Vitality have full field dominance here. Trying to set up a good passing play. It's going to go too wide from Burrito B.
Here comes Rick's Ronde down on the follow-up. Cassio manages to win the ball. The challenge in the midfield. Fairy Peak comes in as well. Junior always got a little bit of a lucky pass there, and the ball back inside. Junior's there.
No.
Unfortunately for him, he can't finish. There might be an opportunity on the breakaway here. Nexo's not going to be there, and it falls in the back of the net. Vitality had the opportunity there to turn that into 2-0. Unfortunately, Junior just couldn't take that opportunity, and before you know it, Rocket League's a cruel game here. A Method. It's now 1-1.
One big commitment from Renault Vitality, shut down by a little bit of inaccuracy and then a clear. And that's really unfortunate for them, especially when they started things off on the right foot. Now Method will try and make good here on game 2. Burrito B with a great dribble. Rick's Ronde in to control it. Midfield supportive element. It's Fairy Peak. Over to Junior. Try and go for a good shot in. Oh, that might be on target, just off the crossbar. Rick's Ronde gets back in time and gets another challenge with the Nexo. That ball is again very dangerous, but no one else from Method is up here trying to commit towards it. So again, Fairy Peak and Junior passing between the 2 players. And it back over to the orange side. This will be a shot on target from the midfield line. Junior going to keep that one going as well, getting very, very dangerous. Nexo just can't quite seem to get it set up. Renault Vitality control of the corner, but Method good on the defense. All comes down to a clear before they can set up the counter-attack.
One thing that gives me tingles every time that I see Fairy Peak take it to the skies in his opposition's half. I think if you're Method right now, you want to see him in the air, but in his own half. Doing the work defensively, using up that boost, and now you can see him chasing down this ball, trying to get a pass back inside off that sidewall. Nexo's going to challenge here. Ball back inside. Cassio will be beaten to that one. Rick's Ronde, though, he gets the clear, and now some defensive work to do. The shot's just wide there from Rick's. Nexo with an important demo in the middle there, just to make sure that that ball wasn't falling to an on-rushing Method player.
Method fantastic at their defensive challenges, just not turning up towards a good counter-attack. When they do get a good counter-attack, it's usually inaccuracy that hurts them. Inaccuracy all across the board, it seems, for both teams. Method have the ball back in their side. It's Cassio, straight in the mid-center, looking for a second touch, just challenged by Junior. Great read again from Renault Vitality, who are looking just as good in their back line. Take the ball towards the midfield. It's Junior, challenged by Burrito B. Fairy Peak still up high, passes down to Nexo. This could be great if it wasn't so high and wasn't so wide. Now Rick's Ronde able to return it. Great touch, great dribble, just denied by Fairy Peak, who's looking on top form at the moment here in game 2. Renault Vitality just being able to get hold on, but Method now with Rick's Ronde. The demo plays just come back from Nexo. Quick rotations, Renault Vitality hold on to the equal scoreline.
Yeah, Burrito B's getting a little bit angry in the game at the moment. A couple of demos from him. They did have that chance, but last second interception there from Renault Vitality. Keep this game tied up at 1-1. A big chance here. Burrito B manages to get it away. Nexo will take it down towards the corner, of Vitality to be looking to take the ball down just a little bit more. Junior's going to have a little bit of defensive work to do here, but Cassio's looking for a ball back inside now. That infield pass not finding its target. And this is end-to-end stuff now. Nexo might have the chance. Pops it off the backboard. Where's Fairy Peak? There's Fairy Peak! But Rix Ronde is there to deny him.
Just holding on. 45 seconds still, all at 1-1. Method have the ball in their half, have their control. It's Cassio challenging, trying to get it back over to Rix. It's Junior that chips it up, goes for a second pass in for Nexo, but Nexo's a little bit too far back. Burrito can get the save as a result. Still, it's going to be Nexo putting the ball on target. Fairy Peak's actually going to find the high angle, and Renault Vitality just tip over the edge at 28 seconds.
Pepper in this backboard at the moment. You can see Nexo there, pushes that one forward, wins the battle. Fairy Peak arrives again, and those two seem to be combining pretty nicely at the moment. I think you made a great point. Method got to be defending that back wall a little bit better at the moment. They seem to be struggling under pressure.
Method, first time in this series they have been on the back foot at the end of the game. Second half for Renault Vitality could go extremely well. Once again, it's Cassio setting things up. Rix Ronde also off the sidewall. Junior and Nexo combined to get it right back out to that corner. It's Burrito. Second touch in against Cassio, 10 seconds, missing Junior. Gets it right back over to the box. Now they have 5 seconds. Method needs to turn this around. Good pass out to Burrito B, but denied by Nexo, and Junior's going to return it.
Beautiful stuff.
Renault Vitality taking game 2.
Beautiful stuff from Renault Vitality there. Nexo with an all-important clearance there. Junior's there to finish it off as well. Obviously, everyone from Method's flying forward to try and commit to get back into the game there, but with 1 second left on the clock here. Jace, it's going to be the series being tied up at 1-1 now, and Vitality are growing back into this series. You can see it literally second by second as it ticks down on the clock.
Yeah, fantastic stuff coming back against that game 1. Obviously, Method have a very, very dominant starting in this series, but Vitality just as quickly firing those shots back. I want to take a look at the stats real quick and see how the rest of the players stepped up, because Fairy Peak was certainly the man of the moment for that first game, but Junior coming into his own right here, getting a goal of his own, actually more shots than Fairy Peak in this case. So he's starting to show up. Obviously, Gregan's got a lot of faith in this player, and now that he's proving his worth, I think this might end up going more to the favor of Vitality now for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and you can see Vitality just peppering that backboard. They seem to work out how to take down Method a little bit at the moment, and just to point out at the moment, Fairy Peak currently has scored as many goals in the first 2 games as the entirety of Method. Sorry, the amount of shots as a Method. So he's definitely taking that mantle of trying to be that offensive powerhouse that we know he can be. I think it's something that Method need to adjust to very quickly, because it's not something that's difficult to adjust to. It's just recognizing it and putting a stop to it, to be honest with you.
I mean, I've got to admit, both teams held a very good defensive throughout the course of that second game. So many good challenges. Method kind of dropped off towards the end, though, and talking about a little bit of endurance issues, I think, from these squads.
Yeah.
Maybe that might end up coming to play here in game 3, because now I think that maybe Vitality have picked themselves over and got themselves a lot of control now, and I've got a lot of momentum swinging into game 3 as well. Like, I'm actually really excited for the future of this series for Vitality.
Battle of the fist bumps on stage at the moment. Both of the coaches, you can see Gregan always just pops a little squat on his. Ready? Watch those knees go. It's a beautiful thing to watch. Ready? Ready? Oh, there it is. There he is. Oh, God, I love watching Gregan. He's so hyped, isn't he?
He is.
And I think it's something we don't talk enough about sometimes, is like, when you are down in a series, things aren't going your way. If you've got someone behind you who's like, let's go, let's go. As soon as something good happens, it just fills you with confidence. It gives you the confidence to try what you just tried again. And I mean, Vitality, they take that game number 2. The series is poised beautifully at the moment at 1-1. Who's going to take the lead in this swing game?
Yeah, it's Method with a great start inside the box. Cassio over to Rix Ronde, barely keeping it inside. Nexo gets the clear. Renault Vitality, a little bit scary as you saw over there. But Method again starting things off. Renault Vitality trying to return it. Great shot in from Junior. Now Rix Ronde returns it. This actually might go through. I thought Nexo had it, but not to be.
4 minutes 30 on the clock, and again, just a long clear here, to be honest with you. Coming in from Rix Ronde, sends it downtown. Nobody there from Vitality to get the clearance on that one. All the early pressure was coming in from them, but for all the pressure, sometimes you've either got to convert because you can leave yourself open at the back.
And again, Renault Vitality suffering from a large commitment. This time it wasn't quite as large, but it still might end up hurting them as they get it off the backboard off this next kickoff, trying to get that first shot in. Fairy Peak a little bit too far back. And again, this could be a chance for Method, as you say. Ball into the backboard, over to the corner. Cassio trying to take a good shot in, challenged by Junior. No second man out there. Rix Ronde will still bounce it into the center, but Fairy Peak, no troubles taking control here. Gets it out to Junior, right on the offensive line. Return back by Method. The great counter-attack, a great ball. A nice open net for Burrito B. Couldn't get forward far enough to take the shot in for Method. Still going to remain in the lead here in the opening minute, but Renault Vitality, again, they're just getting started. As Rix Ronde gets another good shot in. Again, Junior defending it, keeping it held down at a 1-goal lead.
One thing that I think kind of helps Method in the strangest, most odd kind of way. They play better when they're behind. I love when they're on the front foot, when they're trying to force the issue a little bit. It just seems that when they do have that lead, sometimes they get a little bit complacent, we could say. Maybe that's one of their inconsistencies that we talk about. But Method, they do have a 1-goal lead here, and they need to play almost like they're one behind at the moment. Vitality will come back at them. They will create chances, as we've seen in those first 2 games.
Method are not safe, not by a long shot. 1 goal is all Vitality need to get themselves back into game 3. Rix Ronde shot up high. It's very peak to put it back away. Again, passing over to Junior, who gets it right back over towards the backboard. Burrito B completely denies any setup from Renault Vitality. Allows Casio to get the clear. Burrito B to follow it up. Actually, off the backboard, just very peak. Getting back in time. Still, Rix Ronde will come through a little bit too far to the left-hand side. Some great setups from Method. Again, the inaccuracy hurting this squad. It's going to get returned as a result. Junior very close to the line. Casio clears it to the midfield. Rix Ronde trying to follow through. Oh, bad touch as well. That could have been a fantastic boomer straight down the field. Burrito B will be able to get it in the end from the air. But cleared back, very peak. Again into the orange half. Takes it off the backboard, trying to dunk it down, trying to go for a stellar 0 angle, but couldn't quite finish the job.
Very peak trying to spark Renault Vitality back into life here. Looks to that backboard, but big clearance coming in there from... And it's actually going to turn into a goal here. And again, it's Method who are just soaking up pressure, and the long clear is just working out for them. Casio here from his own goal line just booms it forward, and nobody back on the rotation there. And Vitality is going to be looking left, going to be looking right. Someone's responsible for that. Someone wasn't where they should have been.
I was not ready for that. Like, I don't think anyone was really ready for that. Like, yeah. How has Casio managed 2 nice from the net clears in this series? Obviously, he's a very good player of his own accord. But Renault Vitality really should have read that. 2-0 for the Method side. Renault Vitality getting close again. They're trying to score it, but denied by Casio as Rix Ronde takes it to the midfield, takes it to the corner. Nexo just denying enough boost to put it back over to the center for his side. It's Junior putting it back out to the other side, keeping that in the pressure for Method. Rix Ronde over to the corner. Very peak. A fantastic touch. Did you say pass back in? This is going in. No, it's too wide.
They have to put those away.
The inaccuracies are just getting to both sides this time.
Very Peak did absolutely everything right there. Left 2 Method players on their back. Set it up beautifully. I believe it was Junior who had the shot, but it was just wide. And you're talking about inaccuracy and the level of play that we're seeing right now. And they have to take those chances. They're not going to get better ones than that.
Burrito B had the perfect chance right there. It still went wide. I hope they take the next 60-second pause to just be like, right, we need to work on this, guys. Like, what's going on? The demo comes through to the midfield. Still Method have the ball up inside that blue box. Nexo. Clear back over to the orange side. Rix Ronde a challenge. Nexo over there. Pass in from Junior. It's too wide again. This is going to be a common theme, I think, for the rest of this series here.
I want to see the conversion rate at the moment on these guys. I want to see that percentages, because I've got to be honest, it's not looking great at the moment, but every cloud has a silver lining, and it just means the only way is up as far as these guys are concerned right now.
This is now past that 60-second marker here in this game. Method still lead by a 2-0. Renault Vitality trying to defend it. They need to turn a good counter-attack, though. This is just not going well as Method keeps the pressure up. Casio will go for a double touch. It does pinch off the crease and go high, allowing a little bit of breathing room for Renault Vitality, but 30 seconds. Again, that timer is about to become a serious warning that you've got only a couple more chances. Still into the center. It's just Burrito B to doink it overway. Casio, good dribble, but couldn't get it in. Again, a little bit too far wide to the right-hand side. Now Vitality back in. Nexo, backboard, second touch, not going to go well. Casio clears it. That's still dangerous, actually. Shot to come through. Again, it's going to go too high. Very peak towards the mid-center. Couldn't get control of it either, and it will go back to the midfield as a result. 2-0, it seems, for the Method side. 5 seconds remaining. Yeah, this is going to be a 3rd game on the board. 2-1 now for Method.
There it is, their Method. They go up 2-1. They have been inconsistent, but they managed to scrape away another game there. But that was a scrappy affair, to be honest with you, between the 2 teams. Nothing particularly stand out as far as an individual player, as far as the team play was concerned. It was the 2 long clearances, to be honest, from Method. And we talked about how Junior coming in might affect this lineup and might throw off their rotations a little bit, and that was a perfect example of it. 2 long clearances win you a game. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and again, I want to bring a bit of a word I was using quite a lot throughout the course of that matchup was inaccuracy.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot believe the number of shots that went wide or went high or didn't end up going in at all. It was a very, very scrappy game, as you say. Method barely pinching it past again. Shots like that, you know, Casio probably should have got that in, but he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, there were chances. There were chances for either side there, and Method, the important thing is when you have a scrappy game is to win that game. You know, as long as you can look back on it and think, now we've got 2 opportunities to win the series. Take the series off of Renault Vitality, which they will be ecstatic about. If you can put that scalp on your list, it's great as far as the season is concerned, especially one of your closest rivals, of course. They're in 2nd place at the moment, Renault Vitality. Method sat at the top of the table. They're going to create some distance between them and put themselves a step closer to those playoffs. So it's a big game for both teams for different reasons here, and I think you've got to say that Method, if they can win this one, they're going to be absolutely ecstatic with that.
Yeah, because if they can win it right now, they of course get that massive points boost for not going to 5 games. It's entirely possible here. Do not count them out whatsoever. I think it actually might end up being quite likely again, unless Renault Vitality manage to turn it back up to turn the dials back up to 11 and find some manner of form again, enable Fairy Peak to just pop off like he was doing in games 1 and 2. Then this might end up being a 3-1 series for Method as it stands. Will be kickoff for game 4. Method again with the offensive pressure to start things off. It's a bit of a common theme that they seem to win out these kickoffs, but the first shot
had a chance there again.
Oh,
I mean, there's inaccuracy and there's not making contact. There's one thing I know, Jay. It's sometimes you just have to hit the ball really hard.
I mean, it's rule like 3 at this point for Rocket League.
It's rule 1 of Shogun.
Nah, not rule 1. The Method going to be back inside their half. Rix Ronde out to the mid position. Burrito B is going to have to rotate back, just put this out of the way because Nexo had a fantastic opportunity to score there, so good disruption to keep it out of play. Only one player in the back lines. Rix puts it out to the wide-hand side. Good shot in, will be defended by Nexo. I thought Junior was the man in the back line, but clearly not. Nexo playing as backup, making sure that Renault Vitality do not concede this first goal because that'll be tragic for your momentum and mentality. Still, it's going to be dangerous for Rixo B. Cassio getting it off the ceiling, getting it off the backboard. Most inside that box. Method again have all of the momentum, everything to their favor right now. Another good shot of Cassio. Second touch will go down, but not far forward enough to be a goal.
Fairy Peak. Oh, it's challenged high up by Rix Ronde. I like this from Method. They're really being aggressive in the midfield, challenging and winning those challenges and keeping that ball. That means that all these players from Vitality, they're going to be scavenging for boost, looking for anything. If they can grab a couple of those corner boosts here, Method, they might create an opportunity, but a big clearance coming in from Fairy Peak is just going to reset the field a little bit.
Junior now, midfield dominance, gets it past the first. Can he get it past the second? Rix Ronde in a dangerous position. Fairy Peak will try and chip it, but Burrito B, again being the rock for Method, making sure that does not go past the line. Now it's back into Method's counter-attack, the control towards the midfield. It's still going to be Renault Vitality in with a decent shout here. Junior challenges Burrito B, Fairy Peak back in. Nexo goes towards the left-hand side. It's Cassio there to push it out of position. They have to control into the corner here. Burrito B, Fairy Peak, pass back in. Junior with a great chance going off the crossbar.
What's that word again?
Inaccuracy.
There it is again. Perfect example of it there. Junior with a big chance. Set up beautifully that time by Fairy Peak with the infield pass, but just couldn't convert. And it's hurting them. It really is hurting them. They're down 2-1 in the series at the moment, but they have had the chances. They just haven't put them away.
A chance from Rix Ronde, however. By Burrito B, Cassio back towards the midfield, just takes that midfield dominance, tries to keep the pressure going for Method. Here we go, off the backboard, Rix Ronde with a nice redirective touch, followed up by Cassio. He couldn't get far forward enough. And just as we hit the halfway mark, it will still be scoreless here in what could be the deciding game for Method. Still they chip it, backboard touch, second face coming through from Burrito B. Couldn't get there in time. Again, Method, all the pressure on the backboard. Junior feeds it away, Rix Ronde in with a centered up shot. Fairy Peak just comes through with the save. Vitality focus on their defense. Their defense has been relatively good so far. A couple of awkward positions that Method have been able to take advantage of. Pass back in from Junior, tries to get the demo, but Burrito B is still going to be there alongside Rix Ronde. Get the clear, get the counter-attack. Method keeping their pressure going.
Touch here from Junior, but puts it into a risky spot in front of his own goal there. Followed up here. You can see Cassio is hovering, but not in position to finish that one off. And I mean, how many chances do we have to have in this game before the first goal is going to be scored? 1 minute 40 left on the clock here. Someone has to take one of these chances.
Someone has got to get a goal in. Like, surely by some point, someone's going to line it up properly. Like, it's getting really frustrating to watch at this point here, man. A minute and 30.
Do something. Make something happen.
Channeling your inner Darth Vader at this point. Like, just do anything. The Method have ball control. Fairy Peak going to challenge for it. Still got Cassio, however, to the left-hand side, running out of boost. We'll still try and go for the shot opportunity. Junior has no problems clearing that back away. But now Rix Ronde back off the backboard. Fairy Peak just gets there in time to disrupt. Burrito B back into the center. Rix Ronde trying to go for the challenge, but it will get returned to the Method half. Now Fairy Peak to follow it all the way around. 100 boost picked up as he just started to run out. Cassio still to follow it around again towards the blue half of the pitch.
The 60-second marker ticks by. We're still scoreless here on set.
Yeah, into the last minute here. Can Vitality send us to a game 5? Oh, Cassio was in position to try and make something happen. Great
There we go!
Rich Ronde, though, finally puts the ball in. Method now with 50 seconds left on the clock. Have only got 50 seconds to see out and take home a series win.
Finally, a defensive mistake that was punished by the Method side. And as you say, so little time left on the clock. Renault Vitality turn the dials up right quick here. Let's see whether they'll be able to do it here. Method, we're going to listen into their comms.
Nice, I can be mid. Don't let me know 1, 2, 3. Careful. Shit. You can
He's
pass.
up as well, he's up as well. That's open. You, Rick. Nice. Touched.
You got someone?
You.
Yeah, you got.
I can't, he's there. Can't. Got it.
Good.
Nice. Go again, he's up.
Someone?
Can't. I'm up. To you, Boris. Nice. Just to flip it away, he's there. Careful. Cassio, come.
You can hear the guys on Method, they're cool, calm and collected, and every time one of those long clears comes in, you just hear one of them going, nice, and you can see why. They know the series is on the line. 8 seconds left here. Junior trying to make something happen. 5 seconds left. Nexo sends it forward. Big challenge, though, from Rix Ronde. Can they keep the ball up? Fairy Peak takes it over 1. Fairy Peak keeps the ball alive. Junior's there, puts it off the backboard, shoots towards goal, but can't convert. The chance was there, potentially, for Vitality. Ball still alive now, Junior, that should be it. Fricks can hit the ground, he does it as well, when Method take your series at 3-1.
Count their lucky stars, it was a 1-goal game, but certainly a very, very close affair from both sides. Method a 3-1 series, which is interesting. We all sort of thought it would go to that 5-game series, not to be in this case. They just had most of the control, I think, you know? They had a lot of problems that they could have exploited. Obviously, they had some trouble doing that, and so did Renault Vitality. But yeah, man, I'm still quite stunned that both teams made as many mistakes as they did. Yeah. Method, certainly a victory, but a victory that was hard fought for.
Yeah, it wasn't what we would say is perfect Rocket League by any source of the imagination, but sometimes it gives us the most entertaining Rocket League when it's not the most perfect. So they managed to scrape out a result there, and when you've got first going up against second place, of course, it's all about the result, getting those points on the board, and coming into this one, Method were top of the group. Now they've got a little bit of space between them. They've got a little bit of comfort, essentially, between them and second place, and always beating that second place is going to be a good feeling, but they need to focus up for next week now, because we've seen how inconsistent Method can be. They can come here and they can beat the second place team in the table, and then next week, they could flop.
Absolutely. So let's looking towards next week. We'll see how well they'll be able to do. For now, though, they can go back and celebrate again, avoiding that 5-game series and putting a serious amount of space between them and the second place squad. But again, a Method, well played to them, well fought from the likes of Vitality.
Now, what would you say to the guys on the other side of the stage? Because they're going to be pretty dejected right now. They had chances, they had opportunities. Unfortunately, they've got a lot of loss to their name now, Renault Vitality. They just seem to be in this slump. If you're in Gregan's shoes, those beautiful orange and white shoes that we've seen earlier, what would you be saying to these guys, maybe after this series, looking ahead to next week?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. Not really a life coach myself, but I'm sure Gregan will be able to find the words, eat your greens, stay in school.
Go for a run.
Go for a run.
Stay
but
hydrated.
as well as that, just unlucky this time around. Obviously, Renault Vitality didn't have the best of chances, bringing in a sub right now, alongside Nexo, who's already kind of like a sub for this squad. And, just keep going. Now, again, they've got a few more weeks. They could still climb up towards that top 3. So give them a shot right here, I think.
Okay, well, that's going to do it all from our first series of the day. But we want to hear from the winning team, and I believe that we're with the wonderful Ariel right now.
Oh, Method, what a result. You guys must be buzzing.
Yeah, we are.
You weren't feeling very well, but you still managed to smash it. Well done. That's like an extra accolade there.
For sure.
Did you make Pashy ill? Is that what you did?
No, he made me ill.
He made you ill. It's fine. You still made it. What a result. Obviously, last week wasn't the best week for you guys because Envy defeated you. How important is this for you guys to have won this match?
Yeah, this is really important for us and for our confidence as well. Yeah.
You were saying you were really scared at one point, weren't you?
We would have been in a soft situation if we had lost this, because we had to win against Reason Gaming and we wouldn't have been sure to make top 3. Yeah. With winning even Reason Gaming. So.
And now what's next? Is it easy breezy for you guys now, or are you focusing, because you've got bye week next week, what's the next move for you guys? Are you just going to keep it chilled?
We're just going to practice a lot and get ready for the next game.
Love that. I like it. It doesn't matter that you've just won, you're still back into it. Well, I hope you get to feel better soon, and massive congratulations, guys. You smashed it.
Okay, thank you very much, Ariel. I was caught in mid-conversation with the main man, Gregan, the coach of Renault Vitality. Let's just get straight down to business. A loss, how are you feeling after it?
I mean, the only disappointment is that we didn't get a point out of it, because I felt like we could have gone to Game 5 there. I think the start, the 3 goals we went down in the first game, that was kind of a wake-up call, and then they started playing well for the rest of it. So I was actually quite happy after Game 1, because they were playing well. It's just a few little minor errors, like missed shots. I mean, Cassio pre-jumped 2 saves that won them the game. And stuff like that. There was Method playing really well, and us playing still pretty good, just not quite getting the final bit. And with Junior and his debut performance for us, I couldn't be happy with that.
Well, this is great. There's definitely a lot of positives to take from that. And how about Fairy Peak? Now, Onset mentioned it when he was casting and commentating throughout that actually he needed to lift his game. And we were talking about on the desk with Shogun and Craftman that actually this could be really good for him going forward. Hey, it's 1 loss, take it on the chin, move on to the next game, because now he knows he has to lead as well.
Yeah, so one of the big things we've been working on in scrims and coaching and stuff is creating more space, because Fairy Peak is unbelievable when he's got space. Just watching him in free play before they go live, he's scoring goals I've never seen people score before, but in the game, he's just not got the space and time to do that. So if we spread out more, we give him that time, and Junior came into this today and went, I'm just going to feed Fairy Peak.
Shogun, we talked about Fairy Peak. You said actually a lovely compliment to him. He's probably the best one-on-one player, if not the best.
Probably, he is the best 1v1 player in the world. And now, it was a great performance from Fairy Peak. I think that was probably the best I've seen him play in a long time. But there was one big tell about how Nexo and Junior maybe aren't as used to being on that stage as everyone else. And that was when, we know you love to go for a cheeky fist bump every single time you go. Every single time you went for a fist bump for them, they had to look up and just go, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You go to Fairy Peak, he just goes...
He's used to it now, isn't he?
He knows it's a reflex.
Yeah, but I have to note on the fact that your next match is going to be against XL, who are up next today, so stay tuned for that on our second series of week 3. But how do you feel like your schedule has affected things? You had a bye week, and then you went into the next game, and then today against Method. How's it been for you, that schedule?
I'm really happy we managed to beat Reason and not give him a point. That was huge, because in this group, I think it's going to be us or Method at number 1, the other one at number 2, and then I think Reason has the edge over the other 2 at the leftovers. And then the other group, I would say, is slightly weaker than ours. I think it's going to be Method and us in the final if things go as people playing their best. So I think that could be what we will see in the future for everyone at home. If they saw that game, that could be the final, but instead we'll have Pashi.
You played the top 2 teams, therefore, effectively in your mind, in the first 2 weeks. You had the bye week to start with. So you've really got past the hardest opposition, and now you can sort of be confident. Right? Hey, look, we've you know. But you had the changes as well to your team. I'm trying to boost you with confidence, but you just walked down and went, I'm fine with that, actually, Tom. I don't need your sympathy or help.
Well, you say the easiest 2 games to finish. What happened last season? The only game we lost all season long was hashtag, and they were unwinnable games for them the whole way through the season. They could never win a game against anyone, and then we managed to lose that, not even getting to game 5. So who knows, perhaps weaker teams are our kryptonite.
Craftman,
yes.
What did you make of Renault Vitality's performance today?
It was, again, not what we expected from them. Well, I suppose what we expect from them when they have their full roster is when they really step up. Having Junior and Nexo in today, it didn't really help their case. Sorry, Gregan, but
I thought Junior played really well.
You have to say that.
I'm not saying that.
But you take Pashi or Junior.
You do.
You would put in Pashi there as usual, because that's your strongest lineup. But Junior's done an amazing job, and actually going forward in this competition, you'll be able to call upon him, and he's ready again.
Look, the whole idea of the draft series is to give these people a go. We were playing against Rix Ronde, who was drafted season 1 for Reason, then season 2 was the champion. Perhaps that's going to be Junior next season. That's why we do this. Give them that chance on stage. Let them come back next season with their own team and show everyone why they were drafted so early.
Damn straight. That's what I'm going to say to you, Greg, and I'm going to look you in the eyes and say, damn straight. Well, listen, your next competition will be XL. When we next come back for a bit more Rocket League action. However, XL are up next, and Ariel and Onset have got all the details on that next series.
Yes, XL are going to be up against Envy, and I mentioned it earlier when I chatted to the Method guys. Envy had a spectacular win last weekend. It was all right. It's all right, wasn't it? This is going to be such an exciting game where we're going to break down how they basically came back from being 2-0 down, right?
Yeah, we're going to show a few of the goals, and we're going to show what momentum can do for a team, because there's different types of goal here, and you can see the first one we actually see, I believe, is quite a scrappy goal. This is when they're 2-0 down in the series. Just to highlight to everyone at home who might not have seen this game last week, poor old Method, they'd got to win this week, but they were on the receiving end of something bad here. They were 2-0 up, Method. One more game, they win the series, easy, done. Envy, backs against the wall, they're 1-0 down. They get a scrappy goal here. Ursula manages to put this one in the back of the net, and it just gave them a little bit of belief.
Yeah.
1 minute 15 left on the clock, and then you see this goal. Beautiful passing play, the ball inside, and Ursula again is the player who finishes this one off. But then things got scrappier still when we get into this game here, and I think this was the deciding game. And talking about confidence, and it's Mout who finds the newly named, we should say. How's it? Vinter?
It's Vinter.
Vinter. He managed to put that one away, and it's such a big thing, momentum in any esport, especially in the live environment, because when you go down a little bit, you start feeling a little bit down on yourself. You look across, maybe you try and make a few more individual plays than you normally would, try and sort of carry things yourself. You don't believe in your teammates, but Envy, you have to give them massive credit, because we saw from those final goals and the way that they were putting things in, got a little bit lucky early on, but then they were finding those passing plays. They kept that belief in each other, and they made that what was an incredible comeback.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well, because with Vinter, who formerly was out of Waffle, he's been here since Series 1. He started like when he was 16, and we've really seen that progression from him into being like an adult player almost, haven't we? Like the maturity from him, keeping level-headed. You know, he started like very well with the wall of Waffle, and then now he's almost like the leader for that team, isn't he? He's really like helping them.
He started off as a really quiet guy, you know, just kept himself to himself, as a lot of people do when they come into the Elite Series. You know, they want to just do their own thing, play their game. But he has, as you say, he's adapted, he's evolved from Waffle, and now he's Vinter.
Well, let's see if that progression continues into today's game. Tom, what are you guys seeing on the desk?
Well, we were just having a little chin wag, but now we'll open it up so everyone can hear. Thank you very much, Ariel and Onset up there at the touchscreen. Let's talk Envy. Onset making a few points there about the confidence and getting the goals at the right time. I, however, would say it's good to get a goal at any point during Rocket League. What do you make of this lineup? They got that win after the name change. It's no longer Waffle, it's Vinter.
I said on the desk last week that I would only subject myself to calling him Winder if he won that series. And I was feeling so confident until it all changed. So guess what? I've now got to resign myself to that. So I will hold that bet on my own chest. So yeah, but Envy looked so good last week when they finally started to wake it up, when they actually got the passing plays starting to get going. It's all about speed at the end of the day, and this is a team that needs to thrive on it. It's sort of like, go by your first instinct, not by what you second guess. As soon as these guys start thinking, you know, maybe a little bit too much, maybe giving themselves too much time, that's when they start making mistakes.
Yeah, and we talked about the reverse sweep of Envy over Method, on the side of Method being a bit of a confidence drain. Having that big win over Method in that fashion, that's got to build the confidence, I think, for Envy this time. Coming against XL, who have not really been too impressive. They've only got one loss on the board, but they're not the strongest team. No one's really talking about them, so they could be a little bit of a dark horse, but Envy, I think they're going to be right up there.
Okay, do you read much into the fact that obviously that 5-game series thriller and the reverse sweep was only really decided by one goal each game?
No, probably not too much. I mean, it's a close series, but getting any win over Method is absolutely massive. I mean, we've already seen how strong they can be and how strong Group A is in general. I think the way things are going, you could sort of probably slot in Method and Vitality as those top 2 teams, which leaves one spot left in the playoffs, and this is the sort of match that can decide who that spot goes to.
Ooh, a playoff decider, I like it. Shogun, talk to me about this XL team. 2 changes coming in today. What do we make of it? McLovin's back! Yeah!
I've been waiting for this for so very long. Yeah, XL have been on a downward spiral. Oh, this is better.
Oh, yes.
No more arm folding. That is so much better.
McLovin doing the J salute.
What is this symbol? What is Breezy doing there?
I don't know. We need to get some answers about that later on.
Is that meant to be a B?
But for XL, no, it's definitely not a B.
Okay.
It's XL. It's now Breezy.
Breezy.
XL have been really poor for like the last year or so. So I'm kind of glad to see them just go, you know what? It's time just to change. This might not work at the end of the day. This is not a team that I've seen work together. I don't know if they're going to work together, but something has to change. And why not go for this? Go for a couple of players that have got great experience.
They didn't win one game in week 1, and these changes have happened. We've seen Narscook throughout the seasons of Elite Series. And do you think this could be, I mean, Pondex, I couldn't stop saying his name last season, and this year it's like, what's happening? Obviously he's not here this week, but they weren't getting that consistent, they weren't playing that well in week 1.
Yeah, it's been a big downward spin from XL really this entire year. You had that big upswing in season 3. This is season 4.
So long ago now.
It's been so long. But their form coming into the Elite Series this time around, it's not looking too cheery for XL right now. But I think this changing the lineup with Marky and Pondek stepping out for the week, Niels Cook, he's going to have to be what Fairy Peak was in that last game. He's going to have to be the team leader, lead McLovin and Breezy through this series against Envy. And you know how good Envy is because coming off, like I said, coming off that form last week of the reverse sweep, giving them so much confidence. XL, they really need to step up because they need points at this time.
Step Up, what a great film. Let's hear from those guys. The newbies in the Domino's Den or the Players' Lounge with Ariel right now.
Thanks, Tom. I've come to the Players' Lounge to speak to the XL boys. I'm coming to you first, McLovin. How are you feeling? Where's your head at before this game?
Quite nervous, but pretty pumped up to get out there.
Yeah.
So.
Have you done the warm-up, yeah?
Yeah, I've warmed up a little bit. Going to carry on after this, so.
I was getting a lot of intel last week that is like really an important part of your training, important part before you go on the stage. Would you agree with that, the warm-up stage?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're coming in like very cold, then it's going to be difficult to play as you play.
How do you view Envy as a team to go up against? Hard? Easy?
I think they have some weak spots with
Okay.
player chemistry, as Oslon is he plays ones a lot and he likes to carry the team quite a lot.
Nice, I like this. You definitely thought about this. You used to play with Ixo, right?
Yeah, I used to play EXO and Z9 on a team called Intellectuals.
And is it nice to see your former teammate do well, or is there like a bit of rivalry there? Like, what's the...
No, me and EXO are still good friends.
Oh, good.
And I'm happy for him that he's succeeding and he's actually doing really good on hashtag.
Nice. See, you guys have got everything going on. Quick prediction for today's game. What do you think the score is going to be?
3-1 to XL.
Oh, really? I like it. Give them one.
Yeah.
Always give them one. That's quite polite. Yourself?
3-0.
3-0, 3-1. There we go. That's it. The boys have spoken. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much, Ariel. I've got to say, I love her microphone. It's just really nice. Yeah. Just something I observed there. But more importantly, observing Breezy and McLovin looking confident. They've come into it. What I love about McLovin, week 1, he was here early. He said that the night train to get here, or the early morning train, it felt like night time. He's been here whenever XL are, and now he gets to play. That's something beautiful about the Challenger Series or any person who's a pro Rocket League player. You do your time and then you will get to shine.
I think it's a good way of sort of proving that you're in it for the team. There's a lot of players that sort of get brought into this, and there's a few of them that sort of say, okay, I'm here waiting for my opportunity, but I'm going to stay at home and wait for the call, and then I'll show up, and then I'll hopefully perform there and then. Yeah. But McLovin here is a part of that team. He wants the team to succeed more than he wants himself to succeed, in a way. And it's that sort of selflessness that you need in this situation.
Absolutely love it. And I'll tell you what, I picked Vitality in the last one, Run Over Vitality. I got it wrong. I'm going for XL, my boy McLovin. But anyway, let's welcome out their opposition today. It's Envy. We've got Mal, Ocelon, and Vinda! So there you have it, the boys in blue, their opposition today in the form of XL. They need this win. Niels Cook, Breezy and McLovin! Confident arm waving from Niels Cook. Loving the arm waving, yes! More of that, yes, please. Follow me over to the caster's desk with Onset. I've got to say, fantastic work from you, Jay. Your first offering for the Elite Series. It was beautiful, yes. Did you enjoy it?
I love it. I mean, I love this. I live for this kind of stuff, man. I'm hyped.
Oh, perfect.
I'm hyped for the second match. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
As all Rocket League fans out there are hyped for this one, what do you reckon then? As Shogun said, it's kind of like the playoff decider, this one, already in week 3.
I'm feeling Envy in this one. I think they're going to be riding the momentum from last week, and I think
showing that it doesn't matter if they go down in the series, they can still pull off a result is going to give them the edge.
Okay, and what about yourself, Jay?
I think McLovin would kill me if I didn't say Excel, to be honest. Yeah, I've got to go Excel.
Threatening.
No, not me and McLovin. Go way
like me and Onset will stick up for you.
Wow, don't worry about
it is interesting, McLovin. I like to see that, and I think that's the important thing. You come through the Challenger Series, you get signed to a team, you have to wait your turn, and when you do get that opportunity, he needs to take it with both hands today, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and McLovin is no slouch at all. He's got a lot of passion, he's got a lot of drive at the moment to make it in the esports world. You know, like I just know this from talking to the guy. I think if there's one, obviously, as you were talking about, coming out every single week, ready for his opportunity. Now that he's got this opportunity, he's the kind of player that will absolutely get it. I think he's going to have a very, very good performance.
All right, well, listen, gentlemen, I'll leave it in your capable hands. This is Series 2 of Week 3. I'm going to do it like a, ooh, I'm going back in time.
How strange. Okay. How strange you are, Tom, but I love you for it anyway. I say you're strange. The first comment that I made when Niels Cook walked out was, God, he's got really long arms. That's the high-level analysis that I give, and, you know, never mind. Let's talk about this then. Excel, Envy. Your favourite Excel? And
yes.
you were talking about McLovin a little bit there. Who do you think is going to be the player on this lineup, though, that's going to have to step the game up and perform in order for that win to be pulled off?
Well, the obvious answer is obviously McLovin, because obviously he is the sub coming through. He is the new element of the roster. But that does add an air of unpredictability, I think, for Excel. And they've kind of needed that for a while. As Crafters was saying on the desk, they've not had a very good year. They've been on a downward trajectory. There's some debate about commitment issues within that squad. There's lots of different negatives coming in from the Excel side. And I think that, you know, again, with the context of McLovin coming into this roster and doing what you can do, he's going to be the man that needs to step things up. Niels Cook as well, obviously, the main staple man at the moment. They were saying that he needs to step up in the same sort of way that Fairy Peak would. So those are my two guys to watch for the Excel side as they get things started for game number 1. They're going to have the immediate offensive pressure on the part of Niels Cook. Good shot in. It's Oslan to get the save. Excel just maintain control. McLovin gets it out to the corner. Oslan away in with the 100 boost, actually misses it out on the part of McLovin. He takes that away and goes right back into the defense. Good rotations from Excel, playing it very conservatively in the early 30 seconds.
You can see McLovin was looking for that pass out wide there to a teammate. Trying to have a little bit of composure early on, which can pay off for teams. Binder now. Finds the ball into Mount. Wow, looking for the second touch on this one, but McLovin, he read that one beautifully.
Try to get the fake, but McLovin outread himself. And as a result, Breezy. Also the Excel esports side, going to be the defense out against the Mossalon. Back into the corner position. Back over to McLovin, who tries to take the challenge. Mount. It's control. Breezy in with a good shot. It's back out to the box. Mount over to Winther. Good shot in from Ossalon's part, but not going to happen. Excel too far wide of the Marcan. Return them, McLovin off the backboard. Second touch a little bit too low, but Niels Cook will follow through, and there we go. The setup from the sub will set up the main man.
Yeah, I was about to say, the man that you were talking about who had to have a big performance, McLovin, does well there. Oslan went up for the challenge, but McLovin just popped it off the backboard there. And who else but Niels Cook? He's a confident young man. He looked confident in front of goal there.
Absolute confidence coming through from Excel, and that's a great early sign from this squad. Envy on the back foot here in the early minute. Also missing out their opportunities to get a decent kickoff. Niels Cook once again will go off the backboard. No one's able to clear it. They do get there just in time, but Breeze is now set up for another fantastic shot, and Excel are going to take 2 in the early game.
Well, welcome to the game, Breezy. You can see here, Vinda sent that one wide, but it was dangerous. No one there from Envy to follow up that touch and get it clear. Oslan with no boost in the goal as well, and Breezy had an easy job there just to hit the target, and you find yourself with a goal to your name. Excel, a great start from there, up by 2.
Fantastic performance, but it's only early game. Envy still have about 3.5 minutes plus a potential 5 games to turn it around. You know, we could be seeing a very similar situation to that first match today where, you know, it took Vitality a little bit of time to get into the groove, and when they did start looking really, really good. So don't count out Envy. They are known for their reverse sweeps.
Oh, for sure.
So, in the early part of the game, however, Excel in full control. McLovin looking to dunk it down, goes off the crossbar, challenged again by Niels Cook, but vice versa for the defensive side. Breezy once again in with a pass. McLovin a little bit too far wide. Couldn't get in that hat-trick. Well, not quite hat-trick, but still not getting in that third for the Excel side. They still demo. They still try and take pressure. They still try and keep things on the back foot for Envy.
Envy will grow into this series. We have to keep this in mind. Obviously, what they did last week too, that method lineup. Not adverse to coming from behind, but at the same time, they wouldn't want to do it every single week. They want to make life harder for themselves than they need to, and that's a good shot on goal there. Mount does well to keep that one out. The follow-up is coming in, though. Breezy off the backboard again. Here comes the follow-up, but good block there from Mount again. 2 pieces of defensive work there coming in from Mount and pulled off sublimely.
The halfway marker as well. XL still lead, looking to try and make it 3. Is Breezy back into the centre with McLovin. He's just beaten to the ball. Now Envy returns to an open net. I was going to bring up something about the rotations from the Envy side, but clearly XL are having very similar problems.
Yeah, Mount with a long clear out wide there, and Vinder just had the easiest of finishes. All you got to do is make sure that you get it between those 2 big posts and the crossbar, and you're going to have a goal to your name there. 1 on the board there for Envy. And they half the deficit now, 2 minutes 30 left on the clock.
Still a half a game to go. Envy trying to take the kickoff advantage. It's pretty much a dead set censor. Winther loving off the backboard, trying to get a double touch in. Ocelon, okay. Thankfully that was wide, but yeah, very, very risky play. Still not going to be able to get it on target. Oh my word. Envy just collapsing in the back line.
Yeah, make life hard for yourself, why don't you, Envy? At least it keeps us entertained. That's one thing that we can say. Everyone at home, there's one team that you want to watch, it's probably Envy, because you're not sure what they're going to bring to the table, but you know it's going to be a long series, it's going to be entertaining. Mistakes all around there in Excel. They take advantage, 3-1.
Still plenty of time again, but it's going to start running short now. This is where we start getting into the danger territory for the Envy side. They take the offensive pressure off the kickoff. It's Breezy back into the centre. Good challenge, but Winther is also there to back it up towards the midfield. McLovin clears it back. It's a completely open net, but not enough power behind this ball. So Ocelon able to get it back in. Winther trying to set up for the passing play, but misses entirely. Ocelon will be able to recover it, but not for very long. And now Mount's going to have to rotate in. I hear it's called Moot. I hear that's how it's being said. I'm going to call it Mount, though, because that's how I've always said it. It's going to be hard to break the habit live here on the Gfinity Elite Series.
Maybe if we cross the border, we can call him Moot.
Maybe if we cross the border with the Elite Series France. But as it stands, 1 minute and 30 on the clock. XL still with the offensive pressure, still with the control, and still with the lead.
Ocelon tries to take the ball down to the corner. McLovin keeping the pressure on. Niels Cook on the follow-up. Couldn't convert, unfortunately. Breezy now. There's going to be a long clearance here from Vinder. An opportunity maybe on the breakaway because the Ocelon pre-jump there. Trying to predict where that ball was going to go. Try and get a block on it and send it back towards the XL goal. But pressure starting to come in here a little bit more from Envy. Ball drops away now. Vinder brings it away on his hood. 2 players here commit from Excel Esports. Niels Cook and his teammate do just a good enough job. And with my tongue firmly in my cheek, sometimes double commit can be a good thing because there's double the chance you'll hit the ball.
Not sure it works like that, but 60 seconds on the clock regardless. Tongue was firmly in my cheek. XL still with a 2-goal advantage. Envious can't afford to be sitting back here in the back line. They've got to get it clear. They've got to get a counter-attack. And here it might come from Ocelon back into the centre. Mount in the backfield. And the third man is way too far back to take control. Now Niels Cook dribbles it through. This could be glorious. Not quite glorious enough. McLovin still puts it on target. Breezy trying to find an angle, but Winther over to Mount will be able to put it into the midfield. And now return for the Envy side. 30 seconds left. They are in dire need of a goal here in this first game. Breezy, no boost, still gets it past one back into the centre where Niels Cook will try and dunk it down. Mount once again off the backboard back into the centre, fed in by McLovin. Top shot on target. The time is running short for the Envy side with Breezy continuing to pressure, dunking it down. Not quite. The challenge again comes through from the Envy defensive, but Niels Cook just puts it off the backboard. I think they may have just done enough here. 5 seconds left. Envy, no time to get this game under their wraps. It's XL taking game 1.
Yeah, going to be game 1 going to XL here, and Envy, not too much to shout about, to be honest with you, from that game. A little bit disjointed. Finally, this ball will hit the ground. And as you say, Excel Esports take the lead, but as far as the series is concerned, I'm not too worried about that if you're an Envy fan. We've seen what they can do. Yes, they've lost this first game, but they will grow into this series. They will come to life, and they play their best when they're behind.
Absolutely. I mean, again, that reverse sweep was pretty insane last week, so don't count them out just yet. It's only a single game.
Well, one thing we were talking about on the touchscreen, confidence. As soon as it's an Envy team, get a little bit of confidence. They find those passing plays, they find those team plays. Things change for them almost immediately. It's like a snap of the fingers. That was terrifying, by the way, that little stare there. I think he saw straight into my soul. He'd probably seen things that he didn't want to see, but looking back on the replays here, I mean, it was a great start coming in from Excel here. Niels Cook, I mean, he was the one who was on the end of a lot of these finishes.
Yeah, fantastic stuff from him. Obviously, he was one of the 2 players we thought that we needed to highlight as stepping up. But as well as that, Breezy was on top of the board for XL. Got 2 of the 3 goals that they ended up scoring. And you can see that second one coming through on the part of Niels Cook, actually kind of scoring in his own right, but still, great team play from these guys. Obviously, Breezy stepping up is actually going to be able to fill in a lot of the gaps that McLovin and Niels Cook will leave behind. And again, being that top performer in game 1 is only good signs for the XL side.
You can see Coach standing there behind the Envy boys. Coach standing there behind the XL boys as well. He's going to have a lot of work to do. Quick look at Rick's Ronde and Burrito B in the crowd though, because apparently they're looking good. Apparently one of them's not feeling too well. I think it's Burrito B is not feeling too well. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
There we go. Send him some love. Someone go and get him some Strepsils or something like that. Or
We're going with Domino's.
Domino's?
Still
Yeah,
got
go
any?
for Domino's.
Oh, actually out.
Pizza fixes
sucks.
everything. That's what I was told. But anyway, back to this game. Game number 2, of course. In our best of 5 series now. And Mount, Moot, Hoops. We'll go with Mount. For now. We're sticking with it. We're being...
Sorry, Damascus, I love you.
We're being... what's the word? Game number 3. Game number 2 even. We're being... What's the word? Do you know what? Take it away. I'll come back to you when I think of it.
All right, then we'll excel again with the offensive pressure. McLovin just barely missing a fantastic double touch off the backboard. That would have been a stylish way for Excel to start things off. Stubborn. There we go. Stubborn is the word of the moment for Onset. But right now, word of the moment for Excel is momentum. They've got all the pressure already in the first 20 seconds of the game. They're actually going to get another shot on target. It was a little bit too far wide from the Excel offender. Now, in the box, it's going to be all Niels Cook, who takes it for a dribble. Couldn't quite get it in again. Mount able to defend it as Envy hold their backline for the moment. Just keeping the control away from Excel, not getting control of their own accord. They finally will be able to get it clear and get some presence in that orange half of the pitch, but I imagine it probably will get cleared just as quickly. No, Ocelot back into the open space, holding it down for the Emerson.
Good challenge there from Breezy. I think he's recognised that Envy might be looking for a couple of those infield passes, so you're seeing them challenging in the midfield, trying to cut those ones out and create those breakaway opportunities that we saw. Domino comes in here from Niels Cook, going to be taken out of the game. Salon, though, keeps it dangerous here, and Mount wasn't in position to look for that dunk, unfortunately for him, who was just slightly off the pace.
Yeah, Demo on Wednesday pretty much took out all the Envy offensive pressure. They'll still be able to keep it up here, however. Both shots coming in from Mount. Ocelot will come through with a very awkward angle, but he still is able to make it work.
Mount off the sidewall there. Niels Cook had some difficult work to do, and you saw he just didn't make contact, and that allowed Ocelot essentially a free shot on goal there. Difficult angle to put it away, but he put it away. We talked about inaccuracy in our first series today. Ocelot, he doesn't know what that means.
Absolutely not. Pressure. Envy not mattering a single moment as well. First go on the board for the Envy side. Excel still going to have a nice kickoff advantage as they try and get the ball straight inside. Niels Cook with a great angle, just chipped by, but Breezy comes in from the mid-center, and there we go. Excel very quickly fire back.
Yeah, just as Envy take that first shot, punches are exchanged, and it's Excel. Ocelot, it was a difficult job for him to do in that situation, to try and get any sort of power on that ball to clear it away. Breezy recognised the situation, made himself as big as possible, got the block on that, and it's now 1-1.
Envy tries to see if they can get some pressure on that back line. They're getting very close towards scoring another. Winther in particular, not challenged up by Niels, but puts it in for the centre. Ocelot off the crossbar. McLovin puts it in. Oh, disaster for the XL backliners. This time, they're the ones to crumble.
Yeah, so difficult there for McLovin. He could see right behind him. Mount was there, who probably would have been in position to finish it had McLovin not been unfortunate enough to put that in his own goal. But Envy, we talked about how they roar back into series now. It's 2-1 to them.
Oh, my man, just the one moment. One moment we just
You've cursed him.
I've cursed him. I feel like that's exactly what he's going to murder me.
It's game
later.
2. Let's not say that. We've got a long way to go.
A very long way to go indeed. But XL turning things on here. Getting another good shot on the XL side of things. Winther coming through as well. McLovin's going to have to clear that away, and he will be successful in doing so. Ocelot missing his chance, so it will go back into the blue side. Breezy off the backboard. No one's there to clear it. Ocelot's got to get the challenge. Misses entirely. Niels Cook takes it away, but Ocelot outreads his angle. McLovin back over to Breezy. Nice passing play off the backboard. Second touch and third man to come through is Niels Cook, but can't quite get there. Winther just puts it out of play.
Yeah, and you can see all of these players at the moment from Envy, they're pretty low on boost, and they're struggling to get any sort of meaningful touch on this ball. Here comes Breezy now, trying to push it back into the centre. Niels Cook is going to have plenty of time. Puts a beautiful pass into the path of McLovin. Ocelot did a great job, though, to get that block.
Quick interception, Envy. Trying to keep control here in this blue half. Pass in from Breezy again. Kind of a challenge more than anything else. Niels Cook holds it down. McLovin just pushing it off. I thought he may have missed that. That could have been very dangerous for XL, but fortunately their main sub coming in, able to hold it down. It's Mo over to Breezy. To the corner. Demo out from McLovin. This could be a chance for Niels Cook, but wow, just challenging so well to get that clear around the town, right in front of the net. But Envy able to keep the defensive together.
Yeah, one of those situations that can look great. It can look very silly if it doesn't go well for you. So, as you say, Mount going around the world there, managed to see all the destinations he wanted to. Get stuck in an airport or anything weird like that. But the follow-up here is going to be from Vinder, and it's now Team Envy up by 3, and Envy finally starting to click a little bit here.
Finally starting to look like they're in decent form. McLovin put up a decent defensive, but it just wasn't enough with a third man coming through on the offensive play. Envy 3-1 now. A bit of a turnaround from our first game. Again, we kind of were expecting this. This is Envy we're talking about. And with 2 minutes on the clock, it's XL on the back foot here. McLovin trying to get a nice kickoff advantage, trying to get a goal scored in, but Ocelon's able to take it away. Breezy challenges against him, gets it past the first, not past the second though. Nilskuk also in to support from the midfield. Good pinch away, but Breezy's not set up for it, not expecting it. Nothing, not quite going as well for XL as they would have liked to. Another miss coming in from McLovin. Breezy passes away from Mount's position. Winther now over to the corner. It's Breezy out over to the box. Ocelon, nice touch again to deny any setup for the XL side. Keep the pressure rolling for the Envy squad. Into the center as well. Mount just trying to take an aerial dunk down to a passing play. This could work, but it's too high from Ocelon and too wide from Winther.
Yeah, Winther now going to have to retreat, try and find some boost of his own. Bring this one away. His teammate Mount, though, in position. Gets the big, long clear. Great pass there from Nilskuk, looking for his teammate, but Mount read it beautifully there. Managed to get himself in the way. Minute remaining on the clock here. We've seen XL. They have goals in them. It's just a case now. Can they find two in this last few moments?
McLovin, what are you doing, buddy? Move, please. Get an offensive play going. What's he doing in the back of the net?
Being creative. It's an artist.
This will be very creative if he can make it work somehow. Breezy will take the aerial dribble, trying to pass down and get a redirect in from the other side. Nilskuk has to hold through McLovin with a good shot. Ocelon there to defend it in the back line. Nilskuk now going to rotate in as Ocelon tries to get the offensive pressure set up for the Envy side. Mount missing. Ocelon again takes control away from the XL side, but the setup for Nilskuk could go well. Pass it to Breezy. Winther just stops it at the mark. Still
Risky.
Good, still great, but not great enough. Out far wide to the left-hand side. XL struggle to get the one goal that they need, even with 13 seconds left on the clock. Passing play from Breezy denied by Ocelon, and Envy, I think they've done enough.
Yeah, it could be a breakaway opportunity here. 7 seconds left on the clock. Winther going to send it forward. Here comes Ocelon. That would have been the cherry on top of the cake there, but that is going to be the game. And Team Envy, after a shaky game number 1, they tie things up.
A complete role reversal as well, you know. It was XL that had most of the control most of the time for game 1. This time it's Envy turning the dials back up again. And unfortunately, it didn't quite look like the same game from Breezy. He did get the only goal for the Envy side, but unfortunately just down at the bottom of the stats. Couldn't quite get the saves that McLovin and Nilskuk were contributing towards. Looked a little bit awkward from XL.
One player that seemed to step up a little bit there for the guys on Envy, of course, is Ocelon. He was the spark last week as well. We saw on some of those highlights, most of them were him being on the end of things. And if you have a player like that, when you have those tough situations that can just produce something, that can just, if he's given a chance, will put that goal in the back of the net, then you really do give yourself the opportunity. And this is the thing, the confidence is now going to come back to Envy. They're going to have flashbacks of last week, and as soon as you find a couple of passes, as soon as you find a couple of dunks, a couple of plays off that backboard, suddenly it all just comes back to you. It feels so much more natural and doesn't feel as disjointed. And now you can just see there's such a confidence-based team, and I think that man Rams behind them is probably going to be just reminding them of that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of confidence from the XL side, it looks like they kind of lost it after that second goal was conceded by McLovin. Again, that's pretty crucial goal to lose out on if you are him in his position. So XL got to try and get those demons out of their heads, try and turn things back over to their favor. Of course, it is completely even up here in the series. Another close one, it seems, tonight, Hunter.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a close one, and all of the teams at the moment seem to be closer and closer and closer. Of course, this is our second game of the day. You can see on the bottom, we've also got 2 more matches to come after this as well. We've got Asus Rogue Army. They're going to be taking on the powerhouses of Fnatic. They had a disappointing week last week, and then we've got, of course, Nordavind taking on Epsilon Esports. So lots of action to come so far, and it's you know, these are the matches that matter for me. When we're getting a little bit deeper into the series, everyone's kind of like chilled out a little bit now. You know, you've had a few games to get comfortable. Now you've got to get wins.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that Nordavind game. That's going to be a really fun one, so make sure you stay tuned for all of that action. Plenty more to come up here on the Elite Series. For now, though, we're going to get into our next game here. Game 3 between XL and Envious. A nice start. Breezy. Okay, that could have gotten very, very bad for the Envy side. They barely hold on to the defensive. Fortunately, a third man back far enough. XL, again, have the early pressure advantage, but they can't quite turn it into a goal early on. They've struggled to do that all series long. The ball out towards the corner. It's Mount challenging against Breezy. Backboard play. Nilskuk into the mid-center. Great shots. Oh, it's too far wide. What was that word again? Inaccuracy. It seems to be plaguing everybody today.
We see a lot of things written on whiteboards in the crowd. Some of them aimed at Shogun that I wrote. But inaccuracy might be coming into the form. There's a lot of whiteboards, though, to be honest. It's quite a long word. But Envy do get the clearance away. Start here from XL, though. Ocelon now. He's going to be chasing this ball down. Breezy takes a touch, manages to take it over one. Great challenge, though, by Vinder. Back into the middle now. McLovin should get a good touch on this. It's not the greatest of touches, though. And Mao had an opportunity there, but just couldn't find the angle.
very, very close affairs from both sides. Both lines just barely holding on. Nice touch in. Winther's going to try and follow it through towards the midfield, but Envy unable to gain that control. The early minute gone by. McLovin in with a shot. Niels Cook the follow through, just defended by Ocelon and Mount. Still passed back in. Breezer going to get in on the action. Goes a little bit too high, but pushed away by Ocelon as McLovin couldn't quite follow through. Mount just being defended alongside by Winther. Envy having all the pressure against them, but Excel, very inaccurate shots again, you know. They had 3 perfect opportunities. They just couldn't put one in the back.
Yeah, they've got to readjust the dial or something here. The first couple of series, we've seen a lot of chances. A huge amount of goals so far, so hopefully these guys can get the shooting boots, wheels on, I think is the best way to put this, and they're going to have a chance here, and Mount can't quite make contact. Just as that ball flew across the goal line there, back into the middle now by Ocelon, looking to just touch it down to a teammate. Here comes Vinder, keeping the pressure on now. Ocelon off the sidewall, puts it off the backboard. Anyone there? Nice! It doesn't matter because Ocelon gets the double touch. Who needs a teammate when you can do something like that?
Excel's defensive just slowly started slowing down. No one on the backboard. And a fantastic double touch from Ocelon puts Envy back in the lead. A bit of a struggle in the early 2 minutes, but in the end they come out on top, and Excel still having confidence issues, still having form problems. As the ball goes once again back into their half. Niels Cook and McLovin trying to find angles off this backboard. It's Mount. In the midfield, Breezy takes control, has only 2 points of boost, still sets up Niels Cook for a good chance. McLovin coming through towards the midfield, trying to get a redirect pass back in. It's got to be a chance for Breezy as it goes a little bit too far high. And Niels Cook not on that left side, just maintaining control of the midfield. Still gets a good shot in. Ocelon just defending it, just coming through, able to read Excel relatively quickly and adjust for it. Envy having a stellar defensive game so far.
They are, but you can't spend the whole game sat defending your own net, because you know that Excel, especially if Niels Cook gets the opportunity to shoot there, he's so accurate. And there's an accurate shot from Mount, unfortunately not quite accurate enough. Hit the crossbar there. Ocelon's following it up. Looks for an infield ball here. You can see Mount, he's in perfect position, but well read there by Breezy. He gets the long clear. Winder back on the rotation. He's going to clear that one away for Envy now, and a bit of a battle for possession in midfield here as we see Excel trying to come forward.
2 minutes left. Excel only a goal down. This could be a chance. Niels Cook over to the right-hand side, just defended by Winther. He saw the danger. He saw the grand scale of things. Was able to keep this under Envious control now. Over to Excel's half of the pitch. Mount with a very good chance on net, but a little bit too far forward, unfortunately, against the backboard. It will go and go far wide. So Envy only keep a single goal lead. They'd love that double. Excel would love to return it. It's their chance right now. They need to try and get something going out here. McLovin in with the ball out. Ocelon, good chip back inside the box. Finally returned by Niels Cook, putting a boomer downfield. McLovin struggling to gain control of his car, and he can't quite follow through with that clear as a result. Excel still keep pressure. Breezy into the mid-center. Denied by Ocelon. Maybe just about denied. McLovin couldn't get the accurate.
I was saying Envy look a little bit more organised in defence now. A few less double commits we're seeing, and they seem to be finding their feet. Obviously, it might be something to do with the communication. So let's jump in with the Envy boys and see how the comms are.
No, yeah, I'm going back. You can push. Yeah. Oh, you need it. I'm going in on the wall. Yeah, okay. Good job. Nice. I got it. Yeah, I'm mid. I can't get it there. Mid again?
Yeah.
So bad. My bad. I'm going back having a boost. Yeah, I also need a boost. I go. Oh, missing.
We can hear the guys at the moment. Not a huge amount of talking, and just as we come out of that listening, Niels Cook's going to tie the game up for Excel there. 1-1 now.
Finally, they find the opportunity they need. Mount a little bit too far to the right-hand side, expecting Niels Cook to shoot it in the center, but not to be. And there we go. As you say, evening up Excel, 43 seconds left on the clock. This could be an overtime matchup. It all comes down to this next kickoff and the rest of the play. Ocelon, backboard, playing in for a double touch, just denied by Breezy. And again, Excel, good challenges in that back line. Still got control towards Envy. Ocelon puts it out towards the corner. Breezy maintains possession, disrupts the ball entirely. McLovin back over to the corner. Ocelon in the midfield. Takes it past the first, past the second.
Ocelon.
Can he get it past the third? Not quite.
Might be a chance we can touch it down here.
It's on the window as well. Envy just hold on to that crucial goal, putting themselves back in the lead.
Ocelon just became a rhino there. He just smashed his way through everyone, put it down into Vinder's path after forcing that player off the ball. Great play from Ocelon. We talked about him being the spark for this team. There's a perfect example of it.
18 seconds left for the Excel side. This has got to go well for them. McLovin, good chance off the kickoff in towards the corner. It's Mount missing 1-2. Winther comes in, able to save on the third touch, but still set up for Breezy. Backboard touch, second play, still far wide to the right-hand side. 5 seconds remaining. Nilscook still centering McLovin in with a shot, just defended by Mel. Oh, it's very close. McLovin back into Nilscook's side, but they couldn't get the job done. XL concede game 3 to the Envy side.
Envy somehow hold on by, I mean, less hairs than are on my head, to be honest with you, and there's not a lot of those left. Envy managed to scrape a win there. They're 2-1 up in the series now, but that big chance towards the end there. You have to give credit for the way that Envy defended it, but XL, are they going to rue that chance as they go into this next game?
Oh, very, very unconfident play coming in from XL. Just take a look at the stat line again. McLovin, 2 shots, and that's all he had. I was saying he was one of the players that needs to step up. You know, alongside Nilscook, those two need to be a bit of a dynamic duo going into this one. Breezy has had a much better game, though. McLovin, I feel bad because I did give him credence again. Like I was.
It's my fault, to be honest. You gassed him up.
No,
and then
I definitely
I said we cursed him. And as soon as that happened, he struggled. So sorry. Anyway,
apologise to him, not me.
It was one of those sorries that I hope he heard, but at the same time, I don't want him to even know that it happened. So yeah, Team Envious, 1 down in the series to start things off, but they've come back now. They've put themselves on match point. And Ocelon, I mean, when you're playing alongside a player like that, how good a feeling is it when you have someone like that you just know can create something out of nothing?
I mean, it's got to be an amazing feeling for Envy, especially because that was the goal that put them in the lead. You know, that Ocelon dribble up close personal, couldn't quite get the goal in, but had Winter there to back them up. That just shows screams of confidence for the Envy side. You know, now that they're going, now that they were on the back foot, they've got it all out of their system in game 1. Now going into game 4, they're on match point and could take this whole series away from XL.
Oh, did you see Ocelon's reaction there? Just yes! It was a growl. It wasn't just like a excitement. It meant something to him, that goal, and I think that must have been obviously that goal that he created, to be honest with you, that was finished off by Vinder there. So keep your eyes on Ocelon there. 2 wonderful people in the crowd there. You can see it's David Gain, probably one of my friends from home, probably texting me that he loves me, I'd imagine. Anyway, next game. This could be the decider here. Team Envy on match point.
XL, dire need of getting something on the board here in the early part. They've had all the offensive pressure, but have been struggling to get those balls in the back of the Envy net. And this time it will be no different as it gets cleared from Mount. Ocelon back into the center, passing back over to Mount in the corner position. Just fed away by Nilscook. XL keep possession away from Envy because they've got that pressure. They can keep it rolling. Ocelon on target, on to the box itself. Nilscook taking it away, and now XL trying right back around. Very spaced out. Interesting they didn't commit towards this. Finally, McLovin will get a good chance. Just pushed out of the way. The mid-center player could come through. Ocelon just denying it on the part of Breezy. XL again struggling to get that all-important opening goal.
Yeah, a couple of risky touches in the series so far in front of his own goal from Mount. Ocelon now trying to bundle his way through once again. He takes to the ceiling, gets the ball across here. Is anyone there from Envy? Fortunately not. McLovin, though, with a slightly inaccurate touch, does finally get the ball away here, and he's going to carry the ball away. Manages to get past one. Breezy has an opportunity here. Can he find the shot on goal? Goes off the backboard. Oh, Mount. That's a more solid touch from him.
Hesitation on his part, trying to get a much better position because he knew that Envy would have been able to rotate in, but it's the hesitation that costs XL more than anything else. Still scoreless past this opening minute. McLovin setting up Nilscook to bring it back downfield. McLovin going to try and find a position in the center. Nilscook might even have set up Breezy, and there it is, as you say, a goal. Playing around, baiting Envy to the right-hand side, and Breezy shot it in from the left. XL, this time, they're in the lead.
Breezy's shimmering in gold there, and that could be a gold goal here for XL Esports. It gives them a lead here, and they've played well when they have had that lead. So, Breezy, he gets involved as far as the scoring is concerned, and XL were going to be desperate to send this one to a Game 5. They don't want Envy to be closing this one up right now.
Absolutely not. Even get a little bit of a share of the points even if they do lose the series. So Game 5 is a very important affair for the XL side as they get it close to that box again. Couldn't quite follow through, a bit off angle when the defense lines up for the Envy side. As Winther challenged again by the midfield control. Miss from Breezy, now goes down long over to the orange side. Ocelon trying to get it off the backboard. It's McLovin that gets there first. Out back in, Nilscook with a challenge, passes into Breezy. Pass. This passing play looking so good from these two, but in the end, Winther does come through with a save. And I think that if you keep your eyes on Nilscook and Breezy, how they're going to play, it might end up being pretty crucial to the XL side.
How did Mount do that? He had no boost whatsoever for that entire play.
Again, you know, it's momentum at this point. Just able to swing his car wide enough, getting the boost that he needed to, but absolutely a shot he shouldn't have found. This is a shot that Nilscook shouldn't have found either. But Winther does come through defending it at the very last moment for Envy.
Yeah, great little flick there from Vinder, and he's going to be challenging this ball in the middle again and again. Envy getting aggressive on the attack, and Ocelon, oh, he's hit the post. Mount, can you finish? Yes, you can. Envy tie up the game at 1-1.
There we go. Enough pressure on the backboard, collapsing XL. Breezy coming out, McLovin going too far, the right-hand commitment. And there we have it, 1-1. XL losing control.
Sorry, I dropped my pen.
You tried to do a little trick show, you just threw it up and just couldn't catch it. Just completely
Not a
threw me off.
talented man, okay? That's all you need to know. But Ocelon, he is a very, very talented Rocket League player. Mount sends his back towards the middle. Envy getting angry again, and it seems like as soon as they get one, they get the momentum, and we've seen how they can swing games around very quickly here.
XL will have the pressure going for them, however. Back into the center, McLovin got to get high. Take to the skies and get it off the backboard. Second touch could not come through. Breezy got a chance. He's going to get it on target. It's up towards the crossbar. And Niels comes in to back it up. XL reclaim the lead.
Again, a slight misplay here from Mao. You see, just doesn't make the contact he needs to make. Breezy, great awareness from him to look for that backboard. Knew there was a player in position, and Niels Cook, the danger man here for XL. He gives them that all-important lead.
All-important lead at that. They may even find a follow-up, not quite off the kickoff. Winther able to adjust for it. McLovin still got pressure going back into the center inside the box, just pushed out the way by Mount. So XL not going to be gifted that third goal, not just yet, but it would be a fantastic third goal to find. Ocelon, meanwhile, trying to go for a double touch against Breezy, and Breezy defends it. And Envy just keep rolling here, trying to get a counter-attack, again trying to equalize the back foot that they're off on. But once this time they haven't rolled off of that comeback and just kept the momentum going. XL have actually shut it down pretty early, and now they could be able to follow it up of their own accord.
Niels good challenges here. McLovin's going to send this one up nice and high towards the backboard. McLovin's under it again, maybe looking for a second touch on that one. Mount now brings it away. His flick doesn't work out. Good challenge again from XL and Niels Cook. Oh, it looks like we are going to a Game 5 here because Niels Cook's come to life.
Do not count them out just yet. It's still a 2-goal game with 1:25 on the clock. Nice second touch from Niels Cook. Did it all on his own, but XL, a 2-goal lead, a crucial 2-goal lead, and certainly we could be going to that Game 5 on set. Do not count XL out. They've got the control, they've got the pressure, they found their form once again. Breezy and Niels Cook play off of the right-hand wall. Winther still passing towards Ocelon, just defended in the back line, still on target. This is dangerous. Niels Cook's got to put this on target. Ocelon still come through with a redirection. It's going inside the box, followed up by Vinter. And Mount can't quite follow it through, but Ocelon keeps it inside the orange half.
Yeah, no boost to work with here. Vinter looks inside to Mount here. Mount sends it towards goal, but not enough power in that shot to cause any real problems here for XL Esports. 2 goals to lead here for XL as we're into the last 50 or so seconds.
McLovin.
They need one now, and that long clearance, that could be beautiful news if you're XL, but great work there from Ocelon to get back and keep this at a 2-goal game.
Keeping the chance as well for Envy. Ocelon following through with a secondary touchdown challenge against McLovin. It's Mount that gets that challenge back into the center.
Big clear from Breezy.
They have got some big clears, some big defensive plays, but vice versa from the Envy side. They pinch it, boom it. Mount's going to go in for a second shot on target. Niels Cook just denies it. Ocelon and Winther both committing up towards the corner. Envy may have over-committed to this one. XL are going to try and punish it, but the rotations do come back in. All the same, Mount's got an open goal. It's just going to get defended by Niels Cook, but still Ocelon with a chance. He tips it once. Second face not going to work out. And Envy just can't seem to go past the final hurdle. Niels Cook will boom it downfield, secure the 4th game for XL.
The knife in the heart. Envy threw everything forward there. They tried to create something out of nothing. And when it didn't work out, Niels Cook is the man, the danger man we talked about for XL. He will gladly take that open net and find the back of the net. 4-1 to XL Esports. We are going to a Game 5.
Absolute guarantee at this point. Nothing Envy can do to turn this around. The scoreline differential is just way too much and just held face by the XL side. 5 games on set. This just got very, very fun.
Welcome to the Elite Series, buddy. Game 5 in our second series of the day. And Niels Cook with the hat-trick there. 3 goals, 5 shots for him, 5 saves. Look at that young man. That is a massive bottle of water, and why not? He's going to be sweating after that one.
That stat line is insane. Hat-trick for Niels Cook, 5 saves, 5 shots. And assisting Breezy in his own goal. Like, this guy's insane. This guy is absolutely insane today. And again, he was the man we were like, right, he's the key factor. He's the constant for XL. He's the one that needs to step up. And lo and behold, here in Game 4, he stepped up like 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah, it wasn't more of a step up. It was more of kind of one of those leaps, like over, you know, when people have really long legs and you see them walking like up the tube and they take like 3 steps at a time.
Oh, yeah.
My analogies are terrible, but anyway.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
One thing I can tell you is we're going into a Game 5 now, and this is the weird thing, isn't it? Because if Envy sends something to a Game 5, you feel like the momentum's all with them. They've been there before. We saw the reverse sweep last week, but XL, the manner in which they won that 4th game, excuse me, I just feel like it's their series to lose now. It's such a strange turnaround of events.
Well, a mini reverse sweep from XL wouldn't be that bad at this point. 2 games taken by both sides. Going the full distance here on set. I'm surprisingly excited for this one because like this was not one of the ones that we pinned to be a very, very close match, but it has actually been quite intense throughout the entire course of things. And as you say, Envy's match to lose here. XL would love to put a series on the board here in the Elite Series.
Oh, for sure. And at this point, you know, week number 3, it's every match is so massive as far as points are concerned. If you want to get in those playoffs, these are the weeks that matter. You can kind of get away with a loss or two in the first couple of weeks. Week 3 or 4, they're the crunch ones for me. That's when you need to make something happen. Here we go then, game number 5 between Envy and XL. Who wants the points?
It's over to the XL half to start things off. Envy try and get offensive plays out. Niels got challenged by Winter back into the mid-center. No one there to take the challenge. But Ossalon will get them out right here. Nice second touch. This could be fantastic. Follow-up as well. Didn't quite go well enough. Breezy over to the corner. Now off the back line. Back off the backboard. McLovin will finally get the clear away. It's Ossalon to take control. Pass in towards Mount. Good shot on target. It's been a follow-through. Not quite again. McLovin intercepting, challenging, making sure that XL do not concede this opener. This is going to be such a crucial opener as well. If Envy can find it. Oh, a whiff from Mount as well. A chance of gold, and it just turns to dust.
I go back, just hit the ball really hard sometimes, or sometimes just hit the ball is pretty much all you need to do in that situation for Envy. They had the chance there to score. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them too hard.
Ossalon controlling into the corner. Nice setup towards Mount, just challenged by Breezy. Goes right back down to the other end of the field. And Mount stays far back enough to keep control, keep the pressure rolling for the Envious side, even if it only is a blip on the radar. Good passing to Winter. This could be the chance of a lifetime, but no. Left and high does not going, just Envy struggling to get that opener.
Yeah, it looks like Envy are looking for more passing plays at the moment, more team-focused plays. You can see them always looking for a teammate. You see this ball out from Ossalon now. He was looking for Vinda, unfortunately. Well read by the XL guys. Ossalon here with the long clear, going to follow it up his own touch. Here comes Vinda as well. Ossalon looking for the challenge. Breezy does so well in the midfield to win that one, though. And now he's got Niels Cook alongside him. Breezy's got decisions to make. Did he make the right one? Niels Cook pops it back towards the middle, and Vinda should have an easy pass out here to Mount.
Not enough momentum on Niels Cook's part. Nice momentum from Breezy, just chipped a little bit too high from Ossalon. XL, offensive pressure again in the early 2 minutes, but it's not going towards a goal. Envy, gonna try and counteract back. Good pass in from Breezy, dangerous, but no one's there to counteract for it. Now Niels Cook and Malone will combine. Get the ball right down over the blue half of the field. Maintain midfield dominance as well. Try and keep Envy from breaking out, but they will be able to do so. Ossalon, backboard, dangerous position. Breezy takes it away. Now Winter follow through again off the backboard. But XL counteracting appropriately, not making those same mistakes that they did in game 1 and 2, ensuring that Envy do not get their chances. They still will find a chance right here, slowing the pace down. Ossalon with a shot, but Niels Cook with a save.
Yeah, both defenses holding up strong at the moment. You just feel like a mistake could be coming, but neither team is given an inch as far as defending is concerned. Great ball inside, well read by Breezy though. He saw that infield pass, an absolute mile off. Cuts it out and now sets XL up on the attack for themselves.
Nice dunk down could have come through from one XL offender, but Niels Cook will still put it on target. Mount and McLovin take each other out, taking out any presence towards stage right of the net. Envy close, Niels Cook, nice challenge. This could set something up here, it just doesn't go out far enough, not enough momentum. Now Mount will put it out of position. McLovin trying to challenge as well. Winter out to the midfield, Breezy also there. 100 boost picked up. Now challenging against Ossalon. Missing out on that one, Niels Cook towards the corner. Mount gets it centered up. This could be a chance for McLovin if only Winter wasn't there. He still gets a good touch off the backboard. Breezy trying to dunk it down, but Ossalon gets there first. Holds the line for the Envy side, and now they return to counter-attack.
Yeah, Mount's got Vinda inside as well. McLovin's going to come across. Big demo coming in, though, from Breezy. When he was recovering, McLovin gets the ball out wide. Vinda now follows it up. Ossalon's going to be in position to maybe try and cause a little bit of carnage here. Ball's dropped. Niels Cook with no boost as well. This is going to be some pressure coming in from Envy. Again, looking for the infield pass. Unfortunately for Mount, couldn't find Vinda. Great return ball. Vinda's there! Oh, Envy! That's a goal deserving of winning a series. What a passing play from them.
From Winter to Mount. Back to Winter. 1-2-1, and Envy break it at 1:30 on the clock. XL on a back foot again. Is this enough to bring Envy a series? XL, a lot of pressure on their shoulders, and Winter continues to clamp the presses.
Oh, he is coming to life, and it's a kickoff goal here for Envy. Ball gets squeezed out wide, and look at the contact on this one. Find the top corner, yes please. Envy up by 2, and Vinda is the man. He's come to life. Formerly Waffle, now Vinda, now he's the goal scorer.
Envy, so much pressure, so much presence. Turn the dials up to 13. It's an unlucky number for Excel in this case. Neilcook passes down, maybe they can turn some sort of luck. McLovin just blocked by Ossel on a perfect chance. They pass back in, Neilcook in with a goal, it's too far wide! And again, Excel so close to the line, they just can't push it past the final hurdle.
Yeah, with a minute left on the clock, that had to go in here for Excel. They're down by 2, give yourself a chance, you can throw everything forward then! Neilcook with another shot here, Envy holding on a little bit. The pressure's going to come in from Excel. They have to expect that. It's all or nothing for them right now.
McLovin over from the corner, passes back into the centre. It's Neilcook to feed it through. Good shot on target, defended by Oslan Breezy over on the left-hand side. Going to try to see if he can dunk it down. 2 players commit towards it. Excel need to take advantage right now. McLovin a little bit too far low, and he just can't seem to get it done. Right inside the box, Breezy will keep the pressure rolling, but Excel need to turn that pressure into a goal. Nice chance from Neilcook, defended by Mao. Back in over in the midfield. It's over from Breezy. Corner taken away by Ocelon. Again challenged onto Neilcook as well. McLovin, final chance to take a score. It's not going to happen. Mount clears it. Final 10 seconds. A passing play needs to go well for Breezy. It's just pushed left to the left-hand side. Envy just holding on for everything they can. Neilcook close. Chance taken and saved by Vinder. As the clock ticks low, Envy will secure their series. Barely holding on by a thread.
I mean, the one man in the middle of your screen there, you can see Vinder, what a performance from him. 2 goals, 3 saves, but a save right at the death as well. He did it at both ends, and you have to give credit to Envy all round. A goal worthy of winning a series, I think we just saw it there.
Absolutely, like, a fantastic performance from him, like Vinder. Well, credit to him to win that whole thing out for the Envy side. But Excel threw up a very, very good fight in those 3rd and 4th games, and I can't take it away from them. You know, obviously they're going to get those extra points for taking it to game 5. But wow, what a match on set! I'm absolutely stunned.
They somehow managed to scrape these wins out.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it, and they didn't look like creating something like they did for that first goal in that last game. And here it was, as you say, Vinder to Mount, Mount back to Vinder, and not even that. The finish is sublime in that bottom left-hand corner. They then double their lead almost immediately, and you feel like Excel. You know, if you concede 1, you can kind of come back. When you concede 2 back-to-back, it just takes all of the wind out of your sails.
Absolutely, man. And for Excel, that really was just it at the end of the day. They couldn't quite finish the job, despite it being, my personal pick. They got it close, but at the end of the day, McLovin's going to have to face disappointment from my side of things. That's for certain.
Prediction right again?
Yeah, you are 100% right now.
100% still. Surprise, surprise. That's why I'm not allowed to do my predictions before matches anymore, because it ruins the spectacle for everyone else. But I mean, if we want a moment of the day, I think, you know, talking about one of the standout plays, I think that's going to be up there. That's that first Envy goal. To create that, especially, it's not even to do that in a game 1's more difficult enough, but to do it under pressure in a game 5 with the series on the line. Beautiful stuff from those 2.
Pressure is where Envy seems to thrive. So, well, credit to them. It's Envy taking control of the series at 3-2. And it's over to Tom and the boys on the desk to break it all down.
Thank you very much, Jay. Thank you very much. Onset, I'm 100% record of getting both results wrong. Now, that is a testament to going with your heart and without any knowledge. But yeah, that's what everyone's rooting for me, the underdog of predictions. You both said it potentially was going to be an Envy win, and they got the job done. Ocelon impressed me. Who impressed you from that lineup today?
I think they all played really well, but I think when it comes down to the clutch moments, I'm going to try and get the name correct here, so apologies if I do get it wrong. But Winfer played really well in that final game. He got 2 goals. He got a clutch save into that top right-hand corner where it looked like we might have maybe a scary final moments of the game, but he really stepped up when they needed it. And now, Envy, after a terrible week 1, 6 points on the board.
Yes, you have to hand it to them. Ironically, though, we've made this big name change, and I was seeing Vinder, Winfer, whatever you want to describe it. Actually, all his teammates call him Waffle still on the comms.
Do they?
So that makes no sense.
Come on.
What is this? But that's the fun of Rocket League.
I think this is a joke on us.
Yes.
I think so too.
I feel the egg. I feel the egg rolling across the old head. What did you think of Excel and the new guys that came into that team?
I think the new guys, they supported Neilcook, I think, not as well as they really should have. I think Neilcook was the MVP for Excel that time around. I mean, me and Shogun were talking about this during the games, that Neilcook went back to his real RLCS Season 3 performance when he was just the MVP. Despite not getting to the World Championship, he was outstanding, and that's what the form he brought to this game right now.
2 new people come into that team, and then you've got Vitality in week 4. What lineup are XL going to go for? Can they get a win? Renault Vitality need to get back to winning ways. It's difficult for them. However, on the other side, Envy have got a nice 2-week bye week. They're going to just take it easy. They could go anywhere.
They got a 2-week bye
That's
week.
good this time of year.
Easy breezy.
I mean, cheeky little boot camp over there. Get yourself real ready to go. I think if you're XL, I think you've now tried your main roster. You've tried a completely thrown together roster.
Yeah.
Let's try merging the two at this point. I want names in a hat. I just want... bring the entire team over and just go, Marky, you're playing this game and you'll be playing with the coach. Okay, awesome.
Hey, the thrown together team worked. They got a point this week. Not enough, though, because they need to get into the top 3 to have any chance of going through to the playoffs after that. Bottom 2, we say goodbye to. And as you can see in Group A, there it is. So far, at the moment, if we were to say, hey, it's playoff week next week, which it isn't, it's a special week next week, those bottom 2 teams, we would say goodbye to. So Renault Vitality, based on their head-to-heads and getting that win against Reason, they are above Reason Gaming at the moment. So what do you make of that Group A and how it stands at the moment?
So Vitality have still got to take on Envy. That is a massive match. But for XL, they need to try and make sure they're not the whipping boys at this point, because they have they've really struggled. They've got 2 games left. They can still make the comeback, though, but they need to be dominant. They can't even afford to go to Game 5s now, because every single point that they leak is another big blow against their chances to get into the playoffs.
Do we give them a wooden spoon? Do you know this? You know,
I think wait one more week. Wait one more game that XL have to... They need to get a win next time out. No doubt about it. They cannot come away with 1 point or 0. They need the 3 next time.
I think less
you need to be their coach. You need to be their motivational man.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
All right, Craftman. Well, listen, gentlemen, stay by the desk. Don't go anywhere, because right now we're going to go to Ariel, who's in the crowd with some of those lovely people.
I am indeed. No, I mean, what a cracking result for Envy there, Blake.
Yeah.
Were you rooting for them or were you rooting for XL?
Envy.
Oh, were you? Well, I mean, you chose the winner there, so well done for that. You've been here before, I believe.
Yeah, my 3rd time, actually.
So you like coming down here?
Yeah.
Is it because you've got a Gfinity hoodie? Did you get that for free?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah? You sure?
Yeah.
Did you get some pizza today?
Yeah, I did.
And then tell me about the jumper, because you've got something very special on the back of it.
I got it signed by Army.
Is that who you're here to see today?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're rooting for them later on?
Yeah.
Wicked. If you do want to come down to the Gfinity Arena, there's lots going on. You can get a hoodie signed by Army. You can get some pizza. All you have to do is head on over to gfinityesports.com/tickets. That's how you get the tickets. You can come here. Would you say it's a good atmosphere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
Thank you very much. Blake definitely knows what he's talking about, and well done on getting that slice of pizza. Right then, make sure you do that. Listen to Ariel. If you don't listen to Ariel, she will shout at you, and it's very scary. So listen, that is Group A wrapped up. For anyone who's missed it, here's how it all went down. So there you go. That's all the action that we've had so far today. We're halfway through at week 3. We move on to Group B. These are the matches that are coming up today. But let's first of all look at that table. Oh, it's tight. It is tight, like a tiger. ASOS Rogue Army at the top. As you heard from Blake, who was in the crowd, he got signatures from the players. Gentlemen, welcome back. Fantastic casting, very eventful. What do you make of this ASOS Rogue Army? Back to form, aren't they?
Absolutely. You know, this is a team of players that have done some really, really good stuff. Haven't quite made it to world-class levels, but I think that with this lineup, actually, they have been looking relatively good, as you just saw there. Bit of a group of death going on between everybody, so they're struggling to keep hold of their top spot. I feel like against Fnatic, though, this probably could decide which of these teams will be certain for top 3.
Yeah, I was just going to say, on, so we had the pleasure of watching them in week 1. When I say pleasure, that is a bad choice of words, because only 2 goals they managed. They weren't playing that well. However, week 2, lights out stuff.
I mean, talk about a turnaround, right? I mean, it was the Tedder show as well. Like, he was getting so pumped on that stage. You could see every single goal. And there was one bit that will live with me long in the memory is where they scored a goal and Tedder was like, the series is done. We're good. We're 1-0 up. And then they conceded. And then they scored again, and Tedder just did not blink. It was like they scored. He was like, "Yeah, okay, now we need to win." Yeah, it was like one of those things. But I mean,
15 goals though.
Yeah, 15 goals is impressive, and I think no one would have called what they did last week after week number 1. So, can they have the consistency? That's the question we have to ask going into this one, and I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, Flux came into week 2, into the lineup. He stays. What impact did he have? Obviously, those 15 goals, he helped, but as a player, you know, we've seen it today. Roster changes don't quite work. That one definitely worked, and he's back for week 3.
Yeah, and roster changes are never an easy thing to do. Obviously, taking a look at the Vitality lineup and Excel, how they couldn't quite get it all together because they have got players who haven't always, you know, don't have that chemistry almost. And, you know, it was a fantastic showing for Army. I think if there's one team that they could do well with this main roster, it probably would be Fnatic, because Fnatic have been on the downward trend over the last few months, currently up for relegation in the RLCS, obviously, and they're holding their own in the Gfinity Elite Series, but I'm not sure how much longer that will last, to be honest.
Yeah, defensively, ASOS ROG Army, not defending as an army, can be a little bit suspect at times, and also, Onset, you're pronouncing it Tedder. I've been pronouncing it like ta-da, because he definitely did make an appearance.
Because you're special,
okay,
and like everything you do is a little bit more glitzy and glamorous than me.
I'm
giving you a compliment.
No, I know, I take that. But defensively, that could be the way to attack them for Roma Fnatic, obviously.
I think it is. I think, you know, they have struggled a little bit at the back, but I think they kind of recognised that last week. It was like, okay, we're just going to try and outscore you. You know, we're going to concede a few. Yeah, we don't really mind. We're just going to try and outscore you. We're going to play with that aggressive, fast-paced game style that works so well for them. And I'm expecting to see the same thing here. They gave no respect to their opponent last week. Even though they're playing Fnatic and some of the names here, you know, Maestro, Snasky, Mummy Snow, I think they're going to play the same because it worked for them last week. Be aggressive, show no respect.
Yeah, SBJ, Switchblade J. You said to me, do not break it down to SBJ, but I've done it twice now and I can't stop it. It's too addictive. In terms of Rocket League and from your experience of watching it, the noisier you are as a team, the more vocal you are, do you notice that seems to do better for you as a team? Because ASOS ROG Army was so loud last week when they were playing.
I think it's a bit of a complex concept, I think, more than anything else. Like some teams and players will be happy just to like sit down and be very, very calm about things, and other players will just be balls to the wall, absolutely loud, screaming their heads off, let's go, let's go, let's go. I know from what my personal experience is, I also commentate Counter-Strike. And I know that a lot of the time, very loud players are completely... They're in abundance, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think Rocket League is a bit less of a communication game, which is where some of that quietness can come from. For ROG Army, probably that could be the mold to break to try and turn themselves into...
Don't think, just do.
To touch on that as well, I always find the louder players are the ones who are always affected by it more as well. It's kind of like a defense mechanism a lot of the time. Like you see it in FPSs, the players that are loud and, you know, they put a lot of, you know, time into letting the other team know that they're doing something special. As soon as it starts coming back their way, they're the ones who go quiet quickest. So it's kind of an interesting sort of parallax to watch and see how that goes on.
Well, let's find out if they are loud today. But as they are the new kids on the block, we wanted to get to know the Army boys a bit better, so we headed to Brighton Beach to find out more.
I'm Ryan Hambler, better known as Distan, and I play Rocket League for ASOS ROG Army.
My name is Danny Squibb, otherwise known as Tadar, and I play Rocket League for ASOS ROG Army. We had a little bit of a disappointing start. We went into hashtag a bit unprepared, I'd say. They came out just a better team. We were a bit nervous.
In the first week, it was one of those where we all didn't know what to say, but after that, we came together and we just knew that's the worst it's ever going to be, and it's always up from there.
Going into week 2, we were up against Epsilon. Obviously, after the defeat in week 1, we had like that huge pressure off our shoulders.
Epsilon as a team, they're very good, but sometimes they can let their guard down, especially towards people they feel that they're comfortable playing against.
It's going to be Distan with an early shot on goal, and look at that, the perfect start here.
Epsilon rocked a little bit. They've realised they've got to take Army very seriously right now.
I remember just me and Danny working well in terms of scoring, and that tends to be our forte.
That's a first.
ASOS ROG Army take game number 1.
What made it so good is that the chaotic feel of it. It wasn't just just everyone's hitting the ball, everyone's hit. It's that sometimes people miss, sometimes you won't have a good day, and that's what makes it even more amazing is when you'll score these crazy goals, but you'll also let in some questionable goals.
Look at that, Sebadam, open net.
That's what esports is about, and that's what gaming is about, is that anything can happen.
Sebadam just took the ball away from Bilbo.
Takes it! Sebadam! Oh! That was the chance for Epsilon. They couldn't take it.
Oh my goodness, what a game of Rocket League.
ASOS ROG Army get the win.
If I were to show anyone what esports is about, I'd show them that series. Not only because I'm in it, but just generally, you know, it's just one of those moments. Yeah, that was me. That was me. It was a really entertaining series. There was a bit of everything. Week 3 we have Fnatic.
They are a strong team, and we know they're going to come out wanting that win, like we did in the first week. We didn't do well in the first week. We came back. We got the win, and we took it with vengeance. They're going to come back, and they're going to want that win. And I know them as players. They're very driven, and they want to win. They don't want anything else. No one can underestimate us when we're on fire, and especially in front of goal, like we can find ways to score when people don't think they're there.
Do not underestimate them. I love that. It's really interesting with the Elite Series. We bring players to the people's attention, and you can really get in a sense of what this stand's all about. So confidently talking there.
Fire in what he's saying as well, isn't it? It's like a lot of people you say like, yeah, you know, we really want to win this game. And you kind of like, okay, that's what you're meant to say. You're not going to say we want to lose, but you can really like hear it in his voice and see it in his eyes. Like these guys up there, they want to make a real impression here and take advantage of the opportunities that have been given. Yeah. It's awesome
do not underestimate them, Fnatic. Do not underestimate them. That is exactly what Distan's saying. They will find ways to score, even when you don't think that's a possible option and chance to score. But Fnatic, they've got it all to do. You've got the lineup there. You've got Maestro, who's been playing very, very well. They did lose to Epsilon in week 1, who actually, coincidentally, Army beat last week. So what do you make of this team, Jay?
It was a bit of a close result from Army last week. I mean, I do believe that maybe there was a certain level of what's it, confidence going into that series, and obviously coming back out of it. For Fnatic as a result, not sure whether you can use that as a constant point to really compare them to what ROG Army could be able to do, because they could pop off, they could do some insane stuff. Fnatic, as I was mentioning earlier, as a team, haven't had the best of years. They've been slowly spiralling down as of late, and it is quite tragic because these guys are basically Rocket League royalty. Like, Maestro's a very, very good player. I absolutely love his play style and the way that he takes to the game. But just the team as a whole have been in a really, really bad slump, and that does worry me coming into this one.
Yeah, but it's good. There's so much experience on that team on set. Yeah. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Thank you. I've always been never told that myself for my own abilities. But they have the talent there. Yeah. It's just, any minute it could just pop off for them.
It could just click. And you know, even though they lost their game, I believe it was Shogun who might have put him forward for MVP for Maestro, which shows how big a contributing factor he was. Even though they lost series, he was that good that he kept the series close. So Maestro, I think, solid on this team. I want to see more from Snasky and Mummy Snow, though. I really do think that these two guys have to step up to the level that Maestro showed in that game, because if they can even step their level up like 20%, for example, then they're going to win series. It's just about supporting the player on your team who has been the standout one, and you can see him there. I mean,
what an incredible second name. Bang! No mucking around with that as a surname. You have there, as you can see, and break this down for us, Jay, 7 goals in week 1, the loss to Epsilon, but shots 14. That's at 50%, you know, shots to goal ratio. Saves are coming in there, assists. If he continues to play like that, you're creating chances and you're making sure the opposition don't score.
Yeah, and this is why I absolutely love Maestro, and he's the reason why I highlight him. He had so many saves, so many shots, so many goals in that first week. You know, if he gets going, he's going, and Fnatic are going to be able to rally up behind him, I think. And that's the main danger for ROG Army more than anything else. While they have the potential to pop off as a team, Maestro has the potential to pop off as a player, and if that happens,
yeah.
R.I.P.
I love the way you say pop off. It just rolls properly.
Pop off.
Do you know my favourite bit of the Elite Series is when we do interviews in the tunnel, and that is exactly where we're going to go right now, because Ariel is in the tunnel with Maestro.
I am indeed. It's my favourite part of the show, actually, getting to interview you guys just before you go to your stations. How are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was just asking you, were you watching that MV XL match? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, who are you rooting for? And you're like, no one, because you're impartial, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true.
You only root for Fnatic, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How are you feeling about Army? They've got a good crowd here. They've got a lot of fans in the audience. Have you got some Fnatic fans here with you today?
I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think they're going to be like rooting for you if you guys start winning?
Hope so.
I hope so too. Do you see Army as a big threat in this competition?
Not really.
No.
But yeah, I don't know about that.
Who, in terms of players, who do you think is their strongest player on that team?
I have no clue about the team. So.
Oh, do you not? You're not really bothered. You're just here to play Rocket League, right?
Yep.
Okay. Give me a quick score prediction then. What do you reckon?
Ooh, 3-1 to us.
Okay, you're going to give them one, but then, yeah, you're going to get the other three.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go and enjoy yourself and go and get that 3-1 score. Thanks, Maestro.
So there you go. He is ready for this, Maestro. Isn't it good, though? In the tunnel, it just gets atmospheric. I walk past, no one sees me. I try and get on camera again. It doesn't happen. So you're looking at Maestro. He has got the potential. It could pop off. I want to know your predictions for this one, gentlemen.
Am I allowed?
Well, I mean, look, I'm 100% got it wrong today so far.
Okay, this is going to be...
Do you want me to tell you who I'd go for, and then that will help you?
No. I'm backing myself to get this right. I'm actually going to go with, of all people, one of these two teams. I'm going to go...
Jay, step in.
No, it's good. I'm going with Fnatic. I think they're weak to bounce back. I do. I think Asus ROG were really impressive last week. I just feel like Fnatic are going to pull out one out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Fnatic as well, I think. You know, just don't want to lose that 100% win streak.
3 seasons of 100% on the line.
If Fnatic have the experience on their side, which ROG Army don't have, they still have the close series against Epsilon. It was not easy for them at all. So going into the potential of how they could upset in this series, I'm not quite feeling it this time. It's Fnatic for me.
Okay, well, guess what? I'm going for Army, based on those predictions from these guys. Let's welcome them out for Army. We have Distan, Tada, and Flogs!
Stand back. We're gonna light the fuse. Stand back. We ain't trying to lose. Stand back. We're gonna light the fuse. Stand back. We ain't trying to lose.
Go on, lads. Go on. Oh, it's beautiful to watch Army line up. I'm rooting for you, boys. Don't let me down. For Fnatic, their opposition today, you've got Snasky, Maestro, and Mommy Snow. Less smiley. They know exactly what they have to do from Fnatic. Very much less smiley. Mummy Snow will never smile. That is a fact there. Look at him all times. He will never smile. Gentlemen, the maroon section of the Elite Series. Look at us. Whey!
Yeah, we're sorted.
We emailed each other and said, make sure you're wearing maroon. Gentlemen, predictions before we get into our third series of the day.
Oh, I really don't like agreeing with those two, but I think Fnatic have got something to prove here. But that being said, Army have already shown us that they can play, maybe not the best Rocket League, but the most entertaining Rocket League. This could be a barn burner.
Oh, okay.
Barn
burner,
barnstormer. I'm going to go with Army as well. I think they have the potential to take down Fnatic this time around. Again, very much entertaining Rocket League that we've seen for the past couple of weeks. So yeah, Army in 4.
Okay, in the politest way, get on with it. There we go.
Right, well, we certainly will do that as he storms away with those angry boots of his. But Craftman, we're coming into this one. Fnatic have not been at the top level for a very long time. And it's coming into crunch period. Not only have they got the latter end of the Gfinity Elite Series to play, they've also got the RLCS promotion tournament as well. A tournament that they will be playing is trying to survive and keep their RLCS spot.
Yeah, and I think if they are to go down to the rival series next time around, we might not see this roster sticking around for much longer. I think Snasky, he wants to be back on top. He's been right back in the... He's been up there at the top level for so long. He wants to get back to that level. And right now, it's not been a great run for Snasky. But as he's playing with Maestro and Mummy Snow just now, we'll just see what happens. But let's get into this game. Coming up against Army, who, like you said, Shogun, have been so entertaining this Elite Series so far. Are we going to see another entertainer this time around?
So you come into matches like this. You have to say, it might come down to 1 or 2 players. The 2 players that I want to highlight here, one from each team, is going to be Maestro, of course, from Fnatic. He has always been one of the top players in the world. But Turda, on the other side of the field, this might already be a goal. You know, usually when I'm trying to look around for players that are going to be the next level, you try and just talk to some of the other players and just say, okay, who's coming up? And there's a name that I keep hearing at the moment, and it is Turda. I want to see if he can try and translate that onto the Gfinity Elite Series stage.
Yeah, he's been sort of going around all the community tournaments, getting some playing time with many different players around the communities. And now is his time here on Aces ROG Army here at the Gfinity Elite Series. It's a slow start, though, to game number 1 here.
As both teams just feeling each other out a little bit, trying to settle in. Possession will now be with Army going back towards the midfield. Distan trying to get it around Mummy Snow. Will it indeed do that? Again, Snasky wise to it. And the first minute comes and goes without a goal. And no one really showing any signs of too much pressure at the moment.
Certainly not, but only one goal could really just make the goal line explode. Snasky, great fake out, but his shot not powerful enough, and that pinch down to the other end of the field will be well enough covered by Maestro. But Snasky showing glimpses of how dangerous he can be across the pitch, and the first half chance of the game so far. 90 seconds in. Snasky will clear along. He's looking for Mummy Snow, but Taz not going to be there if you're Maestro too far forward. 1-0 to Army.
That was a crucial touch that Maestro had to make. Again, leaving that one-man back, Maestro way out of position, and not enough boost to get to that one. Will concede the first goal in favour of Army. Maybe a little bit unexpectedly, as Fnatic have kind of held on to possession for a lot of it, but they might get one off the kickoff. They will do indeed. Mummy Snow ties it up within the first 5 seconds of kickoff.
It's almost like I predicted this, Craft Man. As soon as you got the first one, it was all just going to start flooding. Now, I don't want to set up unreasonable expectations, but the first game last time did have, I believe, 9 goals. 5 goals to 4. Army won that one. And I'm not saying I'd expect that. I sort of expect more goals than that. So you can see that one immediately bounce off the backboard. It's going to be cleared long, and now Snasky, he's got the follow. I don't think he can score immediately from this, but he's going to see if he can try and force a mistake. And it's been dealt with well by Army's defense. Lovely long clear. Mummy Snow gets the half volley. So dangerous just to put this on the backboard now. It was previously such a danger zone for the defense, but now so many players are just good at levering that one across the field.
Definitely wise to the backboard at this point in Rocket League's competitive history. But the backboard has sort of come back into the meta a lot more in the past recent months, especially here at Gfinity, as Tada tries to squeeze one in from the right-hand corner. Will get cleared out, but Taz is there to give the follow-up, and good defending by Fnatic will allow the counter-attacking opportunity. Maestro gets it past, can't sneak it under the crossbar. But again, Fnatic, this counter-attacking play has put a lot of pressure on Army as they've had to retreat so far. But they've done well to get back to this point, and off the backboard will try and go to stand. Mummy Snow getting that one away. Now Snasky trying to power it through. Still a tie game with 2 minutes to go. Now Maestro takes the lead for Fnatic.
Yeah, it's going to be a lovely bit of play there from Fnatic. Just utilizing their speed, winning every single challenge. Tada! It's just very slow, him going up to that. There was nothing really achieved. And Fnatic just keep taking player after player after player out of the game, and eventually they can just slam it into the back of the net.
And off kickoff is where you really want to watch this. We've already seen one kickoff goal. Could we see one from Army this time? No, Snasky easily defends that one, but these guys have the capability to score. Like you said, we had about 10, 11 goals in the first game that Army played this season. So it's sort of calmed down in the last couple of weeks. We'll go try one now. Bardowski for the stand. Not going to happen this time as Fnatic slowly dribble this one out. Very boost starved at the moment. Chance for Army to find a hole in the defense. It's just going to go float softly into the hands of Snasky, and now to Mummy Snow. Great pass downfield, but up on the backboard goes to Dan. Again, the backboard defense, top notch from Army.
Maestro goes straight off, but Tada already there. Still back into the path of Mummy Snow, but Tada can keep himself moving forward. He's going to get there just in time. Now the infield pass over to Distan. Every single time there's a passing play right now for Army, they're not quite spreading themselves out well enough. That one, effectively, there was almost no need to pass. His teammate was just so close to him. You're not taking a defender out, you're just giving the ball away and using 2 players to do that. Immediately going to the backboard, and with now 40 seconds left, Army need to figure out a way of breaking down Fnatic's defense one more time, because it looks like Fnatic are happy just to hold back and turtle up.
Truly the strategy coming into the final 30 seconds is just hold your fort down, hold that midline. Exactly like Maestro's doing. Now Snasky will keep the ball deep in blue territory. And a big long clear will leave that one for Distan.
Please stop clearing long. Just please, Army, stop clearing long. It's not going to work.
They just clear long and don't follow up. It's so frustrating to see because we know, like you said, we want to see them go for those passing plays, but they're not spread out. It's very predictable, but Fnatic could have got the third, but it will be game number 1 in favor of Fnatic unless something can happen, and it won't.
No, absolutely will not. Army, they thrive in chaos, and Fnatic, they were anything but chaotic. Just as soon as they got the lead, they knew the game was starting to come to a close, and they just took their time. Very disciplined performance by the veterans of the game. And sort of just showing that difference of experience right there. And I don't know if that's going to be a factor as we go further into the series, but it was definitely a factor in game number 1.
Definitely. Snatsky, Maestro, Mummy, they've all been here before. The new guys, the new Army people with the Stan, Tada, and Taz. Very much inexperienced here at the Elite Series, and it is definitely showing, at least here in week number 3. We'll have a look at some of the highlights. Well, that was really a highlight there. You just saw the Fnatic defense sort of fall apart, but they picked it up. They got themselves back on track. And Fnatic looking very solid, like you say, Shogun.
Yeah, you can see some of the goals that went in. Very basic at the same time, but the only way is up, really. And as you can see, if there's anything that Army like, it's a little bit of excitement, and they need to bring that right now because Fnatic, they're just going to let them wear themselves out. It's very much a puncher-counter-puncher sort of matchup that we're going to be seeing. So if you're Army, I think it's time to slow it down just a little bit.
Yeah, so again, like you said, we've seen Army just ball out in the first couple of weeks. We want to see some of that fast-paced gameplay is what we want to see. That was kind of a real slowdown from what we're used to seeing from them, but I think Fnatic has a lot to do with that. They've liked to keep it close, slow it down, make their opponents play to their pace, and that's why Fnatic won that game in a very solid fashion.
So now we're going to be looking at this next game. Army, they know what they need to change. They know they need to just slowly start to put those passing plays down. No more long clears. We've seen what happens when you long clear. There's somebody already there from Fnatic. They're already going to be there looking around. I want to see if they can just send someone for an original tackle and leave them upfield. You don't need to immediately start rotating back. Fnatic aren't going to pile everybody into an attack. Just leave them upfield, steal the middle boost, and put yourself on the wall. As soon as you're there, you've got a target. You've got a way to start opening Fnatic's defense up.
It's okay long clearing if you've got the lead, but they need to get the lead first. That is what we want to see from Army. Fnatic, like you said, they turtled up at the end and just played solid defense through the last 30 seconds to a minute of game number 1. But in game 2, all can change as Distan will try and go off the wall here. He's got Tada upfield trying to run a bit of disruption.
It's already better.
Here comes Taz now, the aggression again, very much so. More solid from Army, but that touch from Mummy Snow could have gone his way, but brilliant defense from Distan to keep that one at 0-0.
Wow, Mummy Snow, he's been quiet at times throughout this last 6 months, but on occasion, he can just remind you that he is lethal when he's under form. Tada passed over to him, was just behind his car. It was a pretty poor pass off there from, I believe it was Distan. But they're trying to play the ball left to right rather than straight down the field. That is much better so far from Army. You can just see how well Fnatic can do when it comes to transitioning out of defense. Very hard to lock them down for a long period of time. As Tada will be coming straight in, that shot will not struggle to be saved by Maestro.
It'll allow them to go on to the counter-attack. These long clears, we've seen it from both teams, really. Army more so in the first game, but they've kind of cleaned that up and now looking for each other in the middle of the field. Tada trying to bump people out of the net, and it will now fall to Mummy Snow to find his teammates who weren't there in the middle. Could have flicked it back there, but now it's a 2v1 back in the orange half. Fnatic will send the house back to the roadside. Meanwhile, Army kind of playing a little bit more defensive here. That's not what we want to see from them. We want to see them be much more aggressive than this, because that is how they win games, because if they just turtle up, Fnatic are going to take advantage of it every single time. Now Maestro has an opportunity to flick one up for his teammates, actually leaves it for Mummy Snow, and now will go to the corner and Army will take control once again.
That is such a let-off if you are Army. There were so many mistakes, so many double commits, so many backflips, but no goal on the board. But they are struggling right now, and they're going to be running out of boost very soon. If you're Fnatic, time to start stealing away every single corner boost that you can. We'll see Maestro do exactly that. It's going to be up to Army to play very smart if they want to try and keep this out of their net, because Fnatic have got all the tools. They want to try and break this down and get goal number 1.
Goal number 1 coming in, well, it will come in the last half of this game. It's been very defensive, very cagey from each team. After a sort of defensive game one, and now they're going back to very much simple play. Send one man back, keep two man in your defense. It's not proved the goal as of yet, but it's a little bit juggly in their own half. Could have been taken advantage of. But now they will go back into the offense. Snapsky looking for his teammates, finds Mummy Snow in the middle. It was Maestro who got demoed, but Mummy Snow was there to clean it up.
Yeah, they did come forward for the demo, but unfortunately it was take your pick. Snapsky with a lovely laydown, but he should not be getting that much time. And Army, it's the defensive positioning that's really catching them right now, and it's mostly because they've got absolutely nobody covering their backboard, and Fnatic, they're starting to notice that.
No one, absolutely. Fnatic are just peppering that backboard. And Army, the offensive powerhouse from the first couple of weeks, starting to regress a little bit. We want to see them be more in the forefront of the orange half. But I think that starts with passing plays. They need to start finding each other in the field there. It's very ball chasey at the moment from Army. Fnatic are just finding the holes every which way. As Taz clears long off the backboard, will try and drop it down himself. Snapsky, easily enough, defended on the backboard. Again, Army trying to do what trying to do to Fnatic what they are doing to them is hold on that backboard and hope a defensive mistake comes through Fnatic.
Lovely clear once again from Maestro. Maestro back coming to middle. Taz wants to go long, but Turto's gone zero boost. He's got no way of trying to push that forward. But Army might get that first opportunity. Distance very far forward on this one, but he's going to keep that over in the offensive position. More long clears, and Fnatic locking down the halfway again. Maestro will miss. Snapsky will also put it to the far side. Fnatic, though, getting good opportunities, and if they can pick up that second goal, that could be the end of this game. Whilst Army still not only looking for their first goal, they're still looking for their first clear-cut opportunity.
Yeah, Fnatic have just been holding this midfield and putting that ball deep into blue territory, but Tada, what a way to do it, and what a way to tie up with 30 seconds left.
I was asking for an opportunity. That is an opportunity. Tada with an absolutely phenomenal tap straight down. Hold the player down the field, give it an option, and you might unlock Fnatic's defense, and that's exactly what ended up happening. But Fnatic looking to respond immediately, but the woodwork will come to the rescue of Army's defense.
What have we been talking about, Shogun? Passing plays for Army, but good defending, and right at the last moment.
I was certain that was open.
Oh, same here. The angle was just too impossible, but what have we been saying, Shogun? Passing plays from Army, and they open up the scoring for themselves in the final few seconds, and it looks like this one could go to overtime, unless Fnatic can make something happen. Actually, maybe Army will make it happen. Off the backboard goes to Taz, but not able to send it to a teammate, and we find ourselves in overtime.
Good kickoff as well. Tada, that was just slightly on target. It might have struggled to go in because Maestro was already around. But now the offensive pressure immediately for Army. They've struggled to maintain this, though. I think that whiff might do that again. Maestro already downfield. Goes straight for net. He's not after a goal here. He's just after what we're seeing right now, a potential follow-up from Fnatic. They've seen it all. They've done it all. They know how to try and break down the defense, but they almost got caught with an interception from Army, but still a lot of pressure on, and it's this backboard. This is how the first goal went in.
Defense from Army has just been completely scrappy this entire game. Not just, well, this entire series, I would say. Their defense has just been all over the place. But they've made the touches when they count here in game number 2. And that defense, I think it was it Taz that got that uppercut, I would say. Well, speaking of wide open nets, Mummy Snow manages to get back right in the nick of time. But Army have had so many opportunities here in overtime. Tada almost makes it a tie series.
Okay, I feel like we just need to have a radar or a bell on Turner at this point. Every single time he goes for that aerial, you're almost convinced that he's going to be able to turn it into the back of the net. Taz wants to follow this up, but 10 boost will not allow him to do that. Turner already up. It's a pretty neutral challenge from both. Distan going for the backboard. Snasky's going to just tap that one over the top. It's going to be an open shot. Tada! Can't turn it in. Great read from Snasky. Offensive wave after wave coming in from Army. But it will not go in as Fnatic hold strong.
It's been so close for Army this entire overtime. They've had so many shots, so many opportunities, not able to send them home. But this defense from Fnatic has stepped up its game compared to what we saw earlier on. But 2 minutes into this overtime, Army have had all the opportunities. Fnatic maybe had 1 or maybe 2. Army have had about 10. But they need to turn this into points now. Wide open net as Maestro just rotates back in the middle. Now Distan will keep this pressure on. Off the backboard, Snasky clears it down to midfield. Only finds Taz waiting to keep the pressure going for Army. To Dano. Trying to find Distan and trying to find the touchdown from the backboard. Will not happen, but this one's going to go all the way through. The defense was all committed upfield. Fnatic thought they had a break in the aggression, but it will be Army taking the win in overtime, and we have ourselves a tie series.
That is so brave from Tada as well. He is the last person back. He knows it's a challenge, and he knows that if he loses that challenge, that is overtime over against him. That would mean that it would be 2-0 to Fnatic. Instead, he wins. I don't think he was expecting to get a shot out of it as well. But either way, Army, a crucial victory for them because they really started to show up towards the latter half of that game. A loss there could have deflated them and effectively made Game 3 a formality.
Exactly. Army thrive when they get into the offensive half of the field. When they've been defending, I said it during the game, they've just been really scrappy in their defending, and it's not worked out for them every single time. What they need to do is get possession, send it downfield, and it's exactly what they did for all of that overtime. All 2.5 minutes, something like that. But Fnatic defended well, but not well enough. And I think if they want to counter-attack, they just need to get that break in the Army aggression. Maybe get a couple of boosts in their favor. These backboard plays have been working really well for Fnatic. Want to see more of that.
Now, one thing I have noticed right now is that for both these teams, midfield sort of doesn't exist. It's this wasteland of sorts that both teams don't really want to take advantage of. It's just offense or defense. There is no in between right now, and there is also a complete lack of challenges. It's just a case of, okay, you get to have a go, and then I'll have my turn attacking you as well. Both these teams need to improve that. Whoever can sort that out earlier probably has the most likely chance of taking this series. And it's a series Fnatic really need to win. They are 0-1 at the moment, and it's a group that can get away from them very quickly.
Yeah, at least they have a point though. That's the crucial part for Fnatic's game right now, is they have a point. But Army, just so aggressive, and that has been working so well for them, not just in this series, but in the past couple of weeks as well. They just thrive when they get into the offensive half of the field. Now, Fnatic. Shogun, what is the one thing you think Fnatic need to do to get themselves back on track? Because they looked desperate at the end of that overtime.
Control the ball better. They are better players off the ball, and they keep hitting it long for no reason. I know I am a huge advocate of the hit the ball very hard strategy. For some players, it just doesn't quite work out. I really want these guys to sort of show that class above that they have, but right now, they are just throwing haymakers at each other. And why would you do that when you're a better boxer? That is going to be a lovely start from Fnatic. Immediately putting the pressure on, and that is a poor clear from Distan that led to the goal.
Again, the scrappy defense has just let them down once again. And Army, they need to clean up those rotations because I think they're moving their defensive line up to the midfield.
It's not the rotation that's messing them up. They keep getting there. They keep getting there to try and clear. They just don't hit the ball properly. And every single time you do that, you ruin everyone else's rotation because they're already off moving where they think the ball's going to go. No player in a second or third man role is going to think, yeah, my teammate's just not going to hit the ball very well. And that ruins, it has a domino effect of really messing up the rest of your team.
I think it comes from the other team as well. You expect everyone at this level to get a good touch on the ball. Just whenever someone whiffs it, just throws off the entire game, and everyone just scrambles towards that ball to get a good chance on their opponent's net. But 1-0 at the moment to Fnatic. Is this game number 3 kind of slowing down a little bit more? Yes, we're only a minute and a half in, but Fnatic just slowing the pace down like they did in game number 1. Worked in their favor, and Army, it's really their first chance of the game, and it doesn't go their way.
Be a big clear from Snasky. Taz versus Maestro in the air, and Maestro just tips it over the top. Now Mummy Snow couldn't quite get it over to Snasky. That would have been a phenomenal transition. It's still a good transition because Fnatic have got all of the pressure as they try and find that second goal. Just get this one forward. Maestro, he's got Snasky over in support. Snasky's just going to try and take this one away from the defender. Ends up missing the ball entirely. This is an opportunity for Army to try and escape, but Mummy Snow, just the defender of the line. And he's going to keep Fnatic on the offensive side of the field. Maestro with the follow. Woodwork denies once again.
There's a huge bump on Tada that could have spelled tie game, or sorry, 2-0 in favor of Fnatic. Not taken advantage of just yet, and again, everyone just playing it relatively safe, I would imagine. One man up, two men back. Fnatic peppering that backboard once again, and Army just seem to take control once again, and we talked about it in game one, they long cleared so much, they've cleaned that up, but now they're not passing to each other.
Yeah, you can see right now, Army trying to break out the lock-picking set. They want to try and get their way through Fnatic. That backboard, not there in time for the follow-up shot. Instead, it's going to be Snasky. He's going to be going over to Maestro. Good transition. Maestro didn't touch it, didn't need to, and he's now trying to matrix around the ball as Snasky followed up for the shot. But it does just leave a two-player defense back. And Mummy Snow, that is a phenomenal touch, but even better read from Teda. These players, this is something that is so annoying against the high-level players, and a very underrated fact that they can do it, is their clears don't go to the halfway line. They go to your backboard from their own side of the field. There is nowhere that is safe. There's the follow-up shot. And I don't like that shot from Distan. He had a two-player advantage versus one goalkeeper. Why shoot when you could lay it off for a pass?
Try and go for it all, never really works at this level, but Tada will go for it all and doesn't make the touch this time around. Oh my goodness, Army. You've had so many attempts, but that one's going to be wide open for Maestro to take it from the midfield, and Fnatic lead 2-0. And Army,
bad touch.
Army are a desperate team at this moment in time because we know when they get the ball and just aggress onto their opponent's net, they can get it done. Fnatic's taking that away from them, and they're starting to struggle.
Army are a very weird team to watch in this series so far because you see them going up for aerials, they're hitting them perfectly. You see them go for double taps, they're getting pretty close. You see them try and hit the ball on the ground, suddenly I'm worried for them. It seems like they've struggled with the fundamentals so far, but the flashy stuff is working pretty well. Now they've got to try and beat Fnatic's defense twice, and we've already seen how difficult that can be to do.
4 or 5 seconds though. Anything can really happen is Distan will go for a long clear. And again, no real follow-up until Fnatic take possession, but here comes Taz trying to get it back, and now Army will hold on to the midfield area. There's a big long clear from Mummy Snow down the field. Taz will pick it up, only finds Snasky as he goes back towards the orange, and now it's wide open net. Mummy Snow could have made it 3. They will just touch it around, and again, Fnatic pretty much sealed this game up in their minds. They're going to just be a little bit more cagey. Don't want to throw it away all in the last 10 seconds, and with 2 goals left, or 2 goals to get for Army, looks like Fnatic will go on to match point. They will indeed, as Taz tries to get a compensatory goal, but it's not going to happen. Fnatic lead the series 2-1.
Oh, Maestro, my goodness. Not content just to get the win. He wants the goal of the day. And I tell you what, that is a phenomenal shout for one indeed. That is sublime.
Maestro, you've won the game already. He's just showing off at this point. But that's just a dagger in the heart of Asus ROG Army right now. When you've lost a game 2-0, not even scored a single goal, that's something. But then when you concede right on the dead of the game to make it 3-0 in the style that Maestro did, that's just got a heart. That's just
it's
disrespect on their name.
It really is. And Fnatic on the verge of picking up their first win of Season 4 of the Gfinity Elite Series. You know, if they win this, they would only leave one team without a win at this point in the tournament, which just goes to show how close and how well made these rosters have been this season. You see Tada, just imagine how different this game could have been if he was able to score that, but both of Fnatic's goals was the start of the game, all created from seeing Army make a mistake, they turn around and they take advantage. Army have to clean that up.
I think as soon as Army go down by two, not even just one, but two as well. They just kind of concede themselves to the fact that we might just lose this game.
They become a little predictable.
They become very predictable, and I think you were talking earlier about the passing plays that we want them to start making. When they have been making them, they've been really predictable, and Fnatic have read the ball every single time and got the counter-attacking play. Wide open nets from Army. It's not what we want to see at this level.
No, absolutely not. But Army, they've still got time to turn this one around. If they can get the next win, then we've got both teams here guaranteed at least a point. Now we could go over to yet another Game 5. But Army, they've got it all to do. They've got the questions to answer. And this is one of the players I'm going to be looking to do exactly that. Tada has been showing glimpses of absolute excellence. And there is another glimpse right there. Almost able to set up for his team.
I want to say earlier, off of kickoff, these guys can be extremely dangerous, and Tada showing his work there. But Snaski getting the counter-attack and finding the ball in the middle. Taz just laid it up for Mummy, and the defense again maybe thought that ball was all the way down the field. But great interception from Mummy Snow, and the communication that these guys must be having is incredible, knowing that they're in the middle of the field. Great setup for Snaski.
So for Taz, I think this is a huge learning experience for him about what not to do. It's something that can be a little bit difficult to learn until you are forced to confront it. And that is, those clears to the corner, they work at a certain level. But teams like Fnatic, they are looking for that. You have got to control that ball as much as possible, or at least set your team up for success. The only way you can do that is by keeping that ball on your hood, or you keep it on the wall to make it hard to shoot. But I'll tell you what, Tada, he is not going to have any struggle with shooting. That is a boomer.
He is not going quietly into the night. Great pass from Taz, though, and catching the defense off guard. Not really seen too many long goals here. It's all been either open nets or passing plays in their opponent's half, but there's the first real long opportunity for either team.
So for those of you watching at home, what you saw earlier on for the first goal is how not to transition out of defense. What you saw for the second goal is absolutely how to transition out of defense. That was lovely.
1-2 up the field, bang it in the net. It's what Army needs after not scoring a single goal in the game number 3. Now got a tie game. Yes, it's only got just past a minute. A little bit of a pinch there will set them up nicely in Fnatic's half. Like we said earlier, Army needs to take possession of this ball, because if they leave it for Fnatic, they're just going to do things like this, as Mummy Snow will have one more attempt. Delays his shot just enough and fakes out the defense. Maestro could put it home, but Mummy Snow able to clean it up, but that was almost a clear ball for Army.
Yeah, Maestro, I think it's time to look over to your teammate and just say thank you very much there, Mummy Snow, for saving me my blushes. Fnatic able to re-establish their lead nice and early. And Army have got to try and find a way back. Now, the good thing for Army is there's still plenty of time left. It means that Fnatic can't do what they've been doing for the past few games, which is where they just try and hold on to the midfield as well as possible and not allow Army to escape, whilst also not really looking to score again themselves. There's plenty of time for them to try and keep this in an open game and maybe put something together. It's going to be another long clear. Maestro on the hood. I don't think he's got the finish. He has actually got it. Just got it on the second attempt.
But one thing also Fnatic don't want to do at this point is turtle up. They want to get at least one more goal before they decide, hey, we're just going to back off a little bit. Let Army do their thing, but Army is trying to tie the series, tie the game back up, and the series indeed at this moment in time. But Fnatic holding that midfield, like you said, Shogun. It's just been fantastic as Mummy Snow goes off the crossbar. Maestro with the follow-up, but Distant easily enough saved, as everyone was really back in defense awaiting that shot, and now Tada will try and get into the middle for Distant.
I want to point out, that was the weirdest clear I've ever seen. Someone jumped up for it and he got bumped into the ball, and he just made the ball ricochet so far down the field. Unconventional, but if it works, it works. Another good long clear. Distant, he's got the half volley. Tada, he was thinking about it. We've already seen how dangerous he can be from that position. Distant, you can see the player just lateral of him. He wants to try and pass that one straight down. Oh, this is a little bit clumsy, and it's going to lead to a 2-goal lead. Army just floundering around on this defense.
It was Tada coming off the wall. He thought he had the read there, but just a little bit too low. And the bouncing ball shot's incredibly difficult to read, at least for me. These guys are much better at Rocket League than I am, but that was not a top-tier read from Tada at that point. Army need everything they possibly can at this point. Tada redeems himself on the backboard, and Destan can't send it home. Taz comes flying in, but this one's going to be an open net. Actually, Mummy Snow will have one man to beat, gets over to Snaski, and the passing play and the counter attack for Fnatic will leave them in a 3-goal lead.
I absolutely love the transition from Mummy Snow. He understands he's got the advantage. Tada, he tries to move forward. He tries to make himself as big as he possibly can be, but he's at a disadvantage. And if that is played well by Fnatic, it is always going to be a goal. A 3-goal lead established, and Fnatic look to be taking their first win of the season. And I was going to say Group B looks so scary, but that's kind of the story for both groups at this moment in time. Nobody is safe, and nobody is guaranteed a win.
Yeah, you've got Nordovan lurking down the bottom of the table. They're going to be coming up a little bit later on. And obviously hashtag being at the top there, but these guys are fighting for those second and third playoff spots. Fnatic making a name for themselves, getting their first points on the board this weekend. And Tada will try and bring the gap back to 2. With a minute left, Fnatic looking very much set to take this win.
That double touch attempt from Tada sort of worries me a little bit, because it sort of shows to me that they're running out of ideas right now, Army. Well, it seems like Fnatic have just got better and better at their offense. They are utilizing each other so very well. Another pass over to Maestro, and Maestro does all the rest of the work. 5-1. And you know what? At the risk of not being an analyst anymore, I think this one is going to be over.
Yeah, I think so as well. Fnatic have just been flat out dominant this entire series. Maybe with the exception of that game number 2 where Army took it in overtime. But even then, it was extremely close the entire time, and Fnatic just flexing their muscles at this point, showing off to all ends. 30 seconds left. Fnatic didn't do too well last week, but now they have some points on the board. 5-1, and that is a statement from Fnatic, especially against this ROG Army, ROG Army team who have been flashy on offense, but it's just not worked out this time. Yes, they get a constant open net for them to make it 5-2, but Fnatic, what can you really say? It's been flat out dominant.
Fnatic came here and they did the job that they needed to do. They have been so very disciplined in this entire series, and it's very good to see, because you're taking on a very inexperienced team like Army, and they just said, okay, are you guys going to break down for us? Do we need to really press them out of here, or can we get you guys to do a lot of that for us? The answer ends up being yes. There's going to be yet another. Taz looks really good. If you come into this from a stats point of view, Taz has apparently had a fantastic game here.
Yeah, he's been the hype man for Army this time around. I think he might have scored most of the goals, at least, for Army this series. But at the end of the day, it's a team game, and Fnatic were just the better team at the end of the day. 5-3 in the final game 4, and Fnatic get their first win of Season 4.
And Army proved themselves to be a team of 2 faces. We were wondering coming into this week, are we going to see the Army of Week 1, where they only scored 2 goals the entire time, or were we going to see the Army of Week 2 that were just crazy and scored pretty close to 100 at the end of that? It ended up being much closer to Week 1. The passing play started to come in a little bit towards the end there, but for Army, they've got 2 more games left to play. Actually, no, they've got 1 more game left to play this season, and they've got a lot of work to do, because everyone in this group looks lethal.
Yeah, everyone's chasing hashtag United at the moment, but Fnatic now with 4 points on the board. It's all to play for going into the final weeks. But as we have a look at the plays here from the final game, yes, Tada tied it up fairly early, but from then on, it was Fnatic, Fnatic, Fnatic. It's just flat out brilliance from Fnatic, and Army just looked like a shell of a team when they got in defense.
Yeah, Army had a tendency of just causing themselves a little bit too much hassle when they were on the defensive side. A couple of whiffs, a couple of bad clears always led to a team like Fnatic, who aren't just going to mindlessly go back into defense. They're going to turn around, they're looking and waiting for you to make that mistake. And that is what resulted in them going down in the game. And then at that point, Army, they've got to open up their play a little bit more. They're more susceptible to even more Fnatic counter-attacking play. So ended up catching them in this series, but for Fnatic, this is a huge win for them. And like I said, only one team without a win. Everybody else has picked something up. And we are now going to hand this one straight over to Ariel. She's with the winning team. She's with Snasky.
I haven't got the winning team, I've just got the winning man, Snasky. They've hot-fitted it to get a plane, just to put it into context. They've got to get home. A lovely result for you guys?
Yeah. No, they just realized that it was all me, so they left early.
Yeah, let's just take, I mean, they can't say anything now. They don't even know you're doing this interview. They're gone. Was it easy?
I wouldn't say so. No.
Yeah.
No.
Did you find them quite hard? Who was like your biggest threat there throughout the games?
Well, I mean, they're quite good together. They play fast, and they play kind of chaotic. They take a lot of risk, like you saw when they won the game too.
Yeah.
Like the third guy came up way too soon, so I didn't anticipate him. So.
When you drop a game like that, do you have to kind of really keep composed, or do you have like a tactic to kind of get like past that kind of like that defeat?
Nah, to me, it's just like, in my head, he made a stupid mistake, so there's not much I can do about that, so I just gotta keep playing.
I like it. Well, you've got some points on the table today. How are you feeling about the rest of the Elite Series?
I think we got the easier group by far.
Do you think?
Yeah, so I think we should probably get into playoffs, hopefully into the semifinal directly, but that depends on the rest of them, obviously.
I like that. You keep not too, like, a bit modest, but you're still ambitious. I like that. Well, well done. You carried the team. They've already gone, like, you know, flying high. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Literal meaning, flying high. Thank you very much, Ariel, and thank you very much to Snasky. And doing the interview underneath his team photo there was beautiful. He obviously complimented ASOS ROG Army, saying they were definitely a team, but I have to say that Fnatic seem more disciplined in their organisation, and that helped them on defence and going forward.
Yeah, and that's something to expect out of a team like this. Obviously, they are much more seasoned. They are the dominant team coming into this series. As I mentioned, you know, it's a pedigree versus team play style of thing, if all things considered. Because actually, for the first couple of games, Army had a really, really good team sense. Like, they had some really good passing plays, really good possession as a team. It's just the problem is that not Maestro. Yeah, Maestro was popping off. Maestro was popping off. And actually, Snasky was having a really good series as well.
Yeah, we said on this desk before the game, we said on set, you know, they've got that talent, and it's whether it clicks today. It definitely clicked.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking beforehand about how Maestro performed in that first week and probably kept their loss to a closer one than maybe it deserved to be, and the other two players needed to step up a bit, and they did. I mean, you heard it from Snasky there. He was saying himself, you know, it was all me. I'm not sure that's quite right, to be honest with you, but he contributed in a massive way, and so did Mummy Snow. And you can see the calibre of player they have when they are all playing well, that they just are a class above. Even though ASOS ROG, you know, they gave it a real go, and they threw everything they could at Fnatic. When you have three players and they're all playing up to their potential on that team, it's so difficult to beat.
Yeah, I always find that phrase, throwing a kitchen sink, a bit of an odd one, because actually, if you buy the unit on itself, it's actually not too heavy.
No, and I've never thrown one. Like, is any?
I don't think so. No, have you ever thrown one, Jay?
Maybe we can get one for finals or something.
Well, because they have to now, yes, and we will test it. Who can throw the sink the furthest? The thing is with ASOS ROG Army, they've got a two-week rest now, where they come back, and obviously they're going to be taking on Nordavind next up for those guys. You've got a situation where they've got 0 points at the moment. They're going to be our next match for the 4th series of today. They won't have time to watch them and see how they're going to fare today, but you'd be fancying your chances of that. The next team that ever plays Nordavind, I think we've got a chance here of getting 3 points.
Yeah, Nordavind, unfortunately, have been in a situation where they were hyped up at the beginning of the season. They were looking like they might have been actually a very, very strong team. And certainly coming into just their performance overall, before they actually joined the Nordavind organisation, they were looking really, really good. The problem is that they actually ended up losing one of their key thirds. Actually, my boy McLovin, as it so happens, used to be a part of this team. And, you know, personal differences, playstyle differences just weren't quite living the team to its full potential, and in the end they decided to go their separate ways. But in the end, that ended up being a bit of a downgrade, unfortunately. Nordavind not only have been disappointing in the Elite Series, they've been disappointing in the RLRS. Like, unfortunately, this team has gone from a level where they were potential world competitors to probably not being in that situation anymore.
OK, well, listen, Fnatic will be taking on Nordavind next, but in the meantime, not today, but the next match will be that. We have got one more match on the way. I want to find out what's going down in the Domino's den between Godzilla and Sebadam.
It is all going down here in the Domino's den. Godsmilla, Sebadam here, face to face, about to trash talk each other before they take to the Rocket League arena. Starting with you, Godsmilla, what you got to say about this chump here?
I mean, there's not much to say. They're just a pretty bad team.
What do you have to say about that?
They're also a bad team.
I mean, do you care to elaborate?
What?
Elaborate? Like, why are they a bad team?
I mean, Seb just sits in defense all game and misses like every second clear he takes, and his teammates are just completely useless on the field. I mean, I think it's even worse for that team. We have Goldsmiller, who kind of plays for our team, so it's like a 4v2 scenario. So that's what we have going for us, at least.
No, can't come back from that. I mean, we are. Let's be real right now. I mean, I like the trash talk. You guys went in. I mean, you started off polite and then you went in. But let's be serious. You guys are actually friends, aren't you?
Sometimes, yeah.
How are you guys feeling about this matchup?
I think it's going to be a very close one in scrims. I mean, the last scrims that we had, they played really, really well against us. But the ones before that were more equal. So hopefully, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game either way, but it's going to be good for us.
Will you be keeping an eye on this one throughout the game?
No. It's a 3-0 anyway.
Still going with the trash talk. It's amazing. It's fine. Well, guys, good to see you both are kind of friends and excellent trash talking. I love it. This is what we like in our Gfinity Elite Series. Back to you, Tom.
There you go. Trash talking. Never been done before. Will it happen again? I don't know.
Probably. I like Sebadam's how it was like, you know, Goldsmiller would say something, he'd go, yeah, but worse. that was his response. The same thing, but just a bit worse.
We do like it. It's entertaining. They're obviously friends, but they need to be hyped up for this match that's coming up. Nordvin, if we start with those guys, you mentioned them earlier, Jay. They've got it all to do. They've only played one game, 0 points to the table. They lost to Hashtag. Obviously, without sounding the obvious or saying it, they need to start winning. But what do you make of this team, this lineup they've got?
Oh, you know, like I said, they have certainly dropped in form. I still think there's a lot of talent in this roster. I think my problem is that data, I don't believe, fits with the way that they play about. And
who's trash talking now?
Oh, what can I say? I told you before we went live that I'm a very pessimistic individual. So I'm going to bring that.
You speak the truth. Why? Yeah. What do you think that he's not adding to the team?
I think McLovin was just such a really solid player overall. That they could play anchor around him, and they could play around him to the point where he was the star player of the roster. Data, I don't think, fills that star player role in the same way that McLovin did.
Yeah. Onset, people talks around these parts, and I pick up that information, I jot it down. I'm like a reporter. They said this was one of the teams to watch. Why has it not clicked in this one match so far?
I don't know. I think that's an interesting point. One match is what we've seen from them so far. You know, we always say the first couple of games for teams when they get in this live environment, like we were talking about when we were commentating, is a little bit of finding your feet again. So now it's the time to turn up. And, you know, they've both come up against Hashtag recently, both the teams, and they've both lost to Hashtag. And Hashtag have been hot in the last few weeks. It's been a real turnaround for them, but it is difficult to put your finger on with this Nordvin team. You can't sort of focus on one player and say that he's not pulling his weight. It's kind of just, it doesn't feel like there's a chemistry between them, and it's very difficult to sort of break down. It just seems like for some reason things aren't working, and maybe it's one of the players needs to take the responsibility and say, look, I'm going to play that third man role. You guys do that, and just sort of breaking up and giving each other just a few things to work on in game. But it's so tough, like, it's so difficult to explain chemistry, do you know what I mean? It's like you either have it or you don't. You saw it from Fnatic in that last game. Everyone just knew what each other were doing. It just feels like everyone's second-guessing themselves a little bit at this Nordvin team.
Looking at this, I always say, you know, save the best till last. I think this is going to be a juicy contest because Nordvin need the win, and you've got Epsilon need to bounce back after that loss to Army last week. What do you make of this Epsilon lineup?
Very, very inconsistent, unfortunately. Like, these are actually really good players individually. Like, I massively rate Sebadam by quite an amount. He's been around for such a long time. I've seen what he's capable of. But unfortunately, when it comes to their performance on the EU stage, they haven't always been able to get the job done. Obviously, the performance against Army last week is one of the key results, because going into that one, I never would have picked Army to win against Epsilon, but they did. It was 3-2. They got a point out of it at the very least, so that's a little consolation prize for the Epsilon side. But even in qualifiers like the Thunderdome, and before that the Grand Prix, weren't quite able to make top placings like really they should be able to do.
Sebadam had a dip in form in terms of goals, but now back to being a top goal scorer. He's moved around in the Elite Series, different team to team. They'll be all hoping, same as Cheerio and Bilbo, that it gels soon and they stay together and build on that foundation.
I feel like Sebadam, the last two games in that series last week, he was phenomenal. Like, he dragged Epsilon back into that series almost single-handedly at times, to be honest with you. You know, it was heartbreak for him. There was a chance towards the end of, I think it was the game 5, to send it to overtime, and he just put it wide. But he scored an incredible double touch, and I just feel like if he can kind of just take that leadership role on this team and kind of like drag his teammates with him a little bit, there's talent alongside him in Bilbo and Cheerio. We'll see what they can do. Bilbo stepped up in the previous week towards the end of the series and won them that series. I just feel like Sebadan can breed confidence through his team and with his play style, and I think they kind of look up to him a little bit as well as that leader. And if he can just take that role on his shoulders, I think they will have success.
He's certainly got to be the fairy peak of this team, as we saw him just kind of popping off in that first series of Reno Vitality. As you say, you know, I think Sebadan's got to kind of carry this one on his shoulders.
And not the only one with beautiful locks. Can I just say that, Jay? Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, there's a flick as well. That is naughty. Stop that. Stop that.
You never say that to me, Tom.
So, I like your hat. Now, the thing is, with this situation, there's a thin line between winning and losing. And obviously, you look at week 1, week 2, the stats. What do you notice about the main difference from going from winning in week 1 to losing in week 2?
I mean, you look at the shots on goal, I think, and it's difficult to compare maybe stats across 2 series when they're so tight. There's nothing sort of discernible, to be honest with you, in what we're seeing there. It was just, they came up against a very hot team in week number 2 with a very disruptive play style, and I think when you're playing as a 3 and you're consistently playing against very similar teams, you kind of get used to certain play styles. But when you play against ASOS ROG Army, like we've seen before, they play with such a crazy, you know, no-fear play style. It can catch you off guard. And I just feel like maybe if Epsilon wanted to play that series, say 10 times, they'd probably win it 8 or 9 times. But it was just that one that they didn't get.
It's just the fine margins, because there's numbers don't really, they're pretty similar. So there is a real fine margin between winning and losing. So how can they take on board that loss last week and come back this week? They just need to hope the other team isn't.
They need to start hot. They keep going down in series. They need to win game number 1. I think that's big for these guys. They keep finding themselves a little bit like Envy, but Envy somehow managed to pull it back and win. Epsilon need to start hot and get that first game under the belt. I think that's important for them.
Yeah, momentum has been such a key talking point throughout the course of the day. I think, yeah, a hot start would be exactly what Epsilon needs.
OK, hot start, like it. Perfect. We will welcome out the players right now for our last series of week 3. For Nordavind, we have Al Dente, Data, and Godsmiller!
You've been waiting around long enough. The moment is here, and you better stand up. It's time. You better stand up.
Lovely lads. I had a chat with them in the players' room. They complimented me on my terrible small talk. So hopefully we'll keep this nice and short. For Epsilon, we have Bilbo, Cheerio, and Sebadam. There you go. Teams both lined out. Cheerio rocking the hat. He's trying to copy Onset. I think we've all noticed that. Listen, start hot. Nordavind, and start hot as well for Epsilon. Do your worst. Gentlemen, I'm over in the casting area.
Should we call it our boy band?
Yes.
Hot start.
Hot start.
I was thinking Maroon 3.
Oh, I like it, but I think that might be copyright for the fact that if we just added 2 more on, then we've got another band that's already in existence. Anyway, let's not dwell on that because I didn't like the music. Here we go. What do you make for this last series of week 3?
I think it's a huge one in terms of what it means in terms of repercussion for everybody else, because going into this one, we've got Nordavind currently on 0 points. If they can win this, that puts 2nd place all the way through to 5th place, all within 1 point of each other. And it means that if you are hashtag, you just got to be going, we're beating everyone, and then everyone's beating each other. We're pretty much guaranteed playoffs. So for hashtag, if you're a hashtag fan, you're looking at this one, you're saying, come on, Nordavind, take this one.
Come on, complacency, though. It's the enemy. It's the worst person. How do these 2 teams start hot? Come on.
They start hot by getting a 5-second goal.
OK.
No doubt about it. I mean, that's how Army do it. That's how we've seen Army do it in the past. I think if Epsilon can come out the gates firing on all cylinders, they'll absolutely storm the series. But I think if Nordavind, this series matters more to Nordavind at this point, because if they do not get a point this week, they're out. They're out of the playoffs.
Right, well, I'm going to get out of here using this trapdoor. See you in a bit. Take care.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.
Where did he go?
Nobody knows.
Okay, well, we got ourselves a big... I didn't know how to follow that one up afterwards, if I'm being completely honest with you. However, we're going to be seeing if either of these teams can be following up what has been a mixed bag of performances so far from Epsilon and a pretty poor opening week from Nordavind. So we go into this one, and really Epsilon come into this as the favorites. It has to be said. Then they go down as not the favorites because, well, Cheerio's taking fashion tips from Onset, and I simply can't support that.
You can't do that at all. But Epsilon, they're definitely the hot hand right. Excuse me, the hot hand right now.
Like,
as Nordavind only their only loss or their only game is a loss to hashtag. But at this point, that's not really too telling. I think this is going to be a big turning point for them. Like I said, if they do not get a single point, they are out of the playoffs because if they can't win against Epsilon, I think they're going to stay right at the bottom of the table all season long.
Now, we mentioned this, but Epsilon seem to have a tendency of always making it really far in the Gfinity Elite Series. They always seem to end at the bottom end of the table. They always seem to make it into the playoffs and get really far even then. Can they do it yet again in Season 4? Or Nordavind are going to start putting some real pressure on that group? We're about to find out. Game number 1 is underway.
It will start relatively slowly, but in the hands of Nordavind at the moment. Data trying to push it round, and we heard Jay say he doesn't think Data fits well into this team. But he's certainly been the hot hand at the moment, and Nordavind taking possession.
Oh, we're going to
down to Godsmiller trying to squeeze it past Cheerio, but the clear will come down, and Nordavind has to start all over again from the midfield.
That's a great start there from Nordavind. They get themselves forward and they put together a pretty good passing opportunity. It was only the strong defense of Epsilon that keeps that one out. Very good start from both teams so far. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see teams slowly ramp up. I want to see you coming out hot and firing straight away. As Cheerio goes to the far side, Bilbo, he can have his opportunity, but it's going to go flying past him.
The counter argument to that, coming out hot, firing all cylinders game 1. What have you got left to give in the rest of the series?
More.
You've really got to ramp it up.
Come out hot and you get even better.
Nah, you've got to ramp it up. Take game 1 and feel out your opponents. But I feel you disagree with me, Shogun. I think we're not going to agree on that one.
I like the idea of being good and being good. your idea is being average and then being good. I feel like mine has an average rating of better than yours.
But then you compare it to the average, and the good is even better.
What? Okay, you know what? Moving on here.
Let's move on.
Godsmiller looking for Al Dente, but instead is going to be going straight back down once again. Godsmiller, he is just refusing to go away on the offense.
Indeed, and Nordavind had a few opportunities so far. Epsilon very well defended. It's just this ping pong back and forth. You have a go, I'll have a go. Now Godsmiller will have a go, trying to get out to Data, but he gets absolutely taken out of that as Epsilon pick it up once more.
On the far side, Cheerio tries to just chase him down. He gets boost though, and that could end up being massive, especially now that the ball is going to be played towards the back. 7am looking for an extra block, but instead Cheerio goes straight for net, and Al Dente's shot clear away will be at least somewhat loose. As Epsilon trying to just break down this defense. Good infield pass, but instead no one was there. I feel like the idea was correct. The execution was all wrong.
Speaking of no one there, that was a wide open back net from Epsilon. The defender, Bilbo, managed to get back just in time, but back and forth we go. No real clear-cut opportunities coming out for either team. Al Dente fires straight into the heart of the goal where Bilbo was waiting. So both these teams just going for straight opportunities on goal, not trying to be too creative in the offensive third of the field.
Yeah, now that first goal is becoming so much more important as we head towards the second half of the game. Off the backboard, no follow-up until it gets to Bilbo. Now straight up to 7am. He's just got to get it on target, but instead his shot was far too cautious. Gave the opponents time to get back, and they got the save. Godsmiller with a transition. He gets slammed into by Cheerio, but he still just doesn't go away. I feel like Godsmiller's car is just made out of some sort of stronger material to everybody else's.
He could have made it easily 1-0 as he was powering up the left-hand side of the pitch. But Godsmiller keeping that ball glued to his car. Is this Rumble? Is he using the magnet? I think he might have been at some point, but back and forth we go. Both teams showing signs of aggression, signs of defensive prowess and lackluster as well, but Cheerio trying to squeeze it down is not going to get past Godsmiller this time, and with a minute to go, we still do not have a goal yet.
Yeah, lovely transition out as well by Nordavind. 7am can't get over to Al Dente. Look for the pass straight down. Godsmiller will not be there in time. I love the idea, but Data's touch was not far enough out and didn't even bait anyone from Epsilon. I'll say that both teams, their defense has just been so strong so far that you're going to need something ridiculous to get past them. Or you can just do what Cheerio did and just remove the defense entirely with a demo. Even that might not be enough at this moment in time. Cheerio goes straight for net. Godsmiller already there. He's picked himself up a savior medal. One mistake, though, could be all it takes.
Oh.
And one mistake is indeed all it takes. Epsilon have broken the deadlock.
Nordovin's rotations have been so solid up to this point, and then just al dente with the final whiff. Sebenam sneaking it past, and Epsilon on top with 27 seconds to go. It's been a slow start here in this series. But could this be the turning point? Could Epsilon fire on the jet engines and take it, or will Nordovin try it? Data tries to drop it down, down goes Miller, and 19 seconds left. This game is hotting up.
Yeah, that is, as we like to say in the industry, really good by Data. I don't think you can possibly set someone up better than he just did. And when your team has just gone down, when you need a goal so desperately, and he pulls that out, not only does that get you back into the game, that gives you oodles of confidence. As Data now looks for a shot, but that's going to be a save from Sebenam. Cheerio did jump as well. So that bounce out will not help Nordovin's attacking options. They go infield. Data off the backboard. It's going to be hard to follow up. And I think both teams will settle for overtime.
Overtime is what this first game deserves. So close between each team. Will this continue throughout the entire series? We're just going to have to wait and find out. But Nordovin turning it round after the onslaught that Epsilon put onto net.
I have a question for Jay. Do you think Data fits in now?
Yeah, I would say, where is Jay? He's gone.
He's not showing his face.
he's away making himself look pretty again. Straightening his hair, probably.
This becomes a huge match at this point. Overtimes tend to get you a lot more emotionally invested as a player. And it's going to be Data. Couldn't quite turn that one in as Bilbo with last-second heroics to get that one out.
It's all-out attack from Nordovin, but Epsilon trying to turn it around at this moment in time. And Godsmilla just keeping this pressure on. It has been, ever since that first Epsilon goal went in, it has just been all Nordovin at this point. Putting shot after shot after shot onto the Epsilon net. Could be a break here in the defense.
All the way up. Sebenam. But he got challenged in the midair. Would have liked a double turn. Now all the way back out. Data over to Godsmilla. Lovely flick on. End-to-end gameplay so far. Bill's not got any options here. Al Dente can keep this one moving forward. Drop straight down. It's open. It's going for the shot. But Bilbo, once again, reads the game well enough and keeps it out of his own net.
He's kept himself in prime positions to take the ball away from Nordovin at crucial stages. He does so once again and keeps this one from going in favor of Nordovin. The counter-attacking play could come from Cheerio. Go down to Bilbo off the crossbar, and Epsilon, despite being on the back foot for the entire overtime, they will take the win and will go 1-0 up in this series.
Cheerio will be disappointed that he didn't score it, but I tell you something, nobody deserved the overtime winner more than Bilbo, stepping up on the defensive side. And I'm not going to say single-handedly, but he had a massive hand in just holding out the defense. 6 saves on one person. I know we had overtime, but even with overtime, that is a lot of saves in one game.
It's nutty. You never, ever see a double savior medal. It is ridiculous what Bilbo has pulled off here in game number 1. And like you said, so deserving to get that overtime goal. And you can see some of the defensive plays here from Epsilon. It's just been, it was shot after shot from Nordovin, but Epsilon held strong. Ended up getting the goal, 27 seconds left. It was defense all the way until that final 30 seconds where Epsilon popped it in, and then Godsmilla went right off a kickoff with a pass from Data. But then in overtime, Cheerio made it happen. That could have well bounced off Data and gone in. But Bilbo finishing it off, and they will take the first game here in this series.
Now we just look right here. Exactly what their response was, and it was just a simple, we've got this, lads.
Yeah, good game.
I mean, Epsilon, they are very, very experienced at this point in time. They know what it takes to win these sort of games. And it seems to be a reoccurring theme. Whenever we see Epsilon play, is that you just look across the pitch and you see, this is the guy that's performing this game. It's very rare, though, that we get the entire team starting to pop off. In the first game, it was definitely Bilbo. That could be entirely different heading into the rest of this series.
It could be. You got to really think Sebenam's going to do something
Sebenam has had at least one incredible play every week so far.
Well, we see one here in week 3. It is all to play for still as we find ourselves in game number 2 of Nordovin versus Epsilon, the final match of this week's Gfinity Elite Series. Season 4 delivered by Domino as Al Dente comes off of the kickoff and puts the first shot onto net. Not going to go anywhere. Now Sebedam, oh, will it happen here? He tries to go for the flip reset off the wall, off the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
And now Al Dente has an open run at net. He's got Godsmill in front of him, but he's not going to be faced by that. Al Dente dribbles one in. And what happened to the defense with Epsilon?
It's just that bounce they didn't expect it, and Al Dente was too far forward. I love Godsmiller here. It's like, I'm helping. I'm just making sure, my friend, that no one's here to tackle you. You know what? That is a good friend that you've got.
Probably got his arm around him at the station up there as well, saying, hey, buddy, come on, let's score a goal together.
It did seem to absolutely terrify Al Dente, and that is going to go almost immediately, but Bilbo just goes flying past it. Thankfully, Jirio will follow up and put it into the top corner.
We talked about with a lack of defense from Epsilon. Where was the defense here from Nordavind as this ball just hangs on the goal line for so long, and Jirio ends up being the one to squeeze it into the top left corner. And again, these teams so evenly matched, but you've got to clean up these defensive mistakes within the first minute. That's not how you play Rocket League.
Data to the far side. 7-up, he's just going to lever that one and it almost goes straight in. It was worth a shot. Al Dente has maybe a little bit of a habit at this moment in time of just sort of sitting in the middle of the field and getting caught out because of it. I'd like him just to hold back a little bit more, give himself some more range of movement to work with.
Yeah, he ends up rotating back to net and just stays still, loses all his momentum. He might have a lot of boost, but it loses his momentum and it puts him in awkward positions when Epsilon come in for the shot. And now Al Dente will actually try and find Godsmilla, who does actually rotate back and will put it into the hands of Bilbo this time. Sebedam trying to stop the ball going into the Epsilon half and does so. Jirio now getting absolutely bullied by the Nordavind attack, and now Godsmilla will try and get something going, but Epsilon holding strong for the moment in the midfield, not letting this one go anywhere near their net, and now Sebedam will have a shot on net and ends up getting defended fairly well. And this one will hang and it'll fall into the hands of Nordavind.
See how happy Epsilon are just to throw everybody at the goal. They think it can open up and get themselves a goal for it. They will happily go and do it. Still all tied up. Gonna be straight over to Godsmiller, and it wasn't tied up for too much longer. Godsmiller again the passing option, and he's once again gonna find so much space.
Before Godsmiller actually hit that, I could hear the Nordavind guys scream out, yes, we got this. That was an insane pass. And an even better touch from Godsmilla into the goal.
There's something to be said when you celebrate before it's even gone in. That is when you know that the play you just made is on point.
Oh, definitely. And for that read to happen and knowing that that one's going into net guaranteed, there's a lot of confidence now for Nordavind after going down in a very close overtime game in game number 1. We find ourselves again 1 goal lead. It's never safe. It's only 1 goal. We still got half this game left.
We're seeing a lot here from Nordavind, a lot of long clears, but they're doing it with a purpose. You've already heard us today complain about long clears, but we only complain about it about purpose. They're clearing long to get their opponent's defense up into the air, and that's going to be a hold-up. Oh my goodness, Al Dente! For all of the mistakes he made earlier on defense, that one was absolutely fantastic to keep that one out. But we're seeing from Nordavind is that they go long, and then they steal boost while everyone else is trying to collect the ball.
Oh, and speaking of going long here, Al Dente clears long and it leaves it for Data. No one expected that long clear. That's the other thing with their long clears. No one really expects it, especially when your opponents are all the way in the middle, in your half of the pitch, and you just go all the way downfield and leave it for your teammates to score. 3-1 for Nordavind.
Nordavind on the verge now of putting us up to 1 game each. It's been a ridiculous day of Rocket League so far. We've already seen 2 game 5s. Data goes all the way out. Oh my goodness. Data's offloading. When he gets time on that ball, he's just doing so much damage, giving his team a lot of space to work with. It was his demo earlier on that opened up the space for the follow-up shot from Godsmiller.
He's just been that disruptive player in the Epsilon half, going for, like you said, going for those demos and bump plays. It can really throw a rotation off, and it's exactly what's happening with Epsilon. As Jirio long clears once more, just finds the path of Godsmilla. Data lurking there, trying to pick it up. Actually calls Al Dente in.
I don't know if he wanted the ball or if he was just waiting for some boost.
It could have been both.
The playlist and the playbook of Nordavind is very simple. Your boost is mine. Let's see what we can do after that.
Your boost is mine, your defense is terrified as Bilbo once again goes onto net. Data with a fairly easy enough save. Now Epsilon trying to a bit more pressure onto the blue net. Not really seen it too much here in game number 2, but that one will head towards Godsmilla this time. Out to Sebadam, going off the ceiling. This could be the play. It will get past 1, gets past 2, doesn't get past Data as he gets the final touch, but it's down to Cheerio, and he puts it within 1 with 32 seconds to go.
This was going to be a huge problem if there was never any follow-up. The ball was just loitering for so long. Epsilon in a position where they need to get a goal. I thought they were going to start rotating back to defense, which would have made absolutely no sense on the side of Epsilon, but it is Sebadam's air carry that is able to give them that space. Now with 30 seconds remaining, it's crunch time if you're Nordavent.
Let's go. You've got to really defend at this point. Because if you go long, you go all-out attack to try and push it to 4-2. You might leave your net open, but Godsmilla with the defensive play to keep this one at bay for the moment. 10 seconds left, though. Epsilon are pushing everything they possibly can at this net. Cheerio puts into the corner. Now Godsmilla try and pick it up. And Nordavent, the final clear down. This one will actually stay in the air, but Aldente's going to make it drop. And Nordavent take game number 2 to tie this series up.
That last opportunity that we saw was a 3v1. It was the entirety of the Epsilon squad against one poor, lonely Godsmilla. But they just fired the ball straight at him. And Godsmilla, he can deal with that pretty much every time. I'm not upset at the idea of shooting early. If you're getting an opportunity like that, absolutely take it. But the shot just simply was not good enough. And now we go to 1 game each in a game that Nordavent really stepped up.
They did indeed, and like you said, if you're shooting on net directly, especially if you've got your teammates around.
Goal of the day, by the way.
That is, yeah, goal of the day, because Mill and Aldente holding hands down the field. But Cheerio's tying it back up very, very quickly. And Godsmilla, that touch there, as soon as they saw Godsmilla going up for that before he touched it, they were celebrating already, and that was really the turning point for Nordavent. As soon as they thought that goal was going in, it just improved their confidence so much. But Epsilon, they're right there with Nordavent every step of the way. They always seem to just be on their heels, but never quite get to the end.
So it really is a question right now, and it's a complete difference of play styles between these two teams. We're seeing a lot of hit-and-run strategy coming out from Nordavent. Long clears, see what we can get, take our defender, take the boost, and then we'll start figuring out what we want to do from there. It's very rare that we see them have multiple waves of offense. On the other side, it's a lot of individual brilliance that we keep seeing coming out from Epsilon, and they just need that to be a little bit stronger. I really feel like this series can go either way as we head into game number 3.
I think you got to turn that individual brilliance into team excellence. And Epsilon are going to have to pull out all the stops here as Nordavent are firing on all cylinders. They want their first win of this Elite Series. If they get the first goal within the first 15 seconds, it will actually be put out to Data. Now Aldente aggressing hard as Nordavent. And they know that's what they need to do. They want to go ahead early and keep that lead, as Epsilon have just been fighting back every single time. So they want to make sure they have the lead before Epsilon can do their damage.
Good play from Data. He's got no target options there, but it gets his team time to set themselves up, in a big miss from Cheerio. Could have given a lot of options there for Nordavent to start to escape, but they just didn't really set themselves up for success. Straight up to Data, do it to challenge it once again. Aldente, once again, quite far forward. He's going to be just fine as Sebadam with the follow-up, and he's not going to be blocked in time. A lot of long plays so far as both teams, not necessarily trying to score, just trying the hardest not to defend.
Trying their best not to concede as well, as Godsmilla will go long. And again, we've talked about these long clears so much today. Sometimes it works out well, sometimes it leaves your defense just wide open. Nordavent net is wide open at the moment because everyone is aggressing, but the holding in the midfield is stopping Epsilon from progressing down the field. A minute and a half into this game number 3, you really feel both these teams a little bit shaken, a little bit tense. No one really wants to commit all the way, but Nordavent are there, and they are making sure they are making their voices heard in front of Epsilon. But this one is wide open. Actually, Data puts it to the side, stops the counter-attacking play from Epsilon.
And now we've got two players moving forward, but Data's first touch let him down. Al Dente didn't quite get his entire car behind him, but he got enough, and now a shot all the way over to Godsmill. Needs to be a little bit higher if they want to try and get the backboard rebounds. All important game 3. That bounce does not suit Epsilon. They have to sort of panic that one away. 7am on a low boost. He's going to be able to do too much, but he has stolen a little bit, and he's got a block. I think 7am's got way more out of this than he ever had any right to. But now 2 players committed. Cheerio, he's done enough to keep that one in the air as Godsmiller's touch is going to be over to 7am. Both these teams very tentative. It's a lot of plays being made, but no real plan behind them.
Yeah, it's just play defense, clear long, play defense, clear long. And neither team, I mean, we saw this in game 1 as well. We didn't see the first goal until 27 seconds left.
It has to be said, I feel like this style of play does suit Nordvin a lot more.
Very much so. Very much so, and they're defending extremely well. They just need to turn that into counter-attack when Epsilon come into their own half of the field. Data now, sends it down to Godsmiller. Up onto the backboard it will go, but easily defended by Cheerio. Now Data will, from the left-hand corner of the Nordvin net, clear long once again as everyone tries to collect boost. Slowing things down to their pace is Nordvin, but Epsilon, they're happy to go along with it because they want to play slow as well.
Al Dente up, he's going to win the challenge off the backboard, but it's going to be followed up by 7am. Godsmiller, has he got a passing option? Just needed someone to be going across into the infield. Once again, that first goal is becoming all important. And you can see how both these teams have just really taken their time with this one. It's both teams have pressed the reset button.
Yeah, no one's... Yeah.
Nordvin were happy in the previous few games to send all 3 players up for a chance. This game, not a sight of it.
Yeah, you don't really want to commit at this point, especially a tie series. That next goal essentially will take on to match point in the following game. Anything can happen now in the final 50 seconds. Epsilon have defended really well, as have Nordvin, but no clear-cut opportunities. Everyone, like you said, Shogun, everyone being a little bit too cagey for my liking here in game 3. We want to see someone just crack out an absolute boomer from the middle of the field. Now 30 seconds left. Nordvin might just do that as Godsmiller will take it off the ball, trying to dribble it into the middle for his teammates, but Al Dente's going to have to go back for this one and defend from the corner. Epsilon not really committing anyone again, just giving Al Dente plenty of space, but that's plenty of space for an open wide net, and Data sends it high. Could have been 1-0, actually will be. No, it will not. Bilbo saves it off the crossbar, but this one's still so dangerous in the Epsilon half. Nordvin couldn't take advantage. It could have been game over at that point, but it looks like we're going to 0-0 overtime.
Yeah, that was just an explosion towards the very end of the game. A little bit of a misplay there on the offensive side. There was a lot more that could have been done. Weren't quite able to do it. And now, suddenly the pace has ramped up, and it's going to be Data. We spent an entire 5 minutes and we got 0 goals. We spent 7 seconds in overtime, and Nordvin have gone 2-1 up in the series.
All they needed was that reset. And I think we talked about it towards the end of regulation there. You just saw Nordvin go all-out attack, trying to push through the Epsilon defense, but it just wasn't enough in the end. And I think if they did that in the middle of the game, they would have easily won maybe 2-3-0.
I think a lot of times when we've watched the Gfinity series or any sort of competitive Rocket League, obviously we want the high-level players, we want to see flip resets, we want to see the team plays. I think this was the best example I've ever seen of teams playing for the result. And yes, it's not flashy. It wasn't really all that exciting at times, but both these teams weren't worried about that. They were worried about picking up the win. That win has gone over to Nordvin. This was so big, and that pass just needs to be on the ground.
That was the opportunity. If Data slid that under, if he went low, the defender was going high already. If he slid it under on the floor, that would have been game over. We wouldn't have to go 7 seconds of overtime regardless. It is a win in the end for Nordvin, and they will put themselves onto match point. But Shogun, Epsilon, they've defended so well. They got 5 saves in that game compared to the 2 from Nordvin. What is holding them back from going to the offense? Nordvin are just holding that midfield. But what is the one thing you want to see them do here in Game 4?
This is probably the worst thing I could ever do as an analyst, but I'm going to say I'm going to completely discount that game. Obviously, it doesn't discount itself on the scoreboard, but in terms of what I've seen from these teams, I've never seen that from either of these teams before. So I can't really use that as a basis to analyze them. That being said, if we see more of the same in the opening 2 minutes of the next game, you suddenly become worried because Epsilon know after that game that that was not how they play, that's not how they want to play, and they picked up a loss because of it.
Yeah, these guys play their best when they are firing on all cylinders, and maybe just the reset of the engines, cleaning down the cars there in Game 3. Now Game 4, we want to see aggression from the outset. That's what we're seeing now. Start from Nordavind. Now Epsilon, 7am going over the top, could have air dribbled it all the way from his own half. But the defense wise to it and clear that one away, and we will not have a goal in the first 30 seconds.
Law of diminishing returns from 7am. He's gone for that a couple of times now, and they had reasonable success from it. But that time around, it seems like everyone's ready and waiting for him. Godsmiller, very high pass, and 7am can take that one away, but it's not going to be anything else other than that. All the way back out, but it's just going to be Bilbo taking control. And the flick will be enough to relieve the pressure, at least for a momentary second, as Nordavind put the chokehold on their opponents.
7am's control of the ball is just absolutely incredible. He can get pinned in his own half for so long, but he will always find a way to get that ball away from his own net and find his teammates far downfield.
It's a very good way of getting yourself out of defense, what he does. The question becomes, what comes after that? And that is a question that Epsilon have still struggled to answer so far.
I think they need to communicate a little bit more. If 7am's back, dribbling that ball, air dribbling it out of his own half, he needs to find someone downfield and push a little bit more. They're being really, really cagey. We saw it in Game 3. We want to see them flip it round here in Game 4. But Godsmiller tried to flick it towards, and it will actually go in off the car of the defender of, I believe this was Bilbo, it was indeed. But Godsmiller,
that's bad defense.
That's bad defense.
You never need two players over in that corner. They were both facing in towards one another as well. You need someone on that back or the back post who can rotate in and just clear. That way you're nice and safe. And now Nordavind on the verge of picking up their first Gfinity Elite Series Season 2 win. The infield pass might give them the second goal, but that is well read by Cheerio. Gonna hold it out, but it might not mean too much. Data, a brick wall whenever he challenges.
That would have been 2-0 easily if Data had boost. Epsilon able to get that one away. And now Bilbo try and turn it round for Epsilon. They've been lacking a certain sense of aggression here, but that touch from Aldente will actually drop fair ball for Epsilon. Very dangerous indeed, but Nordavind holding on for the moment as Epsilon try and get some aggression going, because we've not seen them aggress ever since game number 1, game number 2. But Epsilon, they need to turn around because Nordavind are just amazing in defense.
They're coming close now to 10 minutes without a goal. That is getting very difficult.
It's tough.
It's difficult to justify how that can be happening as well, because realistically, they just haven't really been creating the chances, and whenever they do, nobody's around to help follow it up. This could be one of them, though. 2 players committed. The Nordavind is just going to be get rid of the ball. We don't need anything else right now. 2 minutes left on the clock, and Nordavind just need to hold the fort.
Those big long clears from Epsilon once again, but at least they're finding people downfield now. Still only a 1-goal game, and it's Nordavind aren't really willing to go on the aggression too much, but the drop down from Data will make it 2-0. Epsilon, you need to step up your defense.
Data comes in, and he's just, with the littlest touch on the ball, turns it into the net. And now this has gone from being a panic to being a catastrophe for Epsilon Esports. They have got to break open the safe and take down Nordavind. That was a huge chance.
They need to go quickly, because a minute and a half, you think that's enough to score 2 goals, but not against this Nordavind defense. Epsilon need to turn on the jet engines, but Nordavind might get a third. They will. Godsmiller gets it from Aldente, and the defense again from Epsilon is broken down. And Nordavind looking very strong, and they might take it here.
This happened last week as well. Epsilon, they started at least somewhat decently, but as soon as it starts going wrong, they lose all trust in one another. We saw when they got into offense, there was 2 players that wanted to try half rotate and go for the ball. And they kept going for it up until they were up onto the wall, at which point, finally, one of them acquiesced. And Epsilon, once again, when the pressure is on, they are struggling so much.
I think Nordavind, they took my advice. They need to get up 1-2-0, and then that chokes Epsilon back in their own half. But with a minute left, Epsilon need to find some spark of brilliance. Maybe it comes here from Cheerio. No, it will not, as he only finds Guzmilla. And now defending the midfield is Epsilon. And it might be too little, too late. Bilbo will try his hand, tries to find Sebadam, only gets intercepted by Godzilla. Now Bilbo soft touching it into the middle for Sebadam, and again, Epsilon are just going about their business way too slowly. They need to speed it up.
Yeah, 30 seconds left on the clock. It would probably be the biggest throw in Gfinity Elite Series history. If Nordavind were to somehow lose this one, Data will just be keeping that away from the midfield pressure. And Godzmilla's touch, it's not great. Instead, it's going to be Cheerio with the follow-up, but that will not be turning itself in. So now it comes to this. Everybody in Group B has a win. Nordavind have their 3 points. It is all to play for in the rest of the Gfinity Elite Series. Nordavind will be taking this one 3-1 for man. And really, we have to sort of look towards game number 1. We're still going here. This is a point to prove right now if you're Epsilon.
Can Epsilon get a goal from this? That would be amazing.
It's been over 10 minutes at this point that they have not scored, so I can almost understand this. This is very impressive, but it will eventually drop down to the ground. Nordavind are your winners.
Watch out, Group B. This Nordavind team are on a hot streak right now. 3-1 over Epsilon Esports, and they will shoot up the table to 3rd place over Fnatic and, of course, Epsilon as well. When we talk about Nordavind coming out, aggressing on all cylinders, and Epsilon, they just ended up regressing in the last couple of games. We wanted to see them on the ball all the time, but it just never ended up happening.
Yeah, it was a very weird switch that we saw happening. Games 1 and 2, we saw the best and worst from both teams, and then once we hit Game 3, I don't know what happened, but whatever it was, it suited Nordavind the entire way. They'll be picking up the win.
They will indeed, and like we said, Nordavind shooting up to 3rd place in the Group B standings.
Group B, 2nd through to 5th, is now within 1 point. Fnatic, I believe, are now 2nd. They have got 4 points after their earlier win. Everyone after that, 3.
It's all to play for.
If you're hashtag, this is the best thing for you.
Oh, definitely. It pretty much secures your top at the your place.
It pretty much secures them playoffs, but it also means that they've got a big shout for the #1 spot, which means they can skip their way into the semi-finals.
Indeed, and hashtag, last season they were kind of lacking, and now Doomsday being that coach, but standing behind them. We'll see them in week number 4 in a couple of weeks. But hashtag United, the team to beat, but watch out for Nordavind because they are coming.
Nordavind are getting better and better every single week. Honestly, I was so impressed with pretty much every single player there, but I thought Data, his playmaking was a huge factor in this because the good positioning of Godzmilla and I believe it was Al Dente, just great options for him to go for. And that's what it takes at times. You know, your option can't be you by yourself, which is what we saw from Sebadam a couple of times. And that was what ended up being the difference maker. But we're going to be handing over to Ariel. She's with the winning team.
The winning team indeed for the first time in this series. How are you feeling, Data?
Pretty well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You needed those 3 points on that table, didn't you? It was really important that you won today. Did you have that at the forefront of your head when you were going into this game?
Yeah, we definitely did. We felt like we really had to prove something after last week. I don't think we performed near as good as we could have last week, and I'm really happy we beat them today.
Obviously, that trash talk earlier helped, yeah?
Of course. I crushed them completely. Yeah.
I'll tend to come to you. How did you find that playing? Did you find them strong opponents, or was it quite easy for you guys?
I wouldn't say it was easy, because playing on stage, you kind of get the jitters a little bit. But no, I wouldn't say it was easy. We just played really well, I feel like.
And how are you feeling now that you've got this win on the table?
Good. Yeah.
Because it's all to play for now in your group, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if we lost against them, that would have made it really hard to get anywhere.
So we've got a break next week, but then you're coming back. What's the tactics now? What are you going to do? You're going to go away and like start training, like practicing like incessantly?
I mean, that's what we did until now.
Yeah.
But,
and it worked.
no, yeah, we are winning it all from now on.
Yeah, good. Well, congratulations, guys. I'm really glad I finally got to speak to you in this series and in a good head now going into the next games. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, you will. Ariel, thank you very much for everything today. Getting that final interview with Nordvin. They are the winners, not the champs, but they probably feel like champions, getting that first win and getting points on the board. Group B, as you said, and fantastic casting and commentating, it is hotting up.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. This is so close of a season that we are seeing across both of the groups. And Fnatic, they said this is the easy group. I'm yet to see where at this moment in time. I would definitely argue that maybe the quality of the Rocket League has maybe been a little bit lower over in Group B, but in terms of who's actually getting the wins, there's no one standing out so far apart from Hashtag.
Yeah, well, they're top of the table. Obviously, the top team will go straight through to the semi-final. Second place and third place will battle it out. Not to death, but they will battle it out to then
just about.
Yeah, just about, because it will feel like that, won't it? Because this is such a close division. If you just get that momentum, Nordvin have got that, they can start pushing on to get the wins. I've got to ask, gentlemen, how were the results today? Which has really stood out for you today?
I'd actually say probably it's Nordvin result. Obviously, I came into this series with a lot of criticism for this team. Didn't see a lot of potential. Yeah, I mean,
I didn't want to bring it up.
Pretty harsh.
But you were like, data doesn't fit this team, and he looks very happy.
Credit to him, he proved me wrong pretty well. Yeah. That final game, him and Godsmiller were popping off really, really well. And it does show that this roster, even though they have been in a slump, even though they have had their downs as of late, they still have a lot of potential available to them.
Yeah, I really wanted them to lose because they dug me out for saying I have terrible small talk. However, Data not really getting involved with the hug. He's holding back. He's discussing things with the admin, saying, did I win? Let me double check. Oh, yes, we won. And then the hugs, then the celebration comes in. But I think that's the beauty of Rocket League. We watch a team, you did say they were inconsistent, Jay. They were, but now they're back to consistency, and that's what we love in the Elite Series.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it. I just want to compare this to Season 1, because Season 1, we saw one Game 5 all season long.
Yeah.
Not the case this season. This is how not only the Elite Series has sort of progressed, but also how Rocket League has progressed, where every single top team is just getting that much closer to one another. And really, on your day, anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah, Craven, you were commentating, casting, however you want to call it. You were talking the talk over there. In terms of Godsmiller, he had the trash talk for Sebadan before the game.
Yeah.
And then popping off with 4 goals. The saves are coming in for him. Were you impressed by his performance today?
Very much so, but the entire Nordvin team was just outstanding. I think the highlight for me for Godsmiller was that pass. I think it was up from Al Dente, and I said it in commentary, you could hear the guy celebrating upstairs. Even that was the touch there, actually. It was from Al Dente. You could hear them celebrating before it went in. Godsmiller just put himself in positions that made Epsilon rethink everything, and was definitely the key man for Nordvin this time.
Perfect. Well, listen, Jay, we watched it. We saw the goals come in. What happened to Epsilon? Where did they go? Because we said you need to start hot. They started hot, and then they went very mild into which pretty much to like, you shouldn't put hot things into the freezer, but that's basically what happened.
Yeah, it's just plateauing off the edge of a cliff, unfortunately, for the Epsilon side. Like, it was a pretty scrappy early series. Like, those first 3 games, I was sitting there like, okay, this is very, very, very scrappy Rocket League, and Epsilon just kind of got worse as the series went on, and as Nordvin started to rise up, they started to find their chemistry, they started to find passing play dominance more than anything else. Epsilon just struggled to keep up with that, and, you know, they have some great stars in there. They just wasn't quite good enough for what Nordvin were bringing to the table.
Okay, well, listen, I tell you what, there's so many moments to talk about. What is the Domino's takeaway moment today for Ariel and Onset up at the touchscreen?
I mean, we've had some amazing moments today, but there can only be one Domino's takeaway moment.
There can only be one, and it's going to go to Team Envious, because they're now officially the Game 5 kings.
Yes.
They managed to pull off another Game 5 win today.
That was such an exciting team. I know everyone was excited about Methods and Vitality at the beginning of the show, but Envy and Excel, for me, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, this is exactly why they're winning these Game 5s. It's the ability to have a little bit of extra thought, essentially, a little bit of extra care in a pressure situation. The pass comes into Mount here. Mount's the player we're going to highlight because he has the opportunity. If you look at the series score, they're currently tied up 0-0, 2-2 on the series score. What are you going to do in this situation? You've got a chance to take a shot at goal. Goal's here. Why not take that shot? But his thought process isn't that. It's about creating the best opportunity that he possibly can.
Yeah.
So as you see here, the ball drops down. He finds a beautiful pass back into his teammate Winter, and that's such a more high percentage chance that he's going to score. He puts it away beautifully, and it's that split-second thinking in a pressure situation that has separated Envy, and it was such a beautiful team goal, and they were deserving of a win after that.
Very deserved of a win. That's one of my highlights of the day. We did mention earlier, if you did fancy coming down to the Gfinity arena, you should head on down and see these moments live in action. If you fancy getting hold of some tickets, it's gfinityesports.com/tickets. It's simple, isn't it, Tom?
It's very simple, and I have to say, working with Onset and Ariel, it's a delight. So sitting in the crowd here, you get to chat to us as well after the show, before a couple of pictures as well. You'll be sticking around for a few selfies?
Oh, yeah.
Damn straight. I've loved working with you today, gentlemen. But before we close out the show for week 3, I want to look at the standings as they stand right now, because we're going to have a 2-week break. There is an amazing special show, which I'll talk more about in a second. But there you go, Group A. Now, it was interesting that Gregan from Renault Vitality said that Group B is easier, but it does not look easier, does it, when you look at the points and what's happening? Method way out in front of it with 7 points at the top compared to XL at the bottom.
Yeah, and you've got XL sort of lingering down there with 1 point, and it really comes down to Envy, Vitality and Reason, all within a few points of each other. But I think that series with Vitality and Reason a couple of weeks ago, that is going to be crucial when it comes to tiebreakers at the end of the season.
Okay then, gentlemen. Looking ahead at the fixtures, there are some juicy ones coming up in 2 weeks' time when we come back to the Elite Series. If you look at the fixtures, what sort of stands out for you as that kind of must-win situation?
Anything in Group B? Everything in Group B at this moment in time it's almost gone from a group stage to a knockout stage already over there. But looking at this one in general,
surely that bottom one.
Fnatic Nordvin is huge. Epsilon Hashtag is absolutely massive. If Hashtag win that, I think they are going to guarantee themselves not only their playoff spot, but also pretty much guarantee themselves #1 in the group. All from a team that went 1-3 last season.
Surely, Jay, you look at that, SPJ, I know you hate that name, but there you go, that's what's happening. Switchblade Jay, sorry, he's shrugging his head at the moment, he's not very happy. But look, Renault Vitality taking on XL. XL need those points. That's a juicy contest. You've got Method still at the top. They want to make sure they cement their place going through to the semi-finals by finishing top. Fnatic and Nordvin. Epsilon Esports, Hashtag United. How do Epsilon get that win and stop Hashtag getting a hat-trick?
Find some consistency, actually. They really got to find some sort of team form, because against the Hashtag squad, again, like I was saying at the top of the broadcast, they are extremely hype and they are extremely good at the moment. I'm hesitant to say it, but I do have very little faith in Epsilon at the moment.
I'm going to throw a wrench into that, though.
Go for it.
At this point, Hashtag, by the time we next see them, Hashtag will not have played on that stage for almost a month.
Wow.
We don't know if they can keep that consistency going across that amount of time. It's going to be good to see.
Okay, well, listen, gentlemen, so much has been going on at the Elite Series in general. Looking at what's coming up tonight, 6 p.m. Go and have a nap right now, do what you have to do, enjoy your Saturday, then come back immediately for 6 p.m. Then we'll have a FIFA special next Friday, 6 p.m. and then a Rocket League special next Saturday at 11 a.m. Shogun doesn't know all about it, but honestly, I'll be telling you more about that because you are involved in that special.
Oh, okay.
Right, Switchblade Jay, thank you so much. Debut was outstanding, better than some of the action I've seen up there.
Jay, don't you dare leave me hanging. You can leave him hanging, but you ain't leaving me hanging.
No, never leave
always a pleasure.
Hanging every day.
And Craftman, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed everything. I hope to see you back.
Definitely did. Recover from my jet lag now, so that helps.
Oh, beautiful. And then you go straight back on a plane back up to Scotland?
Tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Plenty of time, so you can stick around for Street Fighter. Thank you very much to Onset and Ariel and to all of the guys that have come down to watch in the Gfinity Arena. Don't forget to get your free tickets and come on down. What a morning we've had here at the Gfinity Arena with victories for Method, Envy, Fnatic and Nordvin. Next weekend, we have a Rocket League special as the Elite Series takes a break. So join us from 11 a.m. for a jam-packed hour of Rocket League madness. Trust me, you will not want to miss it. Have a great week. See you then. Gfinity Rocket League, are you ready?
Position to try and make something happen.
Here we go!
Could have been a great return ball.
Actually, Mommy still will have one man speed, gets off to Snasky.
That one was absolutely fantastic.